I can hear you. What's up? I don't know yet. I don't, what do you think?
I mean, I think it might set the stage if you want to go to each of them individually. It doesn't have to be like a long conversation.
Yeah.
If you think you might get like...
Well, I mean, what am I asking? What should I ask them? What's...
I mean, if you feel the most comfortable with Stu, then I would just like keep the wide shot, and then if Stu wants to like toss to any of them to say something, get a little jab in.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll interact with Stu. I have the ability to talk to them. If Stu takes it and talks, I don't know what, you know, if he's gonna just pivot or whatever. If he pivots and talks to them, that's fine. But I don't think that, well, one, if Sarah's not gonna sit there, then Stein, somebody should be in that middle seat. There shouldn't be an empty seat in the middle right now. And then we can stay on the wide shot if that. Welcome to a special edition of Blaze News Tonight. We'll be giving you the highlights, the lowlights, and the gaslighting from the DNC, but the fun doesn't stop there. We'll have the Blaze Media's DNC roast next hour.
Oh my. Why is she laughing?
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
I call her laughing Kamala. You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy.
President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Making his way in, he looks, he's awake, but I wouldn't say he looks alert.
The eyes are not
alive.
open.
She has done a giant heap of nothing.
Wine moms for Kamala and
white dudes for Kamala.
yeah, femme men for Kamala.
He's the cool dad, he's the cool teacher, he's America's coach. No, actually, he's a far-left radical communist, okay?
What the hell was that?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? I just love good news.
Trump claims that you were pushed out, but from the top of the ticket, and this amounts to a coup from your party.
We did it, Joe.
Welcome to our coverage of the Democratic National Convention. I'm Jill Savage, joined by Matthew Peterson, Blaze News Editor-in-Chief, and Chris Bedford, Senior Editor for Politics and Washington Correspondent for Blaze Media. So, gentlemen, we are going to have some fun tonight, right? I think that we know the DNC is up and running. We'll be bringing you all of that fun coverage, but we're going to have fun, guys.
You have to. It's impossible not to. I mean, they're having all that fun in Chicago. Why just them, right? The dancing Pink is there. It's going to be amazing.
We suffered through this entire week, right? We reported this entire week in serious fashion. And tonight is the time for us to kick back and watch the grand finale. Let's go.
What are you guys most looking forward to tonight? When we know that the stage is set, Kamala Harris is going to have her big moment, you guys. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I've basically already written my piece for tomorrow because I don't expect any real surprises. She's got to be on script. I mean, she has to be on script. When she's off script, it's a disaster. So what are you expecting, Matt? I mean, I don't think Julio's going to get his big riot tonight.
Yes.
Too many cops.
So number one, Julio is looking for his Super Bowl. He wants to see, he wants to see the real stuff go down and bring it to all of you out there. And his videos are coming out now. You can go on Twitter and see the Blaze on Twitter and see what he's pumping out because they are protesting, right? He wants to see the full-on riot. For me, the big question is, are we actually going to see Kamala prepared and up to the task? Because she's been quiet this entire time. She's sort of been playing it Joe and hiding. And tonight, she's going to have to come out and give a speech right after everybody else.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll dive into everything from the week of the DNC as we get throughout the show. But you guys, one thing I'm looking forward to is they're talking about secret special surprises that are going to be coming up tonight. So, we saw all the cool things that happened at the RNC. I don't know if the DNC is going to be able to live up to it, but we'll get into everything. But I mean, just the little extra things that they have planned for the final night.
I love surprises. Every day I come home from work to like 5 or 6 Amazon packages addressed to my wife, and it's like Christmas every day. I love it. I'm happy for it. As long as it's not George W. Bush, I could go the rest of my entire life without hearing another George W. Bush speech.
I mean, we're enjoying the timeline tonight where we're all sitting here thinking, will it be George Bush
or
as
Taylor
the special
Swift?
Guest or Taylor Swift? Tay-Tay or George? I don't know. Tay-Tay or W?
You never know.
Who is the leader of independence? Which one?
Which one's more powerful right now with swing voters?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Sure.
It's not even close. So, we will have all of this coming up. We'll talk a little bit, maybe even about some toxic masculinity. That seems to be one of the left's favorite talking points. But the legacy, you guys, first of all, before we wrap this up, the legacy of Joe Biden and the way that they were just kind of pushing him out the door really late on a Monday night.
Yeah, that's something we'll be talking about tonight for sure. I mean, Chris has been bringing this up all week. I mean, he was just regarded as a non-existent being.
It was sad. I mean, it was like having a family funeral the day before a family wedding. And, sometimes you have to do that. But Monday night, was Joe Biden's funeral. It was late. It was raining, basically. And the rest of the week, people didn't even mention him. I mean, Bill Clinton kind of went on for a second. He gave him like 1 minute, and then he went on. He's like, all right, let's cut to it.
A weird minute.
Yeah, where he said he was an improbable president. Michelle Obama just kind of heaped scorn on him. She's like, finally. She acted like there was never a Democrat in the White House at all for the last 4 years. Finally. According to Michelle Obama, this is not surprising. She hated her country before Obama was in the White House. She said that. It's the first time she's ever been proud of her country. And she wasn't proud of her country, of course, under Donald Trump, and she wasn't proud of her country under Joe Biden. It was the first time that she had been. This was finally happening. Kamala Harris was in there, a woman she hated, but I guess they've mended that.
All right. Well, before we dig into all of the convention tonight, let's go ahead and give you a sneak peek of tonight's DNC roast. BlazeTV host Stu Burguiere is standing by. Stu, go ahead and introduce your panel, who you have going on there, and give us a sense of what we can expect tonight.
This is going to be a very fun evening, if nothing else, to just be able to relieve the hideous pressure of watching a Kamala Harris speech. I had not noticed, actually, until recently. By the way, I'm talking Dave Landau here, of course.
Hello.
Alex Stein here from a blimp. Usually is where he is. And we're going to have Sara Gonzales is here in a little bit as well. It's going to be a fun night of just mocking this. And it starts tonight with the Dixie Chicks doing the national anthem, which they're apparently still a band.
When was their last hit song? What do you think they had last? A hit or a period?
It's good.
They're in menopause, so I don't think
that's
they've
what I
had
mean.
that. Yeah,
You got it.
Yeah, I mean,
look at that. One joke, and we all got it.
It took me a second. Well, because this is what I'm thinking tonight. Everybody's talking about the surprise guest, and I read online that the Republicans had, Hulk Hogan, the king of wrestling, right? And then I read this rumor that the DNC and Planned Parenthood were trying to get Chris Benoit because they're so pro child
That's what
killing.
I've heard.
Is that true or false?
It turns out he also killed himself.
He's dead.
Yeah.
That's why Chris Benoit's not going to be there. We just debunked that live.
They were trying to get it, though.
They were. Oh, yeah. Planned Parenthood's like, we love child killing. We've done 50 abortions at this DNC.
Yeah.
Let's kill some more kids.
They planned on doing it with a lamp as well.
Yes.
And then killing somebody with a weight bench. It was going to be pretty good.
It's going to be bad, but that's what they want. They like to kill babies.
So they're actually doing the national anthem?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought they were doing the song Wide Open Spaces.
No.
Which is a song about Paul Pelosi's head getting cracked open by his gay lover with a hammer. I didn't know if that's I don't know if that's true.
7
Again, allegedly.
Hey, we're doing Chris Benoit jokes, and we're doing home assault jokes. As we're going to start off hot, we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yes, we do. Do you guys have speculation as to who the special guests are? There's some, I find boring rumors of like Beyonce, which is like, who cares, really? I guess some will, but
She's country now, though.
That's right. That's
so
right.
I can
the country
see
album.
Yeah, she's got a country album out, so she's part white, and so
that's a requirement.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to
I
be.
heard it's going to be Ghislaine Maxwell on Zoom. Is that true?
It's possible.
Okay. Well,
but I heard she might be hanging.
Oh, is she
it's
hanging
gonna be,
too?
It's going to be like chat roulette.
Ghislaine's alive. Is everybody that I think is going to be speaking there dead, Dave? Am I that out of touch?
Well, we don't know for sure.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the first of many Epstein jokes you can be expecting on tonight's broadcast. And I feel like none of the other networks are going to be throwing in Jeffrey Epstein jokes throughout their coverage. It's disappointing.
Probably not. It's probably not CNN.
No,
none.
No. They should, but they won't.
Well, they're all in his book. Half of the people that are on the air are going to be in his
true.
black book.
Yeah,
So
they don't want to bring it up.
yeah, right. I think so. There was some speculation of Taylor Swift. There was for a while a rumor. You saw this, right, Alex, about George W. Bush. You don't buy that, do
which
you?
I wanted that to be true because then it would just prove that we have a uniparty if he went there. But he debunked those rumors.
Yeah, Mitt Romney also debunked that he's going to be.
That would be the worst.
No one wants Mitt Romney to show up at a party.
No one wants him anywhere.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let him in. They'd just say, "No, Mitt, you got to go. I'm sorry, you're 86."
No one liked you ever.
Yeah.
It really is embarrassing. So we have a lot coming up tonight. So it ends with the Kamala speech. So we'll be there, and once we're going to throw it back to the panel on the other side here in a few minutes. But once we come back here, I think at the top of the hour, about 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be watching this coverage along with you. So we will be able to watch it in real time. Mockery will ensue, maybe some live fact checking as we go through that, and we will watch all the way through Kamala's what should be horrible speech. And one thing I noticed about Kamala Harris, and this literally just hit me, because everyone mocks her laugh, right? Everyone, you see Kamala laugh. What hit me this week was the hand gestures, the wild hand gestures going on all the time. Have you guys noticed this?
Yeah, it's the opposite of like when a sociopath doesn't move their arms when they walk, but she does the opposite where she still might be a psychopath.
Yeah, she's like wildly, her hands are moving, she's acting everything up. She's like doing the talking heads thing at times. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and it's a bizarre thing I had never noticed until this week, and now I cannot unsee it.
Well, I'm empathetic to that because when I hear Kamala speak, there's a hand gesture I want to make every time she talks.
What is it?
I don't know if it's allowed on YouTube, so we'll just. But she makes me do weird stuff with my hands.
Okay,
I got you.
Let's keep your hands to yourself.
I know. We'll
here
try
for
it
a few
tonight. I'll
moments.
just marry Catherine Gallagher.
Yeah.
Do people even know Saturday Night Live anymore?
I don't think they do.
Do you remember when it used to be funny?
Yeah.
You know what? We also have to talk
it
about
was
this real quick.
19 years ago.
Do you guys see that video of the DNC where it's Hillary Clinton doing the Macarena and how cool it looked?
Yes.
Do you guys ever worry that we're kind of giving the DNC their Macarena moment by showing it? Because God forbid, please don't let this happen. What if something accidentally cool does happen? Like Beyonce has a Super Bowl nip slip or so, you know what I'm saying? Something happens and it's kind of cool. And
if Taylor has a nip slip.
If Taylor Swift had a nip slip.
They're going to win.
Stu, if Taylor Swift had a nip
party.
slip, that would change the whole, it would change the future of the world.
Be honest, you'd think about voting for?
There's a point and a half in it.
I mean, come on.
For sure.
Just one Tay nip.
All right. It's starting off well, I would say. Dave Landau, Alex Stein, both here. Sara Gonzales, soon to be here. And Jill Savage can rescue us in the other studio. Jill?
Absolutely. That's why I'm here, Stu. When we look at the coverage for the night, I think they set the tone, you guys, and that's really what we're looking for. I do remember SNL. I know a lot of people out there do, but that's what we're going to be getting tonight.
That got dark.
Real
I saw
quick.
you appear over their shoulder like their conscience.
Real quick.
I don't think they were listening.
It was as if the angel on the shoulder was there, and it was Jill looking down at them, judging them for their remarks. And it was amusing. It was good.
And, all week long, we've been hearing of the relentless push of progressive politics and the lies that they continue to feed the American people. And it's getting harder and harder to get the real news. But, Matthew, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I think the easiest pitch that can be made right now is for subscribing to BlazeTV and Blaze Media, because when you subscribe to us, you're getting the only network that's out here that's willing to talk about, for instance, January 6th. That's a topic that other networks won't talk about in the same way we do. There's a number of topics like this where we're okay with sometimes having YouTube ban us because we're going to put that content, on our site so our subscribers can look to it.
Yeah,
and look, Chris, you've worked at a lot of these places. You know how it is right now in D.C. and elsewhere.
Yeah, certainly. Especially there are certain subjects where there are strong parameters on what you're allowed to say, what you're allowed to question, whether or not you're allowed to mention this. There are narratives that some are considered sacred. You're just not allowed to touch them. And guess who decides what's sacred? Rather profane people, generally Democratic Party and their supporters in the media. They set the boundaries of acceptable discourse. I tell you what, though, since 2016, those boundaries have been getting pushed and pushed and pushed, not by us, by the comedians, by folks who just aren't afraid of getting canceled.
Yeah, and we should say these are other right-leaning networks. What we're talking about is other right-leaning networks, right, that aren't Blaze, they're heavily censored on many issues. They just refuse to talk about it. So, I came to Blaze, and I think Chris came to Blaze, and I think Jill came to Blaze because we knew here is a place where we can reach out right to the people out there who know it's needed and build the media that we need, and that's what we're doing every day. You should also know this isn't a static process. We're creating new products. We're creating new shows like Blaze News Tonight, and we need your support in order to do that.
And there is a code right now for ROASTED that'll get you $30 off your Blaze TV annual subscription. So go ahead and use that and get a part of the network that we are building and trying to get all of this actual real news.
That's $10 more saving than the code Bedford gets you.
It was.
I was feeling pretty good about having my own code. I was like,
as you should be.
Sorry if you used it.
As you should be. But let's go ahead, and we've been talking about everything that's happening in Chicago. Let's actually look over that direction now, because there's been so much enthusiasm for Kamala Harris that protesters have taken to the street to celebrate her nomination.
Claims that you were pushed out, put from the top of the ticket, and this.
Look at all of the protests that are going on. It's one thing that we've seen throughout the entire week. They've kept escalating time and time again.
There was maggots found in the food, slipped into the food of one of the early DNC dinners this morning. Now, I know that Chicago can get gnarly, but there aren't maggots in the food. These were intentionally placed. And you have some of these pro-Palestinian and pro-Hamas groups who previously, during Netanyahu's visit, had taken credit for that. They were like, oh, yeah, we're the guys who put the maggots in the hotel. Disgusting people, pulling the fire alarm. And, you know, those are the voters that Kamala Harris and Walz are trying to court right now. You've got the United Auto Workers tweeting, we need a speaker from Palestine. What does that have to do with you? I've been to the bars covering the primaries outside of these auto worker plants north of Detroit, and I'm not seeing a lot of pro-Hamas.
All right, let's go ahead and listen as Kamala Harris all of the protesters have been taking to the streets in Chicago. So joining us now from Chicago is Steve Baker, investigative journalist for Blaze News. And Steve, what do the demonstrations look like heading into Kamala Harris's speech tonight?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm doing something else tonight. I have a different assignment, so I'm not out on the demonstration trail. I'm watching what the guys are doing. We're in a chat group, so the guys that are out there with the group that we're embedded with are sending the messages in so that we can keep up with them. But right at the moment, I'm preparing to do my assignment. I can talk more tomorrow, just not right now.
Well, Steve, what is the feeling been? I mean, what we've learned so far is you've been in bars being hit on by transgender delegates. You've seen some strange things. You're surrounded by police. There's violence at night. I mean, does it feel safe? Chicago, 1968, it didn't feel safe. You could smell the tear gas. You could smell the slaughter yards not too far because Chicago still had those back downtown at the time. What is the general tension, or is it non-existent? Is the wall of police actually really keeping people safe?
Yeah, I will tell you that last night I watched personally a group of about 15 to 20 Antifa come up to a large gathering, and as soon as they saw how many cops were there, they just turned around and left. And this is happening, I think, this time because, as I mentioned yesterday, is that the overwhelming presence of law enforcement here is.
Looks like we lost.
Should have been this way at all times.
Yeah, all right.
From this type of police presence.
All right, Steve. Well, we're losing some of you right now, but I know that we are going to look forward to the entire report tomorrow on Blaze News Tonight because, Peterson, we know what Steve has been doing in Chicago all week, and I can't wait for the rest of the audience to figure this out.
You have to realize Steve is a man of many talents. If you don't realize that yet about him and you're new to Blaze, you'll find that out tomorrow. And, you know, a lot of what he's been doing for us this week that you've seen on the show already is talking to people, not protesters, just, you know, talking to people around town and giving us a sense of where they're coming from.
It sounds like he had a little technical difficulties there. Those are kind of plagued the DNC. I was shocked when we went to the RNC because I've covered a bunch of conventions before. Usually it's long lines, and you walk through concrete barriers, and there's more long lines. The DNC, the RNC had none of this in Milwaukee. The internet was so good that I was able to come to you live at the Blaze using convention internet inside the halls. That's incredible. At the Democratic convention, this long line, you might end up with an abortion or a vasectomy at the end of it. You don't even know what you're getting in line for, and the internet doesn't work.
I just look at the differences between the DNC and the RNC. And of course, the DNC is going to have the speakers and the big musicians that are going to come out tonight of us. You know, it's like Stevie Wonder and John
I was
Legend.
worried about that because usually Republicans have the old people acts. Like if you go to the DNC, they've got like the new people, the cool people, the people who are in the top charts. You go to the GOP conventions, you know, it's bands I prefer. It's like Blues Travelers coming out and playing, the Allman Brothers, a bunch of bands that like old people like me like. But the DNC this time, which is supposed to be about the new generation, the young people. What is it? I mean, James Taylor, Pink was around when I was maybe in high school. She's not exactly a new act. You have, who are the leaders? Who are the main speakers?
Chicks, I mean.
Oprah, she's a retiree. Barack Obama, retiree. Michelle Obama, retiree. Nancy Pelosi's the godmother because she, I guess, stabbed the president in broad daylight. She was retired from the Speaker of the House. So Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Who was like murmuring on for,
Exactly.
He was giving way too long of a toast. He broke all wedding etiquette.
We were talking about this earlier today. What's astounding is it's almost like the octogenarians and the old people are like looking on and judging and giving Kamala the nod, right? And there's no sense of, there's not even the possibility, the hope, we should say, that you would find a young Barack Obama at this event. That's not the vibe at all. It looks old. It looks like
was it made for Joe?
From the 90s or 80s, the kind of the way the wide shot looks. And then, Joe comes on, the angry old man, and they sweep him away. And then you have this older generation sort of presiding over this whole thing. Look at us, we're great. And it reminds you like, wow, that was 15 years ago. Like Barack's getting up there. He needs to eat some carbs. He's getting a little skinny.
24 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I can't begrudge anyone for going a little white in the beard, but Barack Obama looks a little bit older. They all look a little bit older, and I don't know. I guess I was asking you guys earlier: is Oprah even still on TV? Apparently, I missed it. She's been off for like a decade because I'm reading all these things about Oprah being reintroduced to youthful viewers. I'm like, I thought that she was important, but I don't really watch a whole lot of TV.
Oh yeah, and the Dixie Chicks, or the Chicks, or whatever they're called now, like most people don't even remember that controversy.
They were fighting with Toby Keith, rest in peace.
That was a long time ago.
During Bush years.
They were.
No longer Chicks, no longer Dixie.
No, you can't.
Old ladies.
Don't you dare call them the Dixie Chicks. You will get in trouble. But we do have Oprah. She was speaking at the DNC earlier this week, and she had a disturbing take on the American dream.
If you do not have autonomy over this, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream.
There is no American dream,
You can't
you guys.
kill your babies. There's no American dream. That's a strange Moloch version of America. You know, the entire DNC is about this, and it's not actually, they try to make it about women, but I think the main thing, and this is the misdirection of the sexual revolution in general, is it's about men. It's about men not having to be men. Vasectomy. You're no longer able to have children anymore. Your masculinity is gone. Maybe that's a decision that a married couple makes, but that's a strange thing to have as like a centerpiece. Abortion. You don't have to raise that child because of that one night stand you had with a woman. You don't have to raise that child. You don't have to raise someone who might have difficulties in their life. It's amazing to see Democrats freaking out about a neurologically divergent Tim Walz's kid because he's got ADHD apparently and anxiety. It's like, well, congratulations on surviving Roe v. Wade because there's an abortion van parked right in front for people who may be difficult or have trouble being raised. And all of this is about escaping masculinity. And then you've got Waltz out there who's basically fits into the Homer Simpson idea of the American man. Now, Homer's like a beloved character who cares about his family, but he's also a doofus, and everyone knows he's a doofus. And that's what they betray, and they have betrayed for a long time, the American man, the head of the family. And you've got MSNBC and CNN saying, we love that there's someone out there who speaks to lower testosterone men. Now, you don't need to be Hulk Hogan ripping your shirt off to be a man, but you do need to raise your children. Maybe you should think twice about getting it snipped, and you probably can't vote for Kamala.
But they want to elevate a man who steps back, right, and doesn't take care of business. I mean, that's what they do. So they're celebrating a kind of masculinity where you are absolved of responsibility. And then the thing about Walz that you have to add to this is that there's a self-hating element, right? A groveling, like, I know white people are bad and stupid, and I know the color of my skin is something I can't be proud of. And in fact, it's a problem. And haha, that's really funny. And it's disgusting. There's something disgusting about it, revolting simping. Even. It's more than simping, yeah.
Yeah, it's gross. It makes you uncomfortable to see it.
We'll get it over to the roast with Stu Burguiere and Dave Landau and Alex Stein and Sara Gonzales at the very top of the hour. And until then, we will get you through some more of the DNC because you guys, we know that what we see on screen tonight, one, we've already talked about the long lines that you have to get through to even get in. These guys are the people that produce all the Hollywood films. It should be a theatrical production. But we don't see that right now. And all we see are, like, Oprah coming out here. Like we still need Oprah on our TV. And all the old white men that they're trying to say right now is, oh, Tim Walz, look at him. And Barack Obama coming through and saying, oh, his shirts, they've seen a lot of stuff right now, you guys. They have been through some things.
Windsurfing Obama, talking about Tim Walz's shirts. That's just a strange moment. And all the other things he keeps in the closet. I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness going on there. And I think one of the weirdest things about this it's a shotgun wedding. We have to keep that in mind. 5 weeks ago, every single person on that stage, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey's like secretly in charge of the Democratic Party, was trying to come up with someone to be the bride who was not Kamala Harris or the groom. Anyone. I mean, it was just a month ago that Biden stepped down and then said, oh, by the way, I nominate Kamala. It made sense. We wrote about it at Beltway Brief, wrote about it at The Blaze. We talked about it. But they were desperate to not have this wedding. And they were and they stacked it right on with the funeral. They're going to move right on. They're not even going to talk about it. I don't think, we might have mentioned this a second ago, but Oprah Winfrey didn't even make a single mention of Joe Biden. And she could have tossed it to the crowd is weird. We were talking about this earlier. It's like they're told when to chant or when to cheer. You could have one speaker come on and say, and we're going to take the money from the billionaires, and everyone cheers. And then the next speaker is like Pritzker, who's a billionaire, and they cheer when he says, I'm a billionaire. You can toss them whatever. So it just takes a little bit of grace to say, oh, by the way, don't forget we buried Grandpa on Monday. And they can't do it. They still can't do it.
Yeah, it's about power. What's lurking behind all this is just raw power of the individuals, the pantheon of older people that you mentioned. It's their power on display. It's not about coherent ideology. It's not about, coherent principles and purpose. It really is, you will clap. This is whom we have chosen. And what matters is that we have chosen her. That's what matters. We have chosen her. I'm with her. Even though we know damn well these people were not with her for the last however many, up until 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I saw Byron York was talking about this earlier, where he said, well, there's no need for policies. All she needs to say is, I will be a good progressive. That doesn't really work with conservatives. Like, what do you mean you'll be a good conservative? Are you going to be severely conservative like Mitt Romney? Are you going to be MAGA conservative, whatever that kind of constantly shifting thing is? Are you going to be, what is this going to mean? But the Democrats apparently don't need that. She checks the boxes. They're going to make the personality for her. The news media have done her makeup, done her hair, picked out her dress. And now tonight, she's going to be presented and roasted.
One old white guy tossed it off to another old white guy. Last night, Bill Clinton gave Joe Biden a send-off fit for the founding fathers.
And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power. And George Washington knew that, and he did it.
Chris, how can the Democrats acknowledge things could get better under Biden and then go out and compare him to George Washington?
I mean, he started his administration being compared to FDR by all those historian simps who live in Concord, Massachusetts. Yeah, George Washington. I just don't remember what newspapers are around today that were still around back then. The New York Post, I think, might have been around at the time. I don't remember the string of editorials and the clamor of the American people that George Washington needs to step down right now, or Thomas Jefferson's going to take over. There was none of that. He actually stepped down. People did not want him to leave. Matt's an actual historian, so I'll toss it to him in a second as soon as I finish just blowing wind. Joe Biden was defenestrated. It wasn't something he wanted to do, voluntarily gave up power. He is so angry about it, he's not even there. And I kind of get it.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. Isn't it insane to think the man who had the most power in American history would be George Washington, without whom there's no Constitution, there's no revolution, who everyone knows is the first president and could have been president his entire life, who had the power, stepped down, And then, as we're saying, Biden wants to hold on until the very, very end, wants to hold on to power as a senile, dementia-addled old man, but can't because the most powerful people in the country who put him there say, no, we gotta go.
And remember, they didn't want him back in the first place. And I think that's one of the reasons why he made so much money and made so much. Like, if you're planning to run for president and be in the limelight again, you don't give the sign off to make $34 million from the Chinese and other shady governments. That was because Hillary Clinton had been picked.
Point. Yeah.
He wanted to be president, but Obama had said no, and Oprah had said no, it's going to be Hillary Clinton. And no one expected her to actually lose that election. So it was going to be 8 more years. He was going to be this old. His chance to run for president was never going to happen. So he might as well just make some money. It's like, oh, surprise, we actually need you back because this cast of fools on the primary stage basically are openly saying we want to open the border. We need you back. I like the hammering.
I do too. But when we look at Joe Biden, they were going out there and making him take the stage so early on Monday night. He gave his farewell address around midnight on Monday.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return with the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it.
I mean it. He's more optimistic now. Chris, are you buying that at all?
No, I think he's pretty sad. All he ever wanted to do in his entire life was be president. It was a shame that he wasn't actually there for it when it happened. And it's sad to see. It almost, when you see speeches like that, it makes me feel bad. I wish it wasn't like we had to give him the country for 4 years to make the old man feel better after a career of being a fairly awful person. I think Barack Obama had the best idea initially when he was like, he surprised Joe with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the old man got all teary, and it's like, here you go. It's like a plaque. It's a very nice retirement plaque, and that was supposed to be it. But everything went awry. He came back. I just wish you could give the old guy a present that wasn't 4 years of chaos, insanity, and decline. Okay, anything else? My watch, take it.
Well, I mean, you see him get thrown away in the end. I mean, that's the sad, but really the classic old truth here is that power discarded him and threw him away and gave him a disgraceful late-night speech as President of the United States, supposedly as great as George Washington, and he has to speak at midnight. I mean, that's, you're hiding him, and they're going to continue to hide him. And as you've pointed out over and over again, they pretend he doesn't even exist, and he is still, ladies and gentlemen, just keep in mind, he is still the President of the United States of America.
I can't believe it.
He's like living. He's alive. They buried him alive.
He's on vacation right now. I mean, relax a little. He's busy on vacation now.
He's hanging out in Reaganstown, Santa Barbara, where he went to retire. Fantastic.
You may as well enjoy it while he can still remember and enjoy anything.
I mean, I'm having a great time with you guys here tonight, but am I the only person who thinks that retirement will probably be awesome? Like, I don't want to be carted out of here.
You're so cute that you think you're going to be able to retire with this economy that's going to come down this pipeline. Good luck, Chris.
You're going to have to pull me out and say, all right, Bedford's coming on at 11:30 after everyone goes to bed.
We have to admit, these people don't want to. They want to die in office. They do not want to retire. They do not want to spend time with their grandchildren. They want to die grasping power with their cold, dead hands.
But
we've
why?
seen it over and over again. It's their identity. It's the only thing that they have in their life, presumably. And that's very disturbing. It's perverse.
I've heard grandkids are great. I mean, you don't have to raise them. You get to play with them. You can return them, drink wine, travel. Sounds amazing.
The intoxication of power. I mean, you have to think about how corrupt you'd have to be to say, I don't want to retire when you easily could. You have enough money.
That's the kind of thing you do see. In countries like Russia, Vladimir Putin can't retire because you don't keep your dacha when you retire in Russia. He doesn't become one of the richest men in the world because he earned it. It's only power. And when that power is gone, it is taken from you. So, like, I see why, someone like him doesn't want to retire. It just blows my mind when you see the rest of them.
They all want the power. Kamala Harris is in this because she wants the power. But now they're trying to tell us that Kamala is cool, right? We see all the PR campaigns that are out there. We see the media trying to make this person, who was the most unlikable candidate that we've seen, try to be so cool, you guys. And come on. Is anybody buying this? Or does Kamala Harris actually need somebody like Taylor Swift to come out there on the stage and make her cool? Would that work?
Might work. I mean, one of the reasons that we're in this situation in the first place is the same segment of society that makes up Taylor Swift fans are very bad and emotional voters. I mean, vote against Donald Trump because he's mean on Twitter, I guess. I get it. I can see being turned off by that, but you'd think you'd be interested in policies. And part of being cool, remember, is not being front and center. Not being out there, being a little mysterious. And Kamala Harris gives no interviews.
We could see Steph Curry right now on the DNC feed, and he's trying to make her cool. Like, they're doing everything that they can to say, I'm cool. I'm going to give my coolness over to Kamala.
So I fully grant it might work because the culture machine is powerful, but I think there's a real obstacles here to this. And one is, as you were saying, cool, like glamour especially is mysterious. You don't show everything. Glamorous is sort of like mysterious and back there. There's nothing mysterious about this woman. There's nothing mysterious about her, and there's nothing cool about her. And so, to me, it's an insurmountable mountain of cringe that you have to get over. And I feel like I'm a rebellious 13-year-old boy again when I see her say, as Wynant, no, I'm totally cool. Like, I used to smoke out and listen to, Snoop. And you're like, what are you even talking about? It doesn't even, the age range, she's so terrible that way. So the only way you do that is you have other people speak for her, and you have a parade of images like they've had, right, for the last month or so. There's no objections. There's other people speaking for her that are part of the cool culture machine. The problem tonight, and the interesting thing about tonight, and what everyone should be thinking is, what is it actually going to look like when they put this loser of a politician nationally who's never won anything nationally in her life or even come close to it. Not a single state vote, not a single. She's going to go up and she's going to have to give a speech. And there's a certain element to this that you can't fake, right? Even Biden, if you hide him in the basement and he comes out in that debate and he's terrible. And so is she going to be able to pull that off? I don't think she has the capacity that, say, like Michelle Obama did last night, to come out clear and strong and bracing. We'll see. Did she do the work as well? You've been pointing out the whole time she doesn't do the work. Chris has been saying, and it's true. Staffers say she won't prepare. So what is this going to look like for her?
And how many of those retarees, you have to wonder, did the crowd wish were the nominee, were the actual bride,
Right.
were in the dress tonight?
Michelle Obama,
even Oprah Winfrey. It's like, that's an interesting speech. That'd be great. Barack Obama, please come back and save us. Yeah. Bill Clinton, you're getting pretty long in the tooth. At least he was able to make fun of that himself. But can any one of you please come back and be the Democratic nominee?
Now, no matter how cool they make her seem, one of the biggest issues is going to be immigration. And I don't know if she is going to be able to run away from that. They named her the border czar. They tried to sweep that under the rug. But it's still going to be one of the biggest issues that we see this entire election cycle.
There's no running away from it. There's no running away from it. So everyone doesn't want to talk about it now on the right, almost because it's been overplayed or we've talked about it so much. It still resonates. It's insane. It's absolutely mind-blowing insane. And now it will come back because she's going to have to answer for it. And no one, look at polling, absolutely no one believes what they're saying now, which is actually we do care about the border, and somehow I wasn't the border.
And you remember, this was Joe Biden handicapping her or kneecapping her in the first place. The little Tanya Harding move of, you want my job, do you? You want to be in charge of everything? You want to be in every meeting? You're in charge of the border now. And her staff were consistently leaking their anger at the time that she was being set up with impossible tasks. And to be honest, she was, because the policies of the administration and the policies which she championed made it so you could not stop the border. You could not stem the tide of people coming over. It's basically saying, listen, you're in charge of boxing, but our policy is you can't throw a punch. You can't throw a kick. You can't bite. You can't even yell too loudly. You can go down and give a speech that says, do not come. But that's about all. And honestly, that's a little racist if you even do that. So you have to walk back. Remember one of the great moments of, one of the few shining moments of Joe Biden's last State of the Union was when he went off script and he said illegal immigrant, and he said the name of a young girl who'd been killed by one, and he ended up having to apologize for that. It was like actually it reminded you, oh yeah, the eyes grew a little brighter, the dimness pulled back, and here was a person who actually was a pretty good politician at the end of the day. He could do it, and you saw that, but even then he had to apologize. You couldn't even score a political point that went against illegal immigration, because I guess that's an important voting bloc to Democrats.
Well, Donald Trump spoke at the southern border today and announced his criminal justice plan regarding illegal immigrants, sex offenders, and drug traffickers.
With your vote, we will seal the border, stop the invasion, and launch the largest deportation effort in American history. We will impose tough new sentences on illegal alien criminals. These include 10-year mandatory minimum sentence for anyone guilty of human smuggling, a guaranteed life sentence for anyone guilty of child trafficking, and a death penalty for anyone guilty of child or woman sex trafficking. We'll also impose the death penalty on major drug dealers and traffickers in other countries on their immigration papers. There is a statement that says, death for drug traffickers. Big letters, big bold letters. 10 times the size of everything else on the page. I saw it this morning. And those are the countries where they have no problem with drugs. Many of them, actually. We will also impose the death penalty for anyone killing our police, sheriffs, Border Patrol, ICE, or law enforcement officials. The death penalty with a quicker trial, not a trial that lasts for 15 years and everybody gets exhausted. We will liberate our country from the illegal alien drug dealers, robbers, murderers, gang members, and child predators. And we will make America safe again for our citizens and make it greater, stronger, better, more beautiful than ever before.
We know that's going to be one of the biggest issues, but let's go ahead and head out to Chicago. And on the floor of the DNC, Colin Allred, a representative from Texas, is trying to make us understand what's going on there.
Powerful than me. We will protect and restore reproductive freedom. We will secure the border. We'll protect Medicare and Social Security.
This is something they love to do.
And we'll turn the page and write a new chapter
They
for
want
this
to make
country.
abortion a federal
And let
issue.
Kamala Harris be the next president.
Republicans
and
don't
beat
want to say,
Ted
oh, we don't want to talk about it anymore on the federal level.
No, exactly.
And it's not going to
If you're going to make it a federal issue, they already have.
Well, Trump's gone out there and been like, basically, I'll mail you the pill if you want. And Democrats are still saying, he'll take away your abortion.
The abortions are happening outside the DNC right now in a van, and so many people that have taken the stage have made it a point because that's what the Democrats care more than anything.
You kind of wonder, it's like, what's the, I mean, if abortion is not legal on demand in the third trimester, you'll have to get abortions in a van at political conventions. Like, is that the threat? It seems strange.
Now, see, look at this. This whole setup is so
freedom
it's
from
simple.
gun violence.
Yeah. You know, freedom is provided by guns, according to some people. I think they were the founders.
2 years ago, a miscarriage nearly killed me. At 16 weeks, my doctors told me to prepare for a stillbirth. I needed care. But my state's abortion
This is a really weird thing
restrictions
to go
kept
to
it
right
from
after
me.
the abortion talk.
I miscarried in a bathroom.
Wait,
I'll never
what does this have
forget
to
my
do with
husband's
abortion?
face as he tried to stop the bleeding, trying to do what doctors should have been doing. When I reached the hospital, I'd lost nearly half the blood in my body.
Terrible situation, but
I
what does
can't
this have to do
change
with
the
abortion?
past, but we can choose a different future.
How was that a vote for Democrats versus Republicans? You know, God bless her and God bless her children, but that's a sad. Is that a pro-abortion message or is that a gun safety message?
I have no idea what's going on here.
I'm Craig Sicknick, and this is my mother, Gladys. My brother was a U.S. Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, a hero who died after defending our country on January 6th.
I guess we're at a political convention, you know?
Yeah.
My family knows how dangerous Trump is. He incited the crowd. While my brother and his fellow officers
The complete
were
and
putting their
total
lives at
fantasy
risk.
that they've built around
We need a real leader,
Sicknick was
not an autocrat who's
is
stuck in the
twisted.
past.
You know,
Steve Baker paid your office.
Miss you every day.
if you want to get a good idea of how far January 6th echoes around the country as a political rallying call, you can check out the votes in Maryland, which is a short drive from Washington, D.C., where the fake hero of J6 didn't win a Democratic primary.
No, yeah, Harry Dunn. We've shown how he's a disgraced former officer who lied under oath, and the Sicknick lie as well. I mean, it's such a bizarre thing.
Finally
Not dive.
prescription drug prices.
Anything that happened that day. I'm not sure. What is this medley going on here?
You're jumping from topic to topic.
Can I be honest? Like,
It's
I'm
like
just
jump in and make jokes. Here's like a ray of sadness.
I'm a snob about this. Like, I like real stories and documentaries about regular people. You know, like on YouTube, like the guy goes around to like regular people and places in America you don't usually go, right? But I can't stand the modern political prop of bringing in these personal stories for like 5 seconds and then moving on.
Or
We all
are they
pretend it's supposed
trying to
be meaningful.
do what the RNC
Republicans
did,
do it
where
too.
they had the different nights and, you know, the average Americans that went through? Are we trying to do that now
told-
in a 3-minute span?
Right, those were more powerful than usual. I don't like it when Republicans do it either. It's short, you know, and we're all supposed to. And it's like a really powerful story, but you're not really giving it any dignity because you're just using someone as a prop and moving on. So the Republicans did it well because they were long, they were well done, and you sort of felt like you got into their story.
It was one of the main focuses of the Republican convention.
Over the last 4 years,
What's she talking about? Let's get in here.
19 million new business applications have been filed. Like Trump, I grew up in Queens, but unlike him, I built my business with grit. That's my story. That's
Trump,
the
not a
American
worker.
story.
I don't know about
Let's
that.
turn
The guy doesn't
page
sleep.
on Trump.
Some of my younger friends say, I want to go work for the White House. I'm like, well, you better get ready to not sleep for 4 years.
Yeah.
He gets off the airplane and goes straight back to the White House. He goes straight to work. It doesn't matter what time of night it is.
Is there a theme here?
I always try to set an example for my boys, to teach them compassion, accountability, and resilience. I want those values to be reflected in our leaders.
Nice
I don't
suit.
want to have to turn off the TV because our president is lobbing insults or telling lies. I'm tired of all of the hate.
No, it
It's
seems like a
time to
bad
move forward
Democrat ad.
Together.
Like they
build
do
a
it. What
country
you need
our
is the
kids can be
violins. You need
proud
the
of.
like. I have to turn off my TV. There's also the same people that are always saying like, I turned to my 3-year-old and she said, "Mommy, will I be able to have an abortion?"
Yeah, exactly.
And I couldn't tell her. I choked up and I cried.
It's so short. It's like a series of tweets. Like you would have been better showing me the tweets, I think. Like you're saying.
And you're right. It is an old feel to this.
Yeah,
DNC. You know what I was hoping for with Waltz? I was hoping for some Swift boats.
Look at the
Remember when
crowd
they
is, like,
decorated?
Quiet.
Remember when John Kerry ran against George
Oh,
W.
yeah.
Bush, and they had to be like, "This guy's not a total sissy." So they just covered the place like with more flags than Munich, and put Swift boats behind him, and he was like, and they took pictures of him windsurfing. And then didn't Obama do the same thing, or was he windsurfing? There's some weird.
Obama is windsurfing, but it's mainly his cook who was trying to, I think.
Paddleboarding, a very
unfortunately
dangerous
passed
sport.
away paddleboarding. In 8 feet of water happens to the best of us.
Please
Die outside
welcome
our houses.
the Bulls' official drum line,
Oh, the
Chicago's own
drum line now,
Pack
you guys.
Drum line.
Drumline.
I like drum lines. I actually don't think that drums should be listened to as a solo instrument, aside from like a royal tattoo.
Hot take.
Yeah. I had a guy, my friend, one of my cousin's wedding had the drummer from Bruce Springsteen. He decided to play like a 5-minute
That's it?
drum take.
I'm sorry, like, what's going on?
They're hip with the culture. They know what's up, and it's the official drumline of the Chicago Bulls, you guys. It's the Chicago Bulls.
There's these street performers who used to sit up
I'm not
outside the
saying
Daily
it's right.
Colors office, and they would play the drum lines at like, you'd be getting off the subway at 6:30 in the morning, and they're just cranking, and I was never in the mood at 6:30.
I'm not in the mood at 6:30. I usually like that in a big city. I remember in Chicago, actually, there's some guys who are really good.
It is great if you're visiting, but if your office is right
Oh,
there.
yeah. No, that's not cool at all.
These guys are pretty good.
Stu Burguiere, Dave Landau, Alex Stein, and Sara Gonzales are going to be with us in 10 minutes. They will start the roast officially, and everything will be getting underway there for Chicago, the DNC. They'll have much better coverage than what the Chicago drumline is going on. They're going to get pink. They're going to get a ton of the celebrities later tonight. So stay with us because the roast is just getting started.
And they're the professional comedians. All of a sudden, they got to bring, they have to trot us out first.
Dark as they just
Blaze News tonight. If I really start joking, it's going to get really cynical,
Yeah. These are my beers.
Should we? I mean, what are you going to do with this? Like, this is good to get the crowd up, I guess, but it's not. This is not like mainstream.
I might switch my vote.
This might be the most American flags that a Democratic convention has ever seen.
That's very cool. Look at that.
Now,
no one's burning the flag. They're waving it.
They were burning it outside in the streets of Chicago, but inside the convention, they're okay with it, at least for tonight.
In 2016, they didn't even bring flags for Hillary Clinton's convention. They ended up having to take them from the city hall in Philadelphia to put them because someone was like, "Oh my gosh, no one ordered the flags." We have to have them.
By the way, do you think Kamala is on an Okie chard right now? She started.
She might be. I was at the Javits Center on the election night in 2016 waiting for Hillary Clinton to come out, but she was deep in the Okie shard. She wasn't coming on TV.
All right, guys, I want to know, now we're on Kamala, what do we think she's going to say tonight? What do we think her message is going to be? Because we've seen her out on stage for about 3 minutes on Monday night when she came out and made that surprise appearance. So how's it going to go tonight?
She's going to do the life story. She's going to reintroduce herself to the American people, child of immigrants, this and that. Oprah kind of previewed this for us, where she talked about a woman who had just died a few days before, who was one of the first to actually desegregate and was on the front lines when it was a violent and dangerous thing. But she kind of just skipped forward like a few generations. And also Kamala Harris went to school. Yeah. And you're supposed to tie those things together. Like Kamala Harris, also a hero, also went to school. No comparison between them, but that was the way that Oprah kind of set it up. And I expect to see that. Remember, Kamala Harris, back when the media didn't even take her seriously, she was one of those people who stole the line from Martin Luther King when she said that her Indian mother and Jamaican father were taking her to civil rights protests of the 80s.
This is a good one.
Or 70s. When she looked up, they asked her why she wanted to be there from her stroller. She said, "Freedom." I don't believe that story. I don't think that story actually happened. No one actually believes that story happened. It got made fun of so much that she finally dropped it. But I think we'll hear some more of that, how she is actually secretly part of the real life struggles of a generation now gone.
Part of me thinks it just doesn't matter. Like, this is about vibes for these people. So she doesn't have any real policy that's going to be convincing. This is about, feels. And, Taylor Swift or someone like is going to come out and say, "I support Kamala Harris."
Is that where your money is? I'll bet you a shot.
I'll
Whatever
buy you a
side you
shot
want.
anyway. But
Whichever shot.
I'll take it. I think Taylor Swift is going to come out. The fact we're even talking about that, whether it's true or whether it's apocryphal, shows where we're at as a people and where this party is at. So I'm very happy to see the American flags being waved right now, right? That is a good thing. But
the New York Times is trying to pretend that this has always been the case. They had this piece last week, or earlier this week, about the muscular patriotism of Kamala Harris, and it's based on that bad Captain America AI meme of Kamala coming out with the shield. And if you pay attention, if you look too closely in this image, it's actually kind of frightening. Yeah. And they say, most Democrats, of course, think of themselves as the real patriotic party. But then they had to mention the polls. The Democrats are not the patriotic party. They're doubled in enthusiasm by Republicans. But hey, I would actually love if some of the rhetoric that's put on display this week about patriotism, about loving America, about the founders, about George Washington being a good guy, stuck around. Because last week, George Washington was a slaver who should be written out of history.
Exactly. We should take down the statue. Now Joe Biden's like him, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Over under on white dudes for Harris being mentioned in Harris's speech.
Ooh.
I would say no, because it's the most appalling thing ever, but that's probably why it would be mentioned. And
She
probably
loves
why
the cringe.
40% of America would be like, yeah.
And probably, I would say, higher chance of black jobs being mentioned, which is
for
funny.
sure.
It's funny because
Michelle already got that in, but Kamala will steal it and just go, you know what, I need to say that too. It got a big applause line.
Yeah, and it's funny because for like 60 years, Democrats have been promising jobs to black people at every single convention. Like, they've never once delivered. And I can see why. It turns out if you actually succeed and pull away from poverty and go to Yale, you get made fun of at the DNC. But I guess it's now a problem to talk about it. It's interesting, but she's up for it. And I wonder if she'll just come on before Joe Biden falls asleep.
I'm digging seeing these hard hats as well as the American flag too, and you're just saying, am I at a Trump rally? It feels like I'm at a Trump rally. Interesting.
It's interesting. The talk of football, the talk of faith, the talk of patriotism, but then they do that weird, like Raphael Warnock thing where they just sprinkle abortion into the faith talk.
Oh yeah, or it's like
walls. I can't get over the football talk. I was a former sports reporter before I jumped over to politics. That's the worst football speech I've ever heard, you guys. I have heard so many football speeches in my life, and that was by far the worst, the most cringiest. I could not, it was like nails on a chalkboard.
It was pretty bad, and I never had a coach nearly as weak as that guy. My coaches were mean. They were tough. You were running hills.
Weak? I'm sorry. He's the face of masculinity.
A new low testosterone masculinity. And it's not like me projecting that thought. This was actually what CNN and MSNBC were talking about.
So this is the thing. It's like they get the flag, right? They get the hard hats, and then it's all a LARP. And the masculinity thing is where they say it. That's where the tell is, because they basically say, this guy wears his masculinity as a skin suit to actually not be masculine. Okay, I mean, I don't understand this at all. The craziest thing about it too is it's supposed to be a new thing where, did you ever hear about how some men are like too tough and masculine and really they're just concealing their feelings and repressing their true selves? I'm like, yeah, I think I saw that in a movie in 1965. I mean, this is the old. I just can't believe anyone buys this anymore. But then again, I mean, look, they do. So the best we can do is roast this and have a good time and take some shots.
I loved it. Our buddy Steve Day said on X earlier today, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Rather, all male behavior is not masculine, and that's what's actually toxic. Right? Like they're just trying to flip absolutely everything.
Yeah, but also if you're talking about masculinity at all, it's kind of like talking about being cool. Like, why would you shouldn't have to talk about that. It's not cool to talk
about it.
You should you should just live. Like, you should just be yourself.
Just be a man.
Just be a man. The fact that they're talking about it is the tell. Like, well, actually, there's a new masculinity, and we have a masculinity here that we can talk about. And it's, why would you talk about that? It's like saying it's like the bubble of her being cool, right?
They're so threatening.
She's really cool. She's super cool, guys. I'm super cool, guys. I'm super cool.
If you have
and
to
also,
keep
I'm super
saying
masculine.
it,
No, seriously, I'm super serial. I'm really masculine.
It's not real.
Stop trying to make fetch a thing.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
Exactly.
You guys, I can't get over just the fact that they have turned everything good into bad things and everything bad into good, but that's what the Democrats do. And even at the DNC, they try to make it. They try and make it. Like, hey, have you seen, they are wearing a lot of purple. We're just like you guys. It's red and blue put together. There are a lot of purple themes that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a strange
Oprah was wearing purple. Like, there were a lot of purple tones put in.
Is that supposed to be like a bipartisan thing?
Yeah. I think it's a subliminal bipartisan thing.
Guys, this is the longest time I've ever seen any Democratic anything focus on the American flag, unironically. It's insane. It's like they actually want to get elected and they realize they can't act the way they have for the last however many years.
Bill Clinton and Obama were both lecturing them on that. Like, hey, we need to treat people civilly.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the country. We need to persuade. It's like they got that was an actual pep talk that she got was from those two politicians who put together winning coalitions.
Guys, we love bringing big events like this to you and just going through and making sure that these big tech lords aren't going to stop us from doing this. As a Blaze TV host and a whole platform of content that's too spicy for mainstream milquetoast. So if you like what you see, please consider joining us at blazetv.com so we can keep bringing you censor-free commentary, and original things are just starting to heat up. Matthew Peterson, we know what we're building here as we just continue here at Blaze News Tonight.
I mean, this is one of the most important things you can do, and I really encourage you, if you don't believe me, just check out what we're doing. We're building. We're publishing new stuff and better stuff every day at theblaze.com. We're bringing on people like Chris Bedford, who's publishing his newsletter, coming on the show. We're creating shows like this. This is the only show in American news that does what we do with the angle we have. There's no other show like it on the right at any other network. And in order to do that, we need you to just to build together with us.
We do. That's very well said. And I am excited to do this along with the two of you. And you know what? Let's go ahead and turn things over because things are about to heat up for the Blaze Media original roast of the DNC.
Oh my. Why is she laughing?
I call her Laughing Kamala. You ever watch her laugh? She's crazy.
Trump claims that you were pushed out, put from the top of the ticket, and this amounts to a coup from your party.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Welcome to whatever this is going to be. I will say thank you first to Jill, Matt, and Chris for actually covering this nonsense seriously. That must have been very painful, but they did a great job doing it. There actually will be a lot of information that is important to your futures. We hope to give you none of it here on this particular broadcast. I am joined right now by Dave Landau from, of course, BlazeTV, host of Normal World.
Where to look now? Ahoy, hello.
Yes, see, look at that.
It's mine now.
That is professional, Dave. Good job. I think when you discuss each place you look all night, just so people know where you're looking, and
makes it
in case they aren't watching.
I want to make sure we pull the curtain back
Yes.
so they know how confused I am on the set. Hi.
The level is high of confusion. Alex Stein is here, speaking of high levels of confusion. He's BlazeTV host of Prime Time with Alex Stein. And, of course, Sara Gonzales, BlazeTV host of Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Just look around at all. Just look the wrong way the entire time tonight. It's going to be great. Let me tell you about what's going to happen tonight. The DNC, of course, has been a complete cringe fest of lies and propaganda since the beginning. I'm sure you've noticed if you've been watching our live stream, it's been crazy. On the final night of all of the insanity, we are here to highlight the dumpster fire for what it is with a classic roast. We want you to join in on the fun as well. Sending in your best roast lines in the super chat, and of course sending us your jokes in the comments section. The panel and I will be reading the best roasts live right here. And of course, there's a special gift for a few lucky winners. If you're a BlazeTV subscriber, you're going to receive a $50 gift card to our merch store if you happen to be selected. If you're not a subscriber, you get much less, okay? We're going to treat you like you're one of those evil rich fat cats and only give you a $20 gift card so you can only afford like half of a shirt. So you can check that out as well, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dave Landau will set you up with a segment that we are calling Finish That Roast. He's a professional comedian, unlike, me and Sara. And, well, Alex is somewhat a pseudo-professional. Are you a professional comedian?
Professional in anything. I'm just
That's
an
actually
novice.
also true.
Yeah, I am a man of the people, and I don't pretend to be anything I'm not. I'm just a human being, and I bleed red, white, and blue.
Oh, that was powerful. That was really powerful.
He doesn't mean a word of it.
No, I mean it all. I hold a lot of power in my words. I'm just like Barack Obama.
I like your hand gesture while you say hold power.
This is how I speak now.
What are you holding, Sara? I'm concerned.
Same thing. A nice sack. A nice sack of power.
Okay, there you go.
I was just going to say an apple.
Oh.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, so... That's right. It did look like an apple. Where you could deliver these lines, by the way, some of the best DNC, whatever you come up with, use the hashtag DNC roast on the Blaze TV chat, YouTube chat, X, or Facebook with your roast responses to qualify for the gift card. And although we need to fight at the voting booth, and of course we'll do all that. But tonight we're going to take a moment to kind of laugh at all of this insanity. If you aren't a Blaze TV subscriber, now is the perfect time to join. Go to dncroast.com, dncroast.com. Use the promo code ROASTED for $30 off an annual subscription. So, I don't know, participate, get involved. I want to, do we have some of what's going on right now at the actual... Oh. Well, we got the national anthem with the Chicks. Let's listen in. The Dixie Chicks.
Oh.
Here they are.
How dare you?
Oh. At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
better from them, honestly.
I know, it's not that great. I mean, the vibes. You need like a guitar or something, you know?
They're all hot.
It was better when they were called the Dixie Chicks.
You guys,
What are
please,
they now?
can you guys honor our nation for a couple minutes?
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to talk over the anthem. Even though Democrats...
Well, they love the American flag now. That's great.
Yeah. Watching them wave that is like having a dog with a squirrel in its mouth. Like you think it loves it, but it's really just killing it.
Doug Emhoff in the house. Hide your nannies. You never know what can happen. There's the Dixie Chicks. The Dixie Chicks with their rendition of the national anthem. Welcome to the DNC roast. We were talking about them.
Should we throw the roast joke out for them?
Want to do that now? Well, let's do
I don't know
it
if we're supposed to do
All
it
right.
now.
Dave says we do it now. So let's
You're
do it now.
just killing me.
All right. Dave has a line for you, and listen to it, and then
Well, I just
will
want to see if
participate.
you guys, that way you can participate, finish the joke.
Okay. What do we got?
That's the way we can get them involved.
Thank you, Dave.
You know, that's what
Which camera are you looking at when you
I
saying
think I'm
that?
looking at this
Okay,
one.
that one, okay.
I'm reading off this, but apparently they put a prompter in here that I forgot to mention. Anyway, two people told me. Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are both women who have tried to convince people they're what? Finish the roast joke.
There you go. All right, that's your task, your homework. Do it right now. Dave, have you ever actually...
You're going to get it. You can't win the prize.
I can't win the prize?
No.
Well, I wanted to make a point actually about Natalie Maines that a lot of people might not know. She used to go on the Howard Stern show. And Natalie Maines actually used to be very rude to a guy by the name of Eric Lynch. His name was Eric the actor. He was a regular actor on the Howard Stern show, and he was 3'7". I don't know if you ever heard of Eric the actor. And Natalie Maines, yes, this is true, and she was very mean to him. So guys, look up Natalie Maines, Eric the actor. She was mean to a disabled guy.
Wow.
Which one was this?
He was a Maine whack packer, Eric Lynch. They called him Eric. They called him Eric the M word. I don't use that word because it's derogatory, but he went by Eric the actor.
With a hard T at the end?
Wait.
Yes.
Midget?
Yes, midget. Yes. Do not say that.
I don't know why
Is
you
it okay to say without the T?
It's midget.
Not with a hard T.
No, not what she just did. If you're like, what's up, midget?
But Natalie Maines is evil for doing that, and that's on the record. Look that up. Natalie Maines versus Eric the actor.
Wow, this is a Dixie chick.
Yeah, this was in her heyday.
And she's identifying as a patriot tonight.
Yeah, this is 2009.
Wow.
Good old days. I remember.
I do remember that. She was horrible to him.
She was horrible to this guy, to a disabled guy. He couldn't even walk. He had a chair, and Howard Stern.
What do you mean he had a chair?
He couldn't walk. He had
a wheelchair?
But not even a wheelchair, electronic chair.
Yeah, like for the kids, because he was smaller.
He was so small. He's 3'7". He's 3'7". Look it up. Eric Lynch. He's one of the most famous whack packers in Howard Stern history, Sarah. I don't know if people watch Howard Stern. He sucks now, but at one point he was very popular. And
a lot of people liked him.
This is Kerry Washington, who best known for Sarah.
For Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy?
She's not the one that actually.
True?
I don't know.
I thought she was on the show with Jussie Smollett. Right?
I think she's a Scandal. Is that a show? I think she's from Scandal. Scandal. She's from Scandal.
Scandal. I was so close.
Oh, I just love watching that one. I love Scandal.
Who's this now?
Scandal. I don't know.
It's her husband.
Another guy who comes off as straight.
Yeah, why are all these men so effeminate? Never mind. I already know the answer.
Every one of them, though.
Truly, it's bizarre.
They all have that.
Oh, God.
They're doing a
the
selfie
Ellen
on
thing.
stage.
Doing the dumb Ellen thing from like 2009's Oscars.
Is that what it is?
So original.
Yeah.
I haven't turned up the volume on my mic to hear it. Okay. Probably not a good idea. I probably should. I just don't want to.
Yeah. No.
I realize it's unprofessional.
No.
I'll do it now. But it's like putting bullets in a gun that's pointed at you.
I remember watching after Donald Trump almost took a bullet. Well, he did take a bullet on stage. He almost got killed on stage. He got up and, of course, said, "Fight, fight, fight." And I remember watching the post coverage after that. And on CNN, they said, "We're concerned about the rhetoric coming from Donald Trump because he said fight." Now, their slogan for this entire convention is, "When we fight, we win." Is there a bit of hypocrisy? Anyone's noticing?
With the Democrats? No, Stu. Never. Never.
Okay.
Same with the American flag that they so proudly showed up there, all the people waving their American flags that they actually hate. They're burning them outside, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is, I think, honestly, the theme of this convention from beginning to end is them saying the opposite of what they actually think. Like, yesterday, they were talking about, like, tax cuts.
Border security, did you see them on CNN? They said that Kamala's doing a good job as a border czar.
Oh, yeah.
They all said it all night last night.
Yeah, they're smoking crack.
They also said they were the party that was going to take on Big Pharma. And I'm like, wait a minute. You guys were like in Pfizer commercials for the last 4 years.
You invested in it. You illegally invested. You could. Well, I also liked when Michelle was talking about people who are taking too much money. It's like, you don't want to do that. It's like, have you seen your house in Martha's Vineyard? It's the only one that's so big that it still has slaves.
Really? Is that
a dead one?
Yeah, a dead one.
Is there some square footage minimum you have to hit?
Have you seen their house?
Amazing.
That's
there are
one
no
of their homes.
crappy houses on Martha's Vineyard.
No, that's
They're
true.
all, even like mediocre houses are 2.7. But
Do you think the Obamas of the world, they look at the smallest house in Martha's Vineyard and they're like, ugh.
Oh, disgusting.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Like
That's where the peasants live.
That guy has too much.
Yeah. It's fascinating how everyone other than them with money is a problem.
Yeah.
I assume their donors somehow fit into this as well.
Yeah. Is that Pfizer?
Well, everybody says it. They always complain about climate change. Yet Bill Gates has a beach house on the beach.
Yeah.
They have a house on the beach. They're
They
so
all
worried
went to
about
Epstein Island. They shared a jet for that, though. While they were molesting kids, they were very, very, environmentally conscious.
That's great.
So, look, I mean, at least, damned if you do.
That was interesting. There's no commercial flights to Epstein's Island, were there?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's
Not
unfortunate.
anymore, at least.
No, we can't try.
Spirit Airlines used to go there. That's where they would put the kids on.
Yeah, it's very easy to get a ride.
Please welcome.
I think they
A lot
actually.
of unaccompanied minors on those flights.
Disney Cruises actually
gonna
went
say
there.
Disney
Yes.
Cruise,
Did you know that there was
When I just
actual Disney excursions, Stu? Look,
What?
that went to
Stop.
Stu.
Seriously, he's
No.
right.
You call me a
We
conspiracy
both
theorist
had the
all you
same
want.
thought.
There's literally people that have their cruise thing for this excursion through Disney Cruises, because you can go on a cruise, you can do an excursion not with the company or with Disney.
Okay.
This is their Disney license excursion was to go to Little St. James Island.
Okay, this is one of these.
You could do a snorkeling package. You take a boat, you go by the island, you just snorkel. I think they give you free. I read it. They give you like
Donald Duck straps you to a massage table.
Alex just said, I read it.
Showed me the meaning.
I read it on the internet. It must be true.
Helping her sister,
Sarah,
a
let me just tell you something, all right?
Fighting for
Vaccines are
justice
safe and
for the
effective. I read that on the
American
internet.
and still
Why my heart
Sunday
feels so good.
family
Yeah.
dinner.
All right, who do we have here, Sarah? Who are these? Who are these?
Kamala
Nice.
Emhoff
Guiding
is
my
on
own
the right.
children, and
Where's
I know she'll
Well, I don't
guide
know who
our
this
country
is.
forward.
But it.
Kamala came into my life when I was
That's
14.
Kamala's stepdaughter talking.
Famously a very
Right.
easy
Yes.
time
She.
for a
Yes.
teenager.
She was. She's getting some
Like a
viral
lot of young
videos
people,
recently.
I didn't always understand
those
what I was
tattoos to
feeling.
cover track
But no matter
marks?
what, Kamala was there
Well,
for
Anthony
me.
Cumia said she looks
was
like a desk
patient,
in
caring,
the detention
always took me
room or an
seriously.
ISS.
She's never stopped listening to
School
me,
suspension.
and she's not going to
Does the
stop
desks
listening to
look
all
like?
of us.
That's
All
funny.
right, on right now we have Mina Harris, Ella Emhoff, and Helena Hudlin.
Kamala
Don't-
Harris is my godmother.
God, there we go.
To
So now
me,
we're learning.
her
If we would
advice
just
means
listen, we would know who the people are.
Whether
But
it's pursuing
Alex
my
has got all this information on
making an
Epstein's
impact,
Island, and
We're gonna look at. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I don't believe you. I just
The black one isn't blood
She taught me
related.
that making a difference means giving your whole heart.
the only one.
And taking
It's
action.
strange.
It's amazing.
Meanwhile, her
She's
daughter.
fighting for economic opportunity,
That is funny.
LGBTQ plus equality,
Oh, good.
and reproductive freedom
Just
because
what we all care
are
about.
not going back.
She's
We're
fighting
not going
for
back is
social
the worst.
justice, health
It's a
justice,
bad Yelp review. That's all it
environmental
is.
justice. And she isn't alone. We're all in this fight together.
We are not going back.
So let's keep
The
up the
groceries are
fight.
4 times less
up
than
the
they
joy.
are now.
And let's elect
We are
this
not going back to
extraordinary
a million
woman
more
as
jobs.
our next president.
Every state.
Now, it's interesting they're talking about reproductive freedom, considering if their parents exercised it, they wouldn't be on stage.
Right.
That's true.
It's weird to have a kid talking about their parents and their love for fighting for
Please
ending
welcome
children's
actor
lives,
and
isn't it?
comedian
I would say so. Then again,
Especially if you got to know them first like that.
But
It's good that you have to raise, you can't abort them once you raise them.
D.L. Hughley coming on stage. Now, it's been a while since D.L. Hughley's made some.
They all just have the
moves, right?
drama class energy.
You know my favorite D.L. Hughley conspiracy.
You have a D.L. What level of what page of Reddit do you have to get to get to a D.L. Hughley
Page.
Really?
Bernie Mac. Are you familiar with Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
He was the actual king of comedy. And Steve Harvey went when Bernie Mac was casted in Ocean's 11. Bernie Mac went to the director and actually paid, said, "I will pay you to be in this movie." They didn't let him in that movie.
Steve Harvey did that.
Steve Harvey did that, yes. So Steve Harvey and D.L. Hughley, they supposedly went behind Bernie Mac's back, and they didn't like him. And then Bernie Mac had some sort of heart issue, and they say the Black Illuminati, the Black Boule killed him. Too.
Wow. Because I've heard the first part of that story, but then you went down a different.
Well, these people get mad. I mean, O.J. Simpson killed his wife. I mean, people get mad and they kill people.
Did what?
Wait.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Wait, the football player?
Hey.
The football player. I'm just saying these celebrities, they don't have
The
grasp of
Heisman
reality.
Trophy winner?
He's a murderer.
The guy in Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun actor, yes. So
The Hertz
Nordberg.
spokesperson.
Yeah.
comedians can kill. D.L. Hughley.
The guy from the
murderer.
Towering Inferno.
Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. If you're watching this, we love you.
Black
And
men
miss
for Kamala. White men for
you. Why are you
Kamala.
watching this?
I guarantee you this isn't on in
And
heaven.
Asians for Kamala. They even
It
have
might be, because he's gonna strike DL down right
You
now.
see the amount of flames in the logo? This is
Look at that
definitely
pocket
hell
square.
we are
Literally
in right
looks
now.
like he's in the seventh layer right there of hell.
when you get left for a younger woman.
It definitely looks like you joined the nation.
Yeah.
They were so badly trying not to find a white guy in that camera. Did you see that? They were like, anybody but a white guy.
They moved off of him very quick.
Very fast.
Did you see what they did to that one woman on the childless cat ladies thing?
So
Did you guys see that clip?
Ridiculous.
It had a clip when I think it was Michelle Obama that said, or no, it was Oprah, said the childless cat ladies, and then they just panned to one poor woman in the crowd, and she just was like looking down, she had like the double chin rocking, and she's all sweaty, and then they just highlighted her like this is what we're talking about, this person.
She did confirm, though, I heard. She did confirm she is a childless cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They were right.
The camera confirmed.
Yeah, right. You just needed.
You're like, find somebody desperate who's here alone. Her.
There is
You
no
guys remember
way
the
that I
tweet?
would've
It was
believed
like New York Times, and it's like, unemployment's terrible, and they just
Because of
picked a
that, I made
random African American guy.
assumptions
And he got mad, yes, and he's like, "I'm not unemployed. Take my picture down." And it was like a viral thing. He responded to a New York Times article. It's so funny.
That is so
I had
funny.
never done.
All right, let's listen to some
A lot
D.L.
of people I know
Hughley.
had never done before. Imagine attacking someone's
I like
character
DL.
without a single
Are you
Google
friends with
search.
him?
No.
I
don't know him personally.
Glenn did
So
an
I
interview
did
with
what I
him back on
should've done in
CNN
the first
Headline
place.
News, and he was trying to
I
say,
learned
like,
that
I
she had done for
understand
us
the
exactly
Republicans.
what
It's
she promised
okay to be. And then he went way the other way after that.
D.L. Hughley was very offended by my Jasmine Crockett.
Yes, I remember.
He does fight on Twitter. Did he fight with you on Twitter?
Yeah, he did. Well, I mean, I didn't respond.
That's not.
Like reposted it and was very offended and called me a
We'll
racist.
pretend it's him.
Well, I was thinking about going to Jasmine Crockett. You know, her office is right down the street from here, less than 15 minutes.
Sadly, yes.
And I was thinking about bringing her eyelashes, but I don't know what I should bring to her office.
That future, ladies and gentlemen, is
Who's
possible.
this?
Jasmine Crockett, she had the famous fight with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she called her a bad body built Buick or something, and then she called her a bad eyelash wearing. But then if you go look at Jasmine Crockett's official Congress photo, her eyelashes look like crap. I mean, they look like, they look bad.
He's going to be on his phone the entire show trying to prove various conspiracies.
You're on your laptop. This is my laptop. This is my weapon.
Why did you get so defensive?
Very defensive tonight because our republic's being stolen.
Wait, but this is an X post.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Twitter is
random X user.
They're usually correct. So.
Wow, the research that goes into Prime Time with Alex Stein is
It's not a lot of research. I've never claimed to be a researcher. I do the bare minimum, and that, and then I just make my own assumptions. That's what we should do.
We are.
I don't know, but look at her eyelashes. Look how many eyelashes.
Nobody else can see this.
This is a television show we're doing currently.
She's got a lot of
They're not
eyelashes.
gonna be able to see it.
Who is that?
That's Jasmine
Crockett. But
Did she speak the other day?
She's one of our local
yes,
congresswomen.
sadly.
Is she conservative?
No.
Oh, no.
God. Oh,
No.
ooh.
Sorry.
Ooh,
She's like one of the new breed.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. She's
Squad.
not Candace Owens. How would I?
No.
Who else would it be?
I don't know. Well, we would go down that road.
Because she's conservative.
Oh, Candace Owens is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Right?
Yes, in theory, yeah. Some say.
Why? What's wrong?
No.
Did something happen? Did you guys have an issue with her?
Oh my gosh, look at the time. I have to go.
Follow her that closely. Okay.
I'm sorry if I opened a wound.
You did not. You did not. You're okay.
You did with me a little bit.
What's wrong?
Well, I really don't like the Tate brothers after what they did to me. They sexually exploited me.
The Tate brothers?
Both of them.
Andrew?
On camera, and she's been defending them.
Taking a turn really quickly.
What did Andrew Tate
I feel like there's
do
just like
besides
Andrew Tate did a
influence you
lot
in every
to me.
way possible?
Well, he tricked me into sending pictures, very intimate pictures of myself to him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even Andrew Tate. It was actually just some random guy.
Yeah.
This is why you research, Alex.
This is the research I did. It had Andrew Tate in his handle. It said Andrew Tate 79976. And I
Did
thought
you have Andrew Tate in the picture?
it was Andrew Tate's picture.
You're saying that's not him?
Apparently not.
Wow, there are pictures of my genitals all over somebody's message.
Yeah, you got tricked too.
Yeah.
So, Candace, we need to call that out.
Now, during our broadcast,
Sorry, I didn't
be
know
sure
that
to
was
follow Blaze Media on X and Facebook for our meme contest updates. We'll be posting the meme templates for you to create most of the hilarious memes that you want to. It will be selecting 4 of them at the end of the show to review live right here with our fabulous panel. And the first place winner is going to win a $50 gift card to Blaze Media merch store. Runner-up will win $20. It's a bunch of free stuff. I don't know. You'll get it. And you can just send the memes on X or Facebook with the hashtag DNC roast. Put the meme skills to work for a chance to be featured tonight and win that gift card. I feel like, Alex, you're a big meme guy. Like, I feel like
memes, yeah.
Are you a creator of them or just a
sometimes
consumer?
I'm more of a thief of them. I steal them and share them. But yeah, I'm better at that than creating them.
Really?
Yeah, plagiarizing. I'm very good at plagiarizing.
Plagiarize. So you've got like some Biden in you.
I never got caught. I got my whole degree. Never got caught. Plagiarized the whole thing. I'm like Prison Mike, Michael Scott.
You could make one that says, like, we won't go back. But then under it, you could put, unless it's a vaccine that might hurt you.
Wait, who is this cop that's on there now? What is this?
That's what I was wondering.
There's a cop on there now?
I know, they're
Yes, this is
having
the sheriff.
It makes me mad. They're having all these cops acting like these cops are pro-Kamala. These are the same people that wanted to defund them. I don't understand.
By keeping
Is this a stripper? Is he about to?
And I can testify firsthand.
It feels like
he nailed it with that. That has to be the joke of the night. That guy looks like he's about to take off his clothes. Where do you get that suntan at?
Hey, he's very well tanned.
Sarah, that's a self-tanning cream, Sarah. Come on.
Yeah.
It's too tan.
An Asian businessman in the front row, they want to see some dong.
Because our country needs a leader.
Could you imagine if he actually did it, though, how big of a hit it would be? It'd be like, oh my God, they had a male stripper, so progressive.
Well, especially if he had a vagina, the whole place just standing out.
One who has already taken the oath.
This is Chris Swanson, by the way, sheriff of Genesee County, Michigan. I have no idea why he's there.
Oh,
Could be a national
my
hero.
hometown. Genesee County is where Lansing is. So maybe he kidnapped Whitmer and brought her to the event.
By walking
Is the water clean in Flint yet, or is it
One
still?
city.
It's still disgusting.
It's better.
community.
Like it's
one
clean.
country.
Cleaner.
Remember when Barack Fake drank that water?
Yeah, it was great. We were all like, thank you. Now we're just gonna give that to our
let's
children.
Let's walk.
Have him get
Let's
fluoride
walk
poisoning.
together.
I just watched
and
him
let's
sip it and then
elect
throw up
Kamala
behind a
Harris
porta potty.
And turn hate into hope yet again. Thank you.
How much self-loathing do you have to have as a law enforcement officer to go out on stage and endorse the people who hate you?
I'm surprised they don't have Arturo Martinez, the sergeant from the Dallas Police Department, that said that the shooter should have aimed better. Do you remember that story?
I heard Zimmerman's up next.
I feel like it's amazing that this whole convention has basically been trying to win over, it seems like, Republicans. Like, there's very little talk about all their crazy policies or their lunatic fringes. It's a lot about, like, here are our flags, here are our troops, here are police officers. I mean, it's probably a good strategy, right?
I mean, but
Yeah, I think so. Well, what else are they going to do? Run on their record?
No.
Well, exactly.
can't.
What are you going to do? Walk out and say, this is how it should be, using a cop from Flint, Michigan? Like, I'm in charge of the most dangerous place in the country.
But Stu, they always do this. Even like when Biden does a State of the Union address, you know, they always put in right-wing conservative talking points, I feel like, just to try to appease us. You don't think that isn't that their playbook every time?
It has been lately, at least. Yeah. I mean, you really look at, Biden did that, right? He just ran as this, I'm going to be moderate, I'm going to be normal, return to normalcy. And then he basically governed as a socialist. And now they're doing this too.
We all said he would.
We did say it. I did say it a lot of times. Not enough people apparently listened.
For anyone who
Well, okay, Stu and I had this conversation before. I don't know if it's the right time of the night, but I'm worried about this upcoming election. I mean, I'm just really worried. Just the narrative, just Kamala Harris. You talk to people on the street, and some people are so dumb, they actually think Kamala Harris has some sort of talent or that she knows what she's doing.
And we're really going to find out tonight because no matter what she does, they're going to spin it into something
positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like,
Well,
oh, that was great, wasn't it?
I mean,
she
the
danced and clapped.
The mainstream
giggled.
media will, but I don't know, man. I think it's hard for all of these elitists to convince the American public who's literally, I mean, they're seeing the results of a Biden-Harris administration.
Do you know how stupid the American public
Yeah,
is?
Sarah, like you're overestimating.
I understand, but like when they can't
don't
pay
think
their
you do.
bills, that you can be as stupid as you.
Guys.
When you can't pay your bills and then these people come out.
Stop talking about Kamala. She's coming on here in just a second. She's ready. She's
When
ready.
they can't pay the bills, they'd come out and they're like, we're going to give you free stuff. Just vote for me.
Well,
and they're like, but you didn't give us anything before. And they're like, we will. Wink.
Well, we can ask her about that. Kamala Harris joins us now. She is the...
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Looking great tonight, Kamala.
She does look great. I know. I was trying to get you guys to shut up.
I apologize, Miss Vice President.
Alex, doesn't it look Virgin-esque?
Yes, it does, Cammy, my girl, Cam Jam. What's up?
Did you get that pearl necklace from a judge?
I've gotten many pearl necklaces in my day, gentlemen and lady. So, day 4, here I am, out of my temple, out of hiding. Let's talk. How's it been?
Oh, God.
Did you see how we filled that stadium? Trump could never. All right.
I think he has.
He did.
Good
though.
I think
all due respect,
Our
ma'am.
paid actors are a lot better and a lot more efficient. All right.
How many?
You won't convince me otherwise. We pay them very well.
Where do you get that money? Where do you get that money?
Is it China?
Oh, the money. Oh, listen. If it's not from the taxpayer dollar, right? I mean, we just print it. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? The deficit's going to go up? All right, so be it, right? We're going to tax capital gains, 44.6%. So, everything will resolve itself.
Are you going to give us any policies at all? You haven't really revealed anything that you actually want to do when you're president.
Well, I definitely just want to be clear about that, right? Because that's what we've been all this time. If we've been anything, it's been clear. And I want the American public to understand that the policies are all going to be for the comrades, by the comrades, just really the American way. And they need to envision it, right? So we're going to get all those costs down on day 1. On day 1, whatever problems that we have as a country that have accumulated during our time in office, on day 1, that's it's going to magically disappear, or at least that's what I got to tell the voters, right? And I just I did hear you guys talking about me a little bit before, and Sarah, they're stupid. The common, they're stupid.
Madam Vice President, I want to say congratulations on your stepdaughter's abortion. I heard she got it right outside of the event. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, she did great with that. She did great.
Was it a do-it-yourselfer?
Yeah, because I thought you were going to throw out of a coconut tree or something, and then you decided to go to Planned Parenthood. What was that all about?
Yeah, because back in the day, we used hangers, we throw them out of trees, whatever it is that we need to do. But we had Planned Parenthood right outside. Right outside. Yeah, steps, that can work. But
it's free.
It went really well, but I felt bad for Tampon Son, because we had this magical moment, right, when we saw Tim accepting, the nomination, and simultaneously, his son's balls started to descend, but then something happened. He got too excited. They shoved right back up. The poor thing was in tears all night. But besides
His dad's
that,
mouth was on him.
I don't know about all that, but
Wait,
it was.
I have to stop this. I have to stop this real quick because I don't want to be rude to Tim Walz's son.
No.
Because I just want to say this. He was crying, and Dave, please. This is
Well, he was in pain, Alex.
This is very important.
Yeah.
This is one of the most traumatic things that happened to me as a child. My dad drank horse semen too, and I know what it's like to have a dad that drinks that. And it would make you cry too if your dad drank it, Dave.
Can we go back to Jill's panel? Is there any chance she's still
no.
there?
I'm sure she quit. Have you ever had horse semen, Kamala?
Possibly.
Just depends on the
I
night.
don't want to rule it out. I don't want to rule it out. These didn't get here, on their own. So.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, Kamala, this has been enlightening. You did point out the voters are stupid, so I suppose anything you say here is not going to hurt you, and certainly the media is not going to report it. We wish you so much luck. We're going to be watching the speech tonight live, and it is. Anything else you want to leave us with? Any preview? Do you have a preview of who the special guest is tonight?
Now, I don't have a preview. They wouldn't tell me because they said that I blab too much when I start drinking, and I didn't want to wait until after because it would be too late. They have me speaking last to keep me from drinking, but I already knocked back a few and just kind of eases everything up. But stay tuned. It's still going to stay a surprise, but it's probably going to be someone like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, someone crazy. Just to reel those votes in, right?
Kamala Harris, big night for you. Thanks so much for taking time out of the constant liquor flow and talking to us here on Blaze TV.
There's very clean fentanyl in Chicago, some of the cleanest in the United States.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, it won't even kill you a lot of the time.
Oh, well, this stuff usually doesn't kill you unless you do 1.5 grams.
Thank you, Kamala.
Keep it under that.
So you have almost like a one bite app where you're rating the fentanyl across the country.
Like Dave, he does one bite. I just do one injection, just one shot. Everybody knows the rules. Yeah, and it is clean. It's cleaner in Chicago.
That's
this is going well.
It's great to hear. Yeah, no, I'm not sure we'll have a
What was the most
company out of
enlightening? You said that was
after this.
enlightening, Stu. Can you tell me what the most enlightening part of that conversation was? Because I don't. Was it the Tim Waltz stuff, or was it the?
I mean, she was. The whole thing I thought was very interesting.
You like Tim Waltz? What's your take on it?
I hate Tim Waltz.
Why? Because he's a dandy.
I think he flutters nicely across the stage. I like that. I find him incredibly irritating, and I would say actually as or more irritating than Kamala Harris. Like that's the level I'm talking about.
I actually.
Comes off like a guy that would have a light casket in the
might,
80s.
I think he might be more. We were talking about this on Sara Gonzales Unfiltered today, that he is, like, you expect a woman to over-dramatize something. You expect a woman to, like...
You're saying that. As the biggest woman hater I know, you are saying that.
Well, I'm not saying it's enjoyable to watch. I'm not saying that, like, I love it, but you expect it.
Okay.
With a man, though, you don't expect them to overact and over-dramatize everything.
Or take
so
vows.
It's so off-putting.
And then grab a woman and then dance with her around the stage.
Oh, he gave his wife a hearty handshake.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Nice.
I mean, he meant it.
He meant it?
You could tell. It was like...
It was almost a little too forceful. I mean, it was like they've been on the dark web a little bit with that sort of handshake,
It was like Hugh Jackman and that
What's on the dark web about handshakes?
You don't want to know, Sarah.
This is my favorite guy, Mark Kelly. This guy's...
Can we see him?
Oh, yeah, Mark Kelly. This is a former astronaut, former military pilot.
We're floating him as a potential VP.
He was. And Gabby Gifford got shot.
Oh, he's a good dude, isn't he?
He's a Democrat, so I'll let you decide.
Yeah, I mean,
he's kind of a normal guy.
This guy's weird. He's weirder than them all.
He votes like every other Democrat, but acts like he doesn't, I would say, is his profile. It's why he was considered, by the way, for
Didn't he spend 54 days by himself in space?
Yeah, and he like shrunk an inch or something.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like when he came, because he has a twin brother. He has a twin brother, and they did it. That's why they wanted him, because they could do experiments to see what happened to his brother on Earth and then him while he was in space. And supposedly he shrunk like an inch.
Wait, he just went for a science experiment?
Well, he's an astronaut too, but I'm saying that they liked testing two basically same people to see what the effects of space are.
Did he go to the moon?
No, he's never been. We haven't.
They just put him in space and saw if
he's in the International Space Station going 17,500 miles an hour.
There was a Disney cruise that went to the space station.
It's true.
I read it on the internet.
Disney would probably make better rockets than Boeing. You know, Boeing can't even make their latest rocket get up there.
It was Kevin Spacey's space station.
Terrible day.
A wonderful ride.
What was that movie with Harlan Williams that was so good?
Rocket Man.
That was the best movie.
I
Yes, it was.
survived.
That was a Disney movie.
Who's up there? Because it's not
Gabby Gifford.
Is it Gabby Gifford?
Yeah, that's
Rep, or was she a congresswoman?
his wife.
One step at a time.
His wife? Did she gain an inch?
One word at a time.
Maybe, but
She was shot, wasn't she?
yeah, she was
She
shot.
was, yeah. There's a.
How did she get shot?
Like she was at a political event.
At a rally.
Yeah.
Really?
Shot her in the face.
Oh, it healed well.
It did, but she still has an impediment.
What did they shoot her with?
A gun.
38 caliber, I believe.
38?
Yeah, it was not pretty, Dave. This was a major news story.
This
She
is
was
a
Congress-
huge, big
Look,
deal.
I'm on a news channel. It doesn't mean I watch this shit.
Okay, there you go. All right, we can leave Mark Kelly here for a second. I
Great
think
stuff.
as fun as this gun violence segment is going to be, I'm sure we're going to get lots of comedy out of it.
No, I think it's sad if you get shot in the face, but if you live, it's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive, but I
you
don't
gotta
think we
admit she's a
need to
fighter.
watch.
And meanwhile, this guy, she gets shot.
Do you guys really? I mean, I want to know in the control room. You want to keep this up right now? We have Dave and Alex here. You want to keep up the gun violence segment? I want to make sure that's what you're.
For space, like Rocket Man, like Elton John.
She will defend
She's
our
bleeding out in the
freedom.
hospital, and he's like, I'm going to go see if I can shrink in it.
I've asked to take it down. I've asked multiple times. All right, there we go. Kamala Harris, thank you.
Did you tell she's brain damaged?
She is damaged.
She's had a very difficult time, Dave. It was a very serious story that was all over the news. I
bet it was.
Yeah.
However, I would.
There we go.
I would just like to say, like, it is uncomfortable for people to watch, right?
Speak like that?
Well, I mean, they had the ALS patient up a couple days ago.
That was
And it's like,
ridiculous.
why are you guys doing this?
Well, I mean, it really
Feels
takes
wrong.
balls for them to bring out a politician that got shot.
No, you don't think so?
But no, because, the other guy who they keep crapping on for getting shot.
Right.
That is true. I think that's a big part of it. Actually, that was my first theory on VP was Mark Kelly, because it would take away the issue of violence, right? Like they could say, yeah, sure, Trump got shot, but look at, this VP's wife here got shot as well. Yeah. And then what happened with the assassination attempt is it just went away in like 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
A guy was shot on television when he turned his head at the very last second, the most famous person in the world, it hit his ear, and 48 hours later we were on to other stuff.
Well, yeah, because the next day Biden was like, I'm in it to win it unless I get sick. I got COVID. Bye. Here's Kamala.
Yes.
See you later.
That is really, that is
Dude,
the
there's
most
so much
incredible
weird
thing.
stuff because we got to get into the conspiracies. Jason Goodman crowdsourced.
Do
Well,
we?
just real quick,
Do we?
he has some great tweets about this shooter. That Thomas Brooks, you guys saw there was footage of him walking around. You had to see
Yes,
that.
yes.
Without a
Crooks, right?
When I say Brooks, Crooks, excuse me. Sorry.
I mean, I don't mind if you disrespect his
Yeah,
name.
for that, I shouldn't even be saying this guy. This comeback.
We normally don't. I mean, the network, I think, made an exception officially because it was a presidential assassin.
Yeah.
Trump was rather empathetic to him in the Theo interview.
Was
I
he?
thought it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he seemed, that has to change you at some level, right? Like, he was almost murdered on national television.
But I guess going back to what I'm thinking, it wasn't just Thomas Crooks. There's somebody else involved.
You think there's a second shooter?
I don't know if there's a second
shocked Alex
shooter.
you would think this.
But you just think it's just a lone gunman, just mad, taking the guns up there. That roof was the only angle you had to the president. I mean, that whole story doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I'm not Alex and I like to go back and forth on this stuff.
You're not one of us.
I'm not one of, that's.
You have to admit, it's very unusual.
It is incredibly unusual. It is one of the craziest stories of all
You've
time.
been to events with Secret Service? Yeah, Stu, you've been to events where Secret Service has searched you? Sure. Yeah, I mean, they're usually pretty intense. Like, it makes no sense.
It's like annoying, right? Yeah. Like, I'm like, all right, I get it why you have to do this, but you don't need to see my laptop. I don't need to turn it on. I mean, it's
They wouldn't let me
obnoxious.
take a selfie stick at Turning Point USA. They made me go put it in my hotel room.
But rangefinders, not suspicious at
exactly.
all.
Rangefinders.
He was just gonna, I don't know, go hit a couple golf balls in the middle of a group of people.
Is this Pink? Is this
Yeah,
Pink?
it's Pink with her backup band, 5 in the Stink.
She just looks perpetually angry.
Well, Stu's really going to get mad at
dirt
this
bike.
comment. Stu, you know, there's a bunch of content on the
People love Pink.
on the internet. They do. Look, Stu's scared. It's called a trans investigation.
Yes.
Like that.
Okay.
And Pink fails it oftentimes because
Oh, really?
the ridges in her hips are too masculine.
You don't need to talk about that, Alex, because I fail it according to the internet.
Yeah,
Really?
everybody.
Oh,
Laura
that's
Trump
like a
fails it. They
conspiracy
say every
theory,
woman's
is that
a
I'm a man.
They say that about
Really?
Yes. They
Which
say
would
that
be
about
a shock
everybody.
to my 2 children that I birthed and my husband that's in the control room.
Is it because of your cock?
That's a minor detail, Dave.
Well, I'm just wondering.
What is a woman these days?
Yeah, what is a woman?
I don't know. I've certainly never been called a lesbian, Alex.
Does anyone like her as a? I'm saying this specifically, not saying her name because I don't want Dave to respond. But what do people actually like this particular singer who's on stage currently? Is she like a thing still?
No, I think she still sells out.
Really?
Pink does not.
No.
I have to fact check that.
Me and you can go. I'll get some Pink tickets. We'll just see how it ends.
A little romantic evening. I'm in.
I think she still does. I think she has like a residency in Vegas or something.
Okay.
That would make sense.
She was really big for a while.
She's playing at Globe Life Field. She's playing at Soldier Field.
Globe Life?
Yeah, see?
Wow. No, Dave's right.
You can't go to Soldier Field if you're not selling tickets.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot of seats.
Globe Life.
Tickets are cheap as heck, $40.
I love how every arena
out,
is
does
just
she?
named after insurance companies now. Yes. To our dying country. I don't know who the young one is there. Is that a kid?
I do believe there were gun violence victims in this particular segment, so it may be a duet.
So it's not just.
This is why I wanted them to pull the feed down immediately, and they just kept
I
it
don't
up.
think gun violence is funny. People know that.
I think it's hilarious.
I mean, it depends who gets it. I mean,
This is why.
it would depend on the sound effect that they use.
Again, this is why.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
So Pink, Dave. Pink is.
Yeah, Pink is touring. She's playing. She's playing the.
She looks good though. I think she looks pretty good. She's been around a long time.
She's been around. She's got.
She's gonna beat the crap out of you.
She does look like she could.
She does look like she looks like.
She looks like she could break your neck with her thighs. I would not mess with that gal. Doesn't she? She looks strong. Wasn't she married to like a dirt biker?
Dirt biker. She
Yeah.
might still be. I don't know.
Travis Pastrana? Who?
I don't know. I'm not a
Only
big
dirt biker I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So you just assumed that was the one married to
He's a famous
Pink.
one.
I
He's the
couldn't
only one
correct
know,
you with.
so-
Your brain is really interesting. I'm learning this
Could
about
have
you
been
tonight.
right. Stu.
You just now figured that out,
Oh,
Stu?
I'm learning new things. I feel.
Have you
like.
been with him longer than 5 minutes?
Apparently he's not, because the
long
segments on his show are only about 10 minutes.
That's true.
I haven't
Only
been.
had me
You did a
about-
power hour with him.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
but that's
God.
different
Well,
'cause
yeah, but I drank a lot and forgot
Drank,
most of it.
Yeah, you're drunk. So you
know?
don't really.
I've never dealt with seen a dirt bike show race live.
No.
No, I had
Corey
parents
something,
that
I
loved me.
think.
Are they going to do a drag queen story time
Carrie Hart.
segment?
Both my parents had
famous.
jobs and weren't addicted to meth. What's that?
His name is Carrie Hart.
Oh, Carrie. That is his name. Is he? Are they still married? We find out. This is important information for the people watching this. They want to know if Pink is
Pink
still
is
married.
still married to. Not Travis.
I cannot believe there is one Blaze TV subscriber that cares who Pink is married to. That could be. I mean, I could be off by one or two, but I think
What
it's
if
zero.
What if Pink was a subscriber?
She could be.
She might be.
What if she gets off this and she turns this right on just to go? What did they?
Dave.
Mark Kelly is
I'm
back
really
out.
sorry to break the news to you.
What happened?
They didn't
Pink
break
and,
it.
and Carrie Hart are
Already filed for
separated.
divorce?
They're separated.
Oh, but they're not divorced, so there's still hope.
There may still be some hope.
Well, you see?
Well, if they're separated, Kamala can step right in.
Yeah,
At any time.
yeah, that's right.
She's always
You just
available.
bring in your backup. You bring in your plan F. Who's this?
This is Mark Kelly again, the guy you just said was this great American. And wait, do you not even know what he looks like?
I thought it was Mike from Breaking Bad.
It does look like Mike from Breaking Bad. We have small TVs here.
I can't. I really can't. I have LASIK and I can't make out his face.
She was able to walk out and address you
Okay.
tonight because she's
I don't
a
know.
fighter.
Do we want? We're talking about this is discussing Gabby Giffords again. We're still in the gun violence section of the evening. This might be a good time to do.
It's like we're watching the
roast
Land
award. Do we have one?
Her speech therapist.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. I just like when you just yell things, right?
Yeah, Dave is unaware that anyone else is in the room.
Dave, are you
just
listening?
talking
Is
to
your mic
himself.
on? I mean, is your IFB
I
on?
think it's too loud.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're
Sarah.
totally fine. You're doing a
I'm
wonderful
sorry.
job, Dave.
Go ahead, princess. What you gotta say?
It wasn't
Wow.
even me.
She's gonna hurt me
okay.
after. I was teasing.
He was calling you princess.
That's fine. I
actually was.
I am adorable in a dress. Sarah, would you like to walk us through
would.
the first winner here? Do we know what we have?
Yes. So let's see. This is roast number one winner. Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are both women who have tried to convince people they are Indian.
There you go. You got it.
By Dark Ninja.
I like that.
Dark Ninja won. So, Dave, I believe that.
Do you have an actual, like, is this one of those things that there's a right answer to these jokes?
That would be a good one. I mean, but you can come up with your own.
Okay, so you're not trying to impress Dave. You're just trying to, like, this is a multiple choice, like,
It is multiple
like
choice,
SAT type of situation.
Like, you could have gone any way with that.
Because you could have gone women.
Yeah.
Right? Like that would have been, I don't know
You
why,
could've said
but
honest. You could have said a lot of things.
you could have said a lot of things.
Yeah, you could have said not drunks.
But you had a specific answer. It had to be Indian for you to win.
But well, no, it didn't have to be Indian. Okay. But I like the answer. I like the way that Dark Ninja went with this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, Dark Ninja.
So I'm excited
It's
about
just
it.
the right amount of offensive.
Yeah.
It's just a good amount of offensive for a roast.
I feel it's early in your set, though. I feel like that is not a late in the set Dave Landau joke.
No, you're warming up.
Yes.
Do you have another fill in the blank?
We do have another fill in the blank.
I would love to hear
Let me go to it. All right. This one, people are really going to have to come up with their own thing now.
Uh-oh.
And it's, they went to a farther one down. Well, that's disappointing. All right.
Well, I think you can read what you'd like. I mean, if you...
No, let's do this. I mean, do you think I should do the
Just
other
so you know, David, this is... I know you necessarily haven't been television forever, but they can't see the prompter. So they don't know which one is in there. You can read whichever one.
I thought they also see it.
No, that's
My goodness.
Like, imagine they could have just never known that happened.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I should stop calling out every mistake I make. Because I do it on every show. I should say, cut this out. All right. Here's what I want you to do instead of the one they pulled up. I want you guys to give me, because we have to do this before Kamala talks.
Okay.
So Kamala is slurring more than.
Kamala is slurring more than blank.
Blank.
Is there a specific response you need
There
here?
could be so many here.
Okay, yeah.
I really want to see people work this one.
Yeah, try hard. Effort.
Work it out. Think about it, because we know she'll be drunk. That's for sure. I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But
Do you think that it's just alcohol, though?
No.
She's got to be on something else.
What do you think it is?
Well, first of all, they got Joe Biden hopped up on all that amphetamines, and he's probably on the same stuff they put Hitler on. That's the only way they keep him alive.
Everything.
Yeah, and so they probably give her the opposite. I think they probably give her some sort of anti-anxiety drug.
I think so, too.
For sure, because public speaking's hard, so that would be...
Xanax for sure.
That's what I'm saying. I think she's on Xanax, and she's probably not even drinking. I mean, she might be, but I think she's on prescription
You
medication.
think it's like Mai Tais, or you think it's... Like she's got
Are
a
Mai Tais
flask?
prescription?
From her doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that it's some
Dr.
sort of
Fauci
anti-anxiety.
just writes her whatever.
Yeah.
I think he just gives her veterinary pills. He's just like, here's a bunch of Special K.
Yeah.
Stay away from hot tubs.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh,
Matthew
too
Matthew
soon.
It's not, though.
No, it's not really that soon.
No,
It's
it's
actually a long
been a
time
while.
ago.
Then they're going to find his killers.
They found him.
No,
They
arrested
found
him.
All five of those.
Did you see that
evil
woman,
people.
though?
Matthew Perry.
She had those text messages that he paid like $55,000 for like 22 vials of
Yeah.
and she's like in the text messages, well, how much can we charge this idiot?
Yeah, this moron.
This
Yeah,
moron.
that was actually...
So sad.
Yeah, they like... Apparently this stuff is pretty cheap, Dave.
No, it is.
It's
It's not $55,000 for
No.
22 of it, whatever
No.
it is. Yeah, that's.
I used to do it back when it was illegal.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it wasn't expensive then.
Do you have a ranking of like your favorite drugs, top to bottom? Like, do you?
Oh,
have
sure.
Like, what's number one on the list?
LSD.
Number one, LSD.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that would be
That's
too
the
intense.
number one drug.
Oh, yeah.
This is how I'd rank drugs, Stu. It's funny because I bring up the.
This is like Trump and Theo Von talking.
Here's
Like
a
that.
little bit. I have no perspective to give on this.
Oh, you've never done a
It's a
drug?
viral clip.
No.
Do you want to go lie in the corner with your lying face?
She's never done drugs. No, Sarah really
curled up
never
in the
done
corner.
drugs.
No.
Sarah
What about
used to
weed?
listen to Rush Limbaugh when she was in college.
I did do that.
Constantly.
I did do that in
You were
college.
overweight, weren't you?
Yes.
I knew it. Okay, go.
Well, I think the strongest
You
drug.
look great now. Anyway.
The strongest drug, I think, is benzodiazepines because you're a Xanax family. Because if you could be scared to death of flying on a plane, Stu, like people are scared to death, you take this pill, you're not scared anymore. It turns off the part of your brain that causes fear.
By the way, you said weed. I have done that.
All right, let's.
I know you've done weed.
Let's
I don't,
jump.
but I don't count that.
Let's jump back into our coverage of the deep
Hey,
state
we're
here.
going
Leon
down drugs.
Chief of Staff,
Leon Panetta is with
CIA
us.
Director,
There he is.
and Secretary
boy.
of Defense.
Oh, this guy.
This guy looks like the mayor of show business.
I've looked into the eyes of our warriors and deployed them into battle. I gave the order directing our Special Operations Forces to fly
no
two
one
helicopters.
in this audience wants the military to
150
basically
miles into
exist.
Abbottabad
And why is Leon
that
Panetta
night.
out there?
Wait, time out, Stu.
And by the
That's the
time the sun
only thing
rose,
that both sides agree on. They both
Osama
love
bin
war.
Laden
The
was
Republicans.
You take both sides.
Both sides.
Quite a bit of us on the conservative side who want nothing to do
Anti-war.
with any of it.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like they've turned the corner on Ukraine.
They love funding Ukraine. They love it.
But I mean, look back at history. It's not exactly I would say a big Democratic National Convention talking point. I mean, Jesse Jackson ran for basically eliminating the military and almost won the nomination.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they love war. It
cool-headed
didn't used to be like that. These are the same
commander-in-chief
people during Occupy Wall Street that hated big banks, hated big pharma, and then as soon as COVID came around, they loved the vaccine. They loved banks.
It's like it's almost like they love money.
That's crazy.
And they love taking it. I know, right? I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'll keep my stupid.
Alex is the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, and I haven't seen enough satanic undertones yet on this.
I mean, the screen is red.
It is red. That is a little satanic. And I guess D.L. Hughley's thing was his pocket square was a little satanic.
They are sacrificing babies right outside in a bus.
That's a very good point.
They would love to do that. That's what they like to do. They would sacrifice their babies to Moloch.
She's looked our allies in the eye.
Just throwing that out there.
And
Yeah,
said,
you know,
just a quick
America
Look up Baphomet
has
as
your
well.
back.
That is a figure, demonic figure that has
would
breasts of a woman,
abandon
but the torso of a man.
allies
And they worship
We've
him.
all learned that from Cat Williams.
Yeah.
We tried that.
Cat Williams is
in
a
the
very
1930s.
right about this.
smart. I've learned everything I know from
was
Cat Williams.
foolish
It's most
and
important.
dangerous
As long as you
then,
know everything
and
about politics
foolish
from
and
one interview with
dangerous
Cat
now.
Williams, I think it's.
And Joe Rogan, he's taught me everything I need to know. I just watched 6 hours of Joe Rogan. I'm good.
Listen
I
to
feel like
President
that's
Reagan.
kind of all I know
President
as well.
Reagan.
They're quoting President Reagan right now. That is what's
Never
happening
was
at the Democratic
and
National
never
Convention.
will be
Really?
an
All they are
acceptable
doing is
response
trying to.
to
Dave
tyrannical
said,
government.
really?
Never.
He must be rolling around in his.
We're here to watch it. Dave's like, oh, did he say
Trump
that?
tells tyrants like
Have you
Putin,
turned your volume up
they
yet?
can do whatever the hell they want.
Well, everybody said I could. I was talking and screaming,
Kamala
so I turned
Harris
it down.
tells tyrants, the hell you can, not on my watch.
This is just awful. Tough guy stuff
She's
here.
worked with President
how
Zelensky
patriotic.
to fight back
So we got a
against
pro-Ukraine war here. I guess to make the
She
case that
knows
Trump is going to be
that protecting their
anti-Ukraine and
democracy
Great. Counting on it.
protects our
is that true? I
democracy
mean,
as well.
Ukraine war?
I would
no,
assume.
I mean I understand why you'd be against it. I'm just saying, is Trump against it? I mean, Trump
Trump
came out and said he would give them more weapons than they could ever
That's what I'm
get.
saying. Both sides.
He has gone back and forth on that
He
too,
has,
because
yes.
he has also said, "I'll end it in 24 hours"
Right.
or whatever arbitrary, number
yeah.
that he said.
I believe he said he'd end it in 18 minutes, and then he said if they didn't go along with it, he would give them more weapons than anyone has ever seen, or something like that. Now, look, it's Trumpian. You don't really know what he means. I mean,
He has ended it though.
he has ended what?
He's ended a lot of stuff pretty quickly.
Well, I mean,
Like El Baghdadi, that ended pretty quick.
That ended pretty quickly.
how about the fact that
I've heard that-
Russia didn't try any of this when Donald Trump was in office? That in and
Yeah.
of itself is like, obviously they know not to mess with him.
Yes, I would
As much as
agree.
they want to say he's Putin's puppet, I don't know. Putin seems to pick a time of his choosing when Democrats are in office.
It does seem to be that way. In fact, all of the recent Democrats have had that little issue, and Donald Trump were the only one in that period who didn't.
In a moment of opportunity.
Are we forgetting that we might go to war with
She'll
Iran as
keep
well?
America's military the strongest
Figuring.
in the
I
world.
mean, I'd like to not. Is that an
Yeah,
option?
that's a strong possibility that we might be going to war.
Should we
with Iran.
reopen the pipeline?
What our
Save money on
military
gas?
is for.
I don't think so.
The
Really?
role
Do you remember
of
that
the
Keystone
military
Pipeline?
is
We'd
to
be having
defend
cheap
us
gas
from
right now.
foreign
Those days?
enemies.
I can shut it
It is
down.
not
A couple
to threaten
fracking
Americans,
earthquakes, but other than
and
that, we were
sure
doing
as
pretty
hell
good.
isn't to put
No, now guys are
immigrants
actually
in
shoving the
camps.
pump up their butts now. I mean,
Literally.
that's how expensive gas
I
is.
know. And it's
Why?
not
Because gas was expensive. Would you put a pump up your butt?
It's very valuable.
video?
It's just nicer.
So you're going to hold
You know
on
the
to
video
it?
we're talking about? Did you not see the video?
see the video?
No, I didn't see the video, nor would I watch the video if I came across
There's
it.
a man at a pump. Well, Dave reshared it. I actually saw it from his quote.
Yeah.
But a guy is shoving an 87 unleaded fully into his keister.
He's not even using premium.
He's not even using premium. And while his
veterans
thing is
and
hanging
their
out at a gas
sacrifices.
station, at a Shell XL.
Oh, it's not hanging out. He's working it.
He's working it. You haven't seen that.
I would like to talk less about this.
Well, it's
that would be my
you
preference.
sure?
Yes, I would think. I'd like to know less details about this.
Beck's co-host
Do
or
you
something?
run your Twitter account, Stu?
You know, I hop on there
No,
occasionally.
we just busted you because
I don't lie about it. I hate
like
social
I
media.
put
You know
stuff
that.
on
Yes,
Twitter
I know
that
you don't
other
like it, but yeah, if you were on Twitter for like 2 seconds about a month ago, everybody, it was it was disgusting. People were complaining. They're like, why are the conservatives sharing this? You know, I mean,
Yeah, some people found it disgusting.
it was very, most people.
Dave downloaded it just in case they pulled it off the internet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got
Save
to
it for
back up.
later, yeah.
All right, let's listen to Leon Panetta. Maybe he's talking about this video right now. It's at least possible.
Our allies will cheer. Our enemies will fear. And we will have a
Nobody around the
commander-in-chief
globe is afraid of
that
Kamala
we can
Harris. There's
trust.
no nation that's
God
going to
bless our
stop doing
veterans,
what they're doing
and God
because of
bless
Kamala
our
Harris.
country.
I think if you rhyme during a speech, you should automatically lose whatever job you have.
I think a trap door should just open. They just fall down. They're just
Wait, I'm the opposite. I think you have to rhyme in your
You're a
speech.
blimp on a blimp.
I know, dude. Everybody wants a double entendre or a rhyme or some clever word play.
Do they?
We're gonna go with clever.
I think.
How many presidential speeches have you given at a convention?
I mean,
infrequent, would you say?
Well,
I would expect
not
it
that
from
many.
you, like in a fun way.
Yeah.
If you're like, this is a man who's part of our military, and he comes out and he's rhyming.
Pineda's actually, when it comes to the 9/11
Oh, here we go.
report,
here we go.
redacted pages that don't involve Saudi Arabia's involvement. Pineda was all about covering that up, the 9/11 Commission report.
Is that right?
Yeah, Louis Pineda. That's just for
Leon.
Leon, whatever. But Pineda, just look him up. Look
Panetta,
up
but
Pineda.
Pinata.
It's Pineda.
Look up Pineda
So the
because
bill
I'm
would-
Hispanic. Pineda, and look up his involvement in 9/11.
How's the pronunciation on that there, Sarah?
How was he involved? Which plane did he take?
Osama bin Laden's plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those were holograms.
No. But this is the official story of 9/11. We're not going to get into it. But
Please, no.
just real quick, Stu, did you know that Condoleezza Rice and George Bush said that they were briefed by the FBI and CIA that there was a guy in caves that had a plan to fly planes into buildings, and they didn't take the threat serious enough? That's the official story. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. I
was
did
the story.
follow the story.
So all I think
Yes.
is that they knew about it and they said, hey, well, you guys handle it. I don't want anything to do with it. And then they let some guys fly some planes into some buildings.
This is where we're going with this.
They had prior knowledge. Pineda knew. They all knew.
You don't even know his name. You keep
I don't
calling
need
him
to know his
Louis
name.
Pineda.
This is the only name I need to know. The Mujahideen.
Yeah.
So there's a little movie called Charlie Wilson's War starring Tom Hanks.
I did see that.
You
yeah.
saw that movie, and you saw about how they use black ops and black funding, covert funds, to fund basically the
African-American.
Mujahideen to fight the Russians, correct?
You're getting this
Does
directly.
anyone have any alcohol?
Just let me just say the
More.
Mujahideen, which
used
became
to.
the Taliban, we gave them weapons, and then during the Iraq War and in Afghanistan, we were being shot with weapons that we actually gave them to fight the Russians. You know that. That's not even a conspiracy.
At least we didn't leave
is
a
not.
bunch
That's
more
not.
there.
So I
with
just
the
think it's
Biden
weird that we're
administration.
training Afghani rebels, we're giving them weapons, and then all of a sudden we go to war with them, 4 or 5 years later. It's just,
It is weird. I'll give you that.
Seems
It's
like-
not. It's suboptimal. I'll tell you that much.
Gretchen
odd
Whitmer
that
is
we
coming up
train
next.
them.
What's that?
Gretchen Whitmer is coming.
Oh, Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, Gretchen.
Yes.
Let's see what she's got to
Gretchen
say.
Whitmer.
What is it?
Stretch and Gretchen.
Stretch it.
she does yoga?
Why?
Does she do yoga?
Her adult film name?
Yes. It's because she's been around.
Really? Has she?
That's what they
Is that a
call
thing?
her in Michigan, Stretch and Gretchen.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They do. I'm serious.
You would know.
I did not make up Stretch and Gretchen.
What? Why
Is she
do they call
stretching
her
the
that?
I believe a football team did. I'm sorry, what?
I thought maybe because she stretches the truth. I liked it when her husband got caught filling up their boat
The
with gas during the
Spartans, I
COVID
believe, came up with
lockdown.
that.
No, it was better. He called and asked if he could put his boat in the water
Yeah.
to a place. And they said, no, you can't. It's illegal. He's like, well, what if I said I was the governor's husband? He's like, well, then I would never let you near my boat dock ever. And he was recording the phone call and then played
Oh,
it.
that's what happened, yeah.
Yeah. They're scum. And then she, faked a kidnapping, and then we reelected her.
What's the story on that, Alex? I'm sure you've done.
You
your
know
research.
the story. There's like 3 autistic men.
I've
They're
never
in a
heard.
group
I
of
didn't
11
know.
guys, and 6 of them are FBI agents, Stu. You know about
Oh,
that.
I mean, you're.
I think
enlightening
autism-
me,
Dude,
Alex.
I'm about to have a brain aneurysm, and my heart is already an AFib. I'm having an arrhythmia in my heart. You didn't even look into that?
I'm starting to feel like you having a heart attack is the best outcome of this particular program.
It would probably get a lot of clicks, but everybody needs to look at Gretchen Whitmer's and the CIA and the FBI. Half of them were FBI agents.
I'm not sure that the CIA was involved in that one.
No, that's actually
the CIA is involved in all. Come on, they talk to the FBI. They're all doing,
No, the feds actually, the people went to jail for that.
No. Yeah, no, the FBI was definitely involved.
Yeah.
That was a very strange and shady story.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah,
doubt
there was
about
one guy sitting in a bar and then 4 feds that were like, boy, I'd sure like to kidnap that governor.
Yeah, they were like at Buffalo Wild Wings, I believe.
Yeah.
Was it really? Yes.
Yeah, in Lansing.
They met at a Buffalo Wild Wings multiple times. They were like, we're going to kidnap the governor and we're going to end COVID.
That seems like the least likely place in America to plan a kidnapping.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, they just see some drunk guy that can't
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Really?
Some drunk guy in a MAGA hat just covered in sauce, and they're like, hey, buddy, don't you hate her?
These wings would be 50% cheaper if she was dead.
Her bill's pretty high there, buddy.
Now, she was considered as a VP candidate. She was on the list, but everyone immediately dismissed it, including myself, because she was not a white male. Because we knew with Kamala Harris being the nominee, they had to go white dude. They had to go old white dude.
Why?
I think that's a city councilman, Omar. Is that
Why?
Omar Naveed?
Why, Stu? Why?
Because identity politics, right? Like because Barack Obama picked Joe Biden because America is too racist to accept 2 exotics on a ticket. They had to have one normal white guy. That's the most boring white guy in the world. They've got Tim Walz this time.
Right.
And this is what Barack Obama said. He said the reason he picked Joe Biden was because he was old and white.
Well, that's okay because Joe Biden said that Barack Obama was finally a fairy tale story of a clean-cut, articulate African-American.
Yes. He was Bagger Vance without the clubs.
Yes.
Stu, I'd like to get your opinion on this. I was on Sky News with Rita Panahi, a good friend of mine, and I said that I don't think America... Well, I'm not even trying to name drop or anything. I'm just saying she gave me a lot of kickback. This is what I thought. I want you to give me kickback, too, if I'm wrong. I said...
Probably wrong.
Maybe not. I said that America will not elect a woman president because we're in a misogynistic country.
There she is.
And she said that that's false. Am I crazy for thinking that we're kind of misogynistic?
I think they would.
I don't think it's misogynistic to say we shouldn't have a woman as president.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah, this is a big belief. This is one of the first things Sarah ever told me.
I don't think that's misogynistic. I just think
gay
it's common
men,
sense.
if we're being real, I don't know if gay men would want to be ran by a woman. And this is the party of LGBTQ.
Gay man would...
Detroit, they call her what?
Ran by a woman?
What does that
A
mean?
gay man would not like the country ran by a woman because gay men inherently don't really like women.
Not them.
But don't they all have a gay man? I mean, that's what Tim...
Yeah, Tim Walz is gay.
Yeah, that's a beard or reverse beard, but just in general, gay men I don't think like women because they don't sleep with them, so they don't get like...
Well, they like to shop with them.
They shop with them, but that's not even that fun.
They like to gossip.
They do like to gossip, that is true.
Do we have any more gay stereotypes before we get to Gretchen Whitmer? We want to get into
very good fashion sense.
Very good fashion sense. Queer eye for the straight guy. I remember that.
Love a
That's when I learned queer was an okay word to say. I thought it was bad.
I thought it was very
bad. It is bad if we say it.
I know, I had been shouting it at bus stops for years, thinking that I was being uncouth. Turned out I was yelling compliments.
dying from brain cancer.
All right, let's hear. Let's dive right into the speech during the brain cancer section.
Oh, good.
It's life. Those nights reminded me who I was fighting for. People just trying to make
White's
it.
an interesting choice, huh?
Kamala Harris knows who she's fighting
You're
for,
going to the red
too.
carpet? You're going to start liking the outfits? I got
She
it.
took care of her mom, who also
Why is that?
battled
Is that a
cancer.
thing? Why I've never even heard
As
white wedding dress?
No, no, the
Fight to
Gretchen
lower
thing.
the
Why
cost of
are
healthcare
you?
and elder
It's
care
Gretchen
for
Gretchen's a real
every
thing.
family.
Why is it a real thing? Is she,
Well, I think she's very...
She's lived
promiscuous?
a life like ours.
Stu, do I need to explain to you why they're saying? Do I need to explain to you what is stretching?
I definitely do not want you to explain that right now. I
like all politicians.
Stretches the truth.
Stretches
That
the
when your
truth.
car breaks down, you can't
I
get
understand
to work.
what it meant. I was thinking, is there
Big
evidence
heavy
behind
truth.
this?
His first word was probably chauffeur.
True.
Did you say Donald Trump's first word was chauffeur?
That would be incredible.
You think
A
he's
badass
bad?
baby saying
Items
chauffeur?
out of
Hard word to say.
The baby's like chauffeur. Dude, that would
An
be
incredible
genius.
Hell,
genius,
you
as
think
he
he's ever
said.
been to a
Yeah, the
grocery
baby should
store?
get straight into college. If they say that as a baby, that is
That's
it?
what the
Doogie
chauffeur is
Howser all the
for.
way.
Chauffeuring a man with a 40 IQ
Kamala
to take
Harris-
you in a sack.
She gets
Dude,
us.
if a baby said
She
chauffeur,
sees
I would let it
us.
do surgery on me.
She
That means it would be a
is
billionaire
us.
eventually.
How's the look here for you,
Look,
Sarah? How are you feeling on
we've
looks? She looks pretty good,
all
right?
lived
She does.
through
I
a
mean,
lot
she's
of
very
history
put
over
together,
the past few years.
and she's had a lot of work done.
Floods
Kind of glamorous.
and fires.
Like I don't remember her ever looking
attempted
like
coup.
this before.
No, she looks
plot.
very, very.
No, she's
And a
always
pandemic.
put together, in
She
my
is?
opinion.
I
Yeah.
think that
It's
dress looks like it's
exhausting.
backwards. Like it's not low
We
cut
don't know
enough.
what
Not that
the
I'm even
next
trying to see
4
some
years
cleavage,
will
but just a little more.
But
didn't
what we
appreciate
do
it.
It
know
seemed like
is
you were
this.
trying to see. I mean, that's what I
What
feel
else
like.
would you ask for?
If
your
she
light
shows
won't
it, I'm not
stop.
going to not look. But I'm just,
You're
it
gonna
doesn't
have to
seem
get to
like
work.
it's not even that form
Pick up the
fitting. I think.
kids and pay your
Listen,
bills.
sex appeals
And then
very
one
good.
She's
day,
trying. She's trying to
when
give
you're
the
just
appearance that
trying
she's
to get
classy,
everyone
but
out
clearly,
the door,
Dave
the
tells
news
us she's
alert
not.
goes off.
I don't care at
Well,
all.
she looks classy,
Something
but there's
happened.
an odor.
Something
An odor
hit
of-
the fan.
An odor.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to leave it at.
Okay, good. You're not going to explain the odor.
Gingivitis.
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 Needs
And then you'll
Listerine.
ask,
Dental care
Summer's
is.
Eve Listerine.
Summer. I don't think that's the brand
What
name of
if
that particular
Almost positive.
product.
him.
Oh God, that
Positive,
would
like she's
What?
been many times for tests.
What if it's that man from Mar-a-Lago?
Mar-a-Lago. Is that in between Mar-a-Lago and Maryland?
Mar-a-Lago.
Is that where?
Did she say Batman? 'Cause,
I know.
He should win.
In a crisis,
Is she using her
we need
Michigan
someone
black
strong
accent right
enough
now?
to
Like
come
her
up with a
Using
plan.
the
to
sort
tell
of.
the
Strong
truth.
Michigan.
Don't
and
you
to
know?
bring people together.
Well, I tell you, in Detroit, they like to call
Right
me. Yeah,
now,
it's
Yeah,
very,
don't you know?
Before the
And
crisis
it's too far north.
is when we get
It's like
to
Canadian
choose.
almost.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we choose the leader who's tough, tested?
Oh, Kamala.
and
When I think
a
tough,
total
I think
badass.
Kamala.
This is a woman who's never really held a job, right? Like vice president for her, it was not even a job.
She's held some jobs.
You start with
Was
a
it-
I
D.
know who
Like
I want
this,
as our
Dave?
commander-in-chief.
Yeah, she's had some jobs.
America,
She's held some jobs.
let's choose
I mean,
Kamala Harris.
literally, physically.
I'm Sarah. I understood where you were. You didn't need to.
Well, isn't that the
explain it.
best
You did the
story?
hand gesture again, so I knew where you were going.
But isn't that the best thing that she was on Trump's plane with Willie Brown? Did you see that?
Yeah.
She flew
Gretchen
on.
was?
No, Kamala.
Kamala and Willie Brown flew on Trump's plane before.
Did they
True.
really?
I thought Willie Brown. That was a helicopter story, right? That they were denying.
And supposedly he was married at the time. No, I mean, fact check that, but they flew on Trump. But Trump wasn't on the plane, but they used Trump's plane to go to some event.
Really? Well, I mean, Trump did this with everybody, right? Like, he was constantly helping out
Longoria.
rando politicians.
Oh, cool.
Eva Longoria, Desperate Housewives?
She ruined every Sunday for me. No, actually, I went outside and played beer pong with my friends.
Wait, why? Because Desperate Housewives?
Your wife was watching Desperate Housewives?
Yeah. And then, like, all her friends would watch it, and we'd go play beer pong in the
Play
yard.
beer pong while your wife is home?
Yeah, well, we were younger.
Okay.
We were dating.
Awesome.
It does sound awesome. It just sounds like a thing that a guy couldn't pull off.
In fact, she's giving me happy memories of being
No
drunk.
one was going to hand us anything.
Eva still looks good.
Especially as
Yeah,
women.
she looks great.
Yeah.
That we were
Desperate
gonna have
Housewives
to
is
touch
like the
every
show that
rung of the
I
ladder
can't think of
to
another
get
show that
ahead. We were
owned
gonna have
like
to
the
work
culture for like 4
really
years and then
hard.
completely disappeared. No one
Now,
talks
she
about it
worked at
anymore.
McDonald's,
No
but
one
I
has
worked at
positive
Wendy's.
memories of it. It was like the show for like several
look at
years
us
now.
now.
Number one, yeah.
You're right, and now I have a positive memory because I remember they would all run inside to watch it, and we'd play beer pong in my friend's
Kamala
yard
and I were able
every
to
time it
see
aired.
beyond the horizon.
Not a beer pong. It was a weekly
because
show,
our
Dave.
families supported
Oh, yeah.
our big
How old were you at
dreams.
this time?
I was probably
Well, guess
21.
what? As Americans,
Yeah, that's totally
we're
acceptable.
all part of one big family. Somos familia.
No, I see what she's using her Spanish accent
And
now.
as familia, we have
Yeah, you
to
can-
have
Oh
each
my
other's
gosh, these people are just so
Just
fake.
be glad that it's her and not Beto.
Wasn't she married to
The
Al
baseball
McLaughlin on the show?
I thought she was married to a baseball player.
He's saying on the show.
Can we take a moment and be really excited that Beto's not even appearing at this thing?
Yeah,
He is toast.
Yeah.
You're welcome,
Gone
America.
forever. Thanks to Sara Gonzales.
Alex did it a little bit too.
Yes, Alex Stein.
Yep. Yep.
I'm here to tell you.
At least she
yes,
deserves
she
to
can,
speak
so we're gonna
Spanish.
say
Beto
she
was
said
just.
Well, that's what I'm
it.
saying. Like, I'm okay with her saying it.
Sure.
But we'd go to these events with Beto, and he'd be like, "Oh, these young kids and their chones," and I'm like, "You don't talk like that."
Can I get some
By the way,
agua?
that
Where's the
makes sense.
baño?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, I'm
Who wants a
speaking
churro?
super white, and then I'm going to overemphasize the Spanish word.
Oh, when I make my son breakfast, burritos.
It's really authentic.
That Reagan bit.
Let me tell you, the energy tonight isn't this year's
Enchiladas. You're like, I'm sorry, don't order like that.
People are gathered at watch parties
Brian Reagan's one of the
everywhere
best.
to celebrate Kamala Harris. Say hello.
Wow. The old Zoom wall here of a bunch of people who are
AI.
Why is that person repeated over and over again?
That's weird.
We know how to work,
Same
so
motion,
let's
it's just
get
broken.
to work. Let's turn all of this
Do you need to bring in 94 celebrities if you actually have energy behind your campaign? Like Donald Trump rolls out like Lee Greenwood 85 times, in a row, and like that's enough, right? Trump is enough.
Yeah.
Kamala's not enough by herself.
No. Well, I mean, like, look, there are people who are alleging that they got kicked out of the restaurant so that paid actors could come in.
Yeah, I believe that's true, too. Because they don't want to heckle her.
I mean, Kamala's not just not enough.
Adam Kinzinger. We're getting close, by the way. While Adam's walking up, though,
Oh.
we do have this is
Such
going to be fun. Roast number 2 winner from Sara Gonzales.
Thank
Sarah,
you.
you're welcome.
That was terrible, by the way.
I thought it was good.
I think that was that bad. I kind of like that.
You kind of gave up after the L.
I feel like that's what that's the normal way. We don't want to overdo it like Beto. So I was like Gonzales.
Just left him hanging.
All right, what do we got for a winner?
All right, so the winner is JM. And JM said Kamala is slurring more than Tim Walz at a Village People costume party.
Well done.
Dave, you're ranking on that? That's pretty solid.
That
Right?
is,
I think it's
yeah,
good.
That's pretty good.
I think it's good.
And you could see it.
You could say slurring or slurping.
That's why I was like, slurping.
I like it.
Absolutely.
I
Dave,
like
do
it.
we have any more Finish That Roast?
We do have more Finish That Roast. Let's see what comes up. All right. Tim Walz.
No, you don't have to tell people that. You just have to. If you read it, people will think you just know it. They don't know that you're looking at the screen. So if you just go ahead.
I don't have to announce it?
No. It's not a disclosure rule.
I thought there was.
Okay.
Dave says, let's pull it up, and pulls out his glasses to put them on.
What's funny is I have LASIK, but I also went to the place that did the Detroit Lions, so my left eye is just not.
You know, it's funny because I went to
That used to work. They're good now. You can't.
I got LASIK by Dr. Harvey Carter. He does the Cowboys. Did a great job. I see 2015. What a normal person sees from 15 feet, I see from 20. So,
Nice.
Are you anti-LASIK now, though?
No, I like LASIK.
I loved
But
it.
my right eye is great. My left eye is just starburst and blur.
See, that's what they say. There's a big conspiracy. What do you think about that conspiracy, Stu? That LASIK's actually bad for your eyes.
You're going to be surprised. I haven't heard it.
Find out if
Not
They say
heard.
it causes you to have readers later on in life. And
So,
find out if I get good at piano.
one of you.
Wait,
can we do the second thing here?
We get on the LASIK tangent.
Tell people that you're looking at the teleprompter. And
I'm
read
not
it.
looking at the teleprompter. This
You
is
don't have to
all-
deny it either. Just
walking the prompter.
I'm more looking at my face, just wondering how I can lose weight. I look like William Shatner now. All right. Tim Walz has been to China 55 times because he heard they have
blank. Ooh.
Gosh, I want to say one.
I know, right? It's a fun one.
It is a
Oh,
fun.
I want to say it, but I'm not gonna.
You can do it. Why not?
Can't win.
But you
No, you
can
can't.
still. But you can participate. Give him a challenge.
Don't give them free material. Don't just give in.
Dongs.
There you go. She gets it. I was going to say wangs.
I was going to say
Now
wangs.
we both
I was
took
going wangs, but dongs
Now
is
you
great.
got to work with that. You don't get wangs or
You get
dongs.
wangs or dongs.
Beat that, America.
Wangs and
All right?
dongs are officially off the table, America.
Yeah. Do you think Tim Walz would go to China if there weren't wangs and dongs? What else is there that would make him go?
I will say we do have a dong on stage right now. Adam Kinzinger is making a speech. And let's go join him right
Is he
now.
gonna cry?
Standing up for our Constitution and our democracy. That is the soul of being a
I
conservative.
mean, this is a
It
guy
used
who
to
was
be
a
the soul
giant
of being
zilch as a
Republican.
Republican congressman. No one knew who he
Donald
was.
Trump has
People didn't want to book him on
suffocated the soul
interviews.
of the
And
Republican
because he
Party.
turned against Donald Trump, he's this left-wing celebrity now. It is pathetic.
It really is. And he's really enjoying the
His
attention.
fundamental
he loves
weakness
it.
has
He loves it.
coursed through my party like an illness,
Oh.
sapping our strength, softening our spine, whipping us into a fever that has untethered us from our
Don't get
values.
Tim Walz excited now.
Our democracy was frayed by the events of January 6th.
Oh.
As Donald Trump's
Here we go.
deceit
Okay.
and dishonor led to a siege on the
We haven't
United
heard much
States
January
Capitol.
6th talk recently.
Cry about it
Well,
again.
that's a couple days.
This is, I thought it was about joy. What happened to the joy?
the desecration of our
Well,
sacred tradition of
Depends
peaceful
on the day.
transition of
Because
power.
there's joy, but there's also,
Tarnished by a man too
some
fragile,
Joy Behar.
too vain,
It makes you so mad.
and
He
too
just said
weak
that
to
peaceful
accept
transition,
defeat.
they were literally able to reconvene within 4 hours and certify the election.
Yes, it was not
it's a really scary time.
How can a party claim to be patriotic
Oh,
if
look
it
at that hat.
idolizes a
See,
man
he's
who
not
tried to
gay.
overthrow a free and fair election? How can a party claim to stand for liberty if it sees a fight for freedom in Ukraine, an attack pitting tyranny against democracy, a
You funded
challenge
it.
to everything our nation claims
How
to
much?
be?
I mean, legitimately,
And it retreats.
even if you're for
It
the Ukraine war
equivocates.
fully,
It nominates
what
a
is the
man who
number?
is
Like, we've given them
weirdly obsessed with
$170
Putin.
billion. Like, what? Where does that end?
And his running mate,
I mean, I think
Doesn't.
his
Biden
running
said,
mate who said, quote,
as
"I
much
don't
as
care
they
what
need for as
happens
long
in
as they
Ukraine."
need. So I guess that's the answer. But
Do you know what I could buy with
Yeah, he wants to be
$170
vice
billion?
president.
that's several things.
It'd be
How
crazy.
can a party
to
claim to be
Hell of
conservative
a
when
party.
it tarnishes the
Yeah.
gifts that our forebears fought
Get a new
for?
hat.
Men like my
I think we could buy
look like that one.
who
I think
served in World War II.
We've given them enough to buy every
Who
vet like a
believed in a
$400,000
cause
house.
bigger than
Oh,
himself,
easily. We
and
could
he
have done.
risked his
You know what we
life
could have done? We could have
for
actually
and
helped
enemy
save
lives.
vets' lives
Yeah, I
Preserve
hear.
American
with diseases.
democracy.
But that's
His
okay.
generation
don't
found
worry
the
about
courage
the-
to face down armies.
5 of one, 5 of another,
Listen,
right? It's just,
all
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
asked
it's fine.
to
We
do
should just mail
is
that
to
money
summon
over
the
to
courage to stand up
whatever.
to one weak man.
To a guy who plays piano with his penis.
He played it pretty good on AGT though.
It was fun. I would have voted for
Some-
a
him.
good song.
Some
I'm not
have
hitting my ex
questioned-
for that.
Some have questioned why I've taken the stand I have. The answer is really simple.
I want
ladies
fame and
gentlemen.
attention. That is the answer.
We
Well, he's not
must
running for anything.
put
He's just a
country
citizen
first.
right now. I know.
Yeah, but he loves the CNN gigs. He loves the
Is that what he's trying to do? Is he not trying to go back into
tonight-
office? Because I don't even know the way.
No,
And
I think he
tonight,
wants
as a
book sales. He
Republican
like. I mean,
speaking before you,
look,
I'm
there's got to be a
putting
charm
our
to this, right?
country
You're
first.
an
He's at
absolute nobody, and all of a sudden everyone wants to talk to you. Like that's got to be fun.
He's from Oklahoma, right?
No, Illinois.
Illinois.
Because the fact is, I do belong here. I know Kamala Harris shares my
I
allegiance
do belong
to the
here.
rule
That
of
is one
law,
thing we can agree
the
on.
Yes,
Constitution,
you do.
and
Do belong there.
democracy.
Like I don't understand this.
she is
Like I can understand
dedicated
someone who doesn't
to
like Donald Trump, someone who does
all
who
free and
favors the
service to
Ukraine
our
war.
country.
Like there's a lot of
Whatever
Republicans who
policies
believe
we
that
disagree on
that
pale
approach to
in
foreign policy was the right one.
comparison with those
But like
fundamental
to all of a sudden
matters of
switch your policy
principle,
so
of
much that you're
decency,
like I want
and of
Kamala Harris to be
fidelity
running the
this
country.
nation.
I don't understand that. That's like inauthentic.
Yeah, no integrity.
You either didn't believe it before or you don't believe it now. One of the two.
Right.
To my fellow Republicans,
You're not a
if you
Republican.
still pledge allegiance
Stop
to
it.
those
Fellow
principles,
Republicans.
I suspect you belong here too.
Oh my
Because-
gosh.
Because every policy you'll hate, but you'll feel good
Because
about yourself because the mean
democracy knows
tweets
no
won't be
party.
there.
You know, I was actually worried there
It's
would be
a-
something cool tonight
it's
on
a
the screen
living,
that could
breathing
potentially
ideal
sway
that
voters.
defines us
But
as
they
a
have Adam
nation.
Kinzinger. This is
It's
already
the
bad.
bedrock
That's
that
bad.
Over a fence
separates
right
us
now.
from tyranny.
This is just
And
like
when
a
that
low-T
foundation is
convention.
fractured,
It is
we
a little
must
low,
all stand
but I will say we
together
still have
united
the
to
surprise,
strengthen it.
guys. We don't have the surprise yet. The rumor is, I think TMZ was reporting it's Beyonce, which isn't much of a
You
surprise.
know her alter ego? What the name
If
of
you
her
think
alter
those
ego is?
principles are worth
Beyonce?
defending,
Thick
then I
Shady?
urge you,
Sasha Fierce.
make the right choice.
What did you say?
Vote,
Thick Shady?
Shady?
vote for
Yeah.
our bedrock
She's
values.
got a nice
and
booty.
vote for Kamala Harris. God bless you.
Shady.
That has to be the title of our next album.
Shady.
Slim Shady.
It's Thick Shady.
She's thick.
Yes, I like that.
She's curvaceous. That's the word. Curvaceous used to mean curvy. Now it means morbidly obese.
Okay.
So now all of the morbidly obese women are like, I'm just curved. I'm thick.
Did you see Lizzo's?
Thick with two C's.
Like, why would you call yourself the stallion? It's a male horse. And have you seen the mannequins sometimes at like Victoria's Secret?
Oh yeah, they're getting.
Yeah, you're like, why would you make?
They have love handles.
You don't even.
Why would you make it in that size?
You don't even want to steal them and keep them under your bed.
Why did you go to the mall in the first place, right?
You're waiting out by the dumpster for a sexy mannequin. Somebody throws out some pig.
Kamala's sister is on.
Oh, and you know.
It's much blacker.
Let me talk about my favorite conspiracy.
Oh, is that her
Wow.
sister? Wow.
What is the? As a person of color, you can make these observations.
Yeah, that's what I'm
we know.
Is this a different?
we
do
called
they have
her
the same
mommy.
parents?
That's what I'm
Mommy
wondering.
was
But
so
she
many
actually did a
things
fundraiser
to
with
so
Tony and
many
John
people.
Podesta.
A
This
civil
Harris
rights
right here, did you know
activist,
that?
a scientist,
At Epstein's
No,
Island?
a
no,
devoted
but
mother
at
to her
John
two little
Podesta's house.
girls.
She's very good friends
But
with the
most
Podestas.
of all,
Where are we? This stupid show. Is this almost over?
I
hope so.
odds
and defined herself.
Okay, we are.
About 2 hours. I think we're just getting started, Stu. So buckle.
Let's see.
I asked for alcohol earlier.
Did Ruben Gallego get? Did he come on?
He already went. Yeah,
he did. Okay, so we did Gretchen Whitmer, we did Eva Longoria, we did Alex Azar. This is Maya Harris. Harris is one of the people who was running her campaign, right? The one that crashed and burned back in 2019.
Yes.
Oh, she's like a very close.
This whole thing is running on talking points from 2020, so she's really just repeating.
Yes.
So it's pretty good. You don't.
Well prepared.
You don't have to have new stuff.
No. The same old material.
You just have to.
Grey's Anatomy season 24. It's the same crap.
So we're getting pretty close.
I don't know why I said exactly.
So yeah, just to set this up, if you happen to be watching. By the way, subscribe to Blaze TV. Shouldn't you do that? BlazeTV.com. If you use the promo code ROASTED, you'll get $30 off the subscription. So join us. I mean, I wouldn't join us to get more of this, but what?
Please resubscribe if you've canceled because of me.
We would appreciate that. We would appreciate that. And we should also tell you he was not reading that off a prompter.
No.
That's important knowledge that you need to have as a subscriber. So right now we are in a situation where it's Maya Harris, Kamala's sister. We are told in the official events that Kamala Harris is next. However, that's not supposed to happen. Or actually, we got Roy Cooper is the only one in between. So Roy Cooper,
like Rick James.
And like so many Americans,
I could see it. I could see it.
Kamala
It's like
knows
the little
pink. Is it more pink than Rick James would be in?
underestimated
I don't know.
and be counted out.
So it's supposed to
She
be
knows what
this
it's like to be
the
the
sister here, then not
and
the
yet
sister,
still beat the
like
odds.
her actual
Is she
sister.
now?
Just to be clear,
Sister?
Yeah, that's
her actual. That was with an ER. It's her actual sister. It's
So much
I love
Way
that.
down.
I swear.
Me and Dave are the ones that are supposed to talk like that.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
Put yourself in trouble.
Then Roy Cooper.
It's just odd because Kamala is more shaded like the snuggle bear.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she's not as.
He's not allowed to say. You're allowed to say it.
I can say that.
No, as a person of color, she can only make those
I'm a
observations.
person of
say it a
color.
little
Oh, you
softer
are?
than I
You
do.
know that?
No, I didn't know that. What are you?
Yes.
What are you?
Irish and Italian.
My sister rejects
Oh,
that
that's
view.
a lot of colors on the flag.
I don't know what I am.
Kamala sees
My
promise.
father was adopted.
Where
So
others
Roy
feel
Cooper
detachment,
is going to come out. He's going to talk, and that's supposed to be Kamala Harris. But we are told there is a big surprise coming in between there someplace we think. And we think that's Beyonce, but we don't know for sure. The rumors were everything from Taylor Swift to George W. Bush to Mitt Romney. Can you imagine how disappointing it would be if you thought you were getting Beyonce and Mitt Romney walks out?
Oh, that'd be.
That's a terrible concert.
Riot.
That's
They
a
should
terrible
another
concert.
January 6th. If that happens, they should storm the Capitol.
I hope it's
Don't do that.
No, do it. Honestly, storm it.
If they do that, I think
Blaze
it's okay.
approves it. We do. I do this. We're okay with it. If Mitt
official
Romney.
corporate policy.
Only if Mitt Romney shows up, though, storm it. If it's, Will Smith or something and Jada Pinkett Smith, do not storm it.
What's his name? His real name? Mittens?
Mittens Romney?
Yeah.
I think it is Mittens.
What is his name? What is Mitt short for? Mitchell, probably. Glad I got
Question.
to the bottom of that.
I kind of just assumed it was Mitt.
I thought it was too.
Do you think it's just Mitt?
Or his first name's baseball.
Like a catcher's mitt?
Yeah, catcher's mitt.
All right. What do they do?
So you think he's a bottom?
Yeah. He's definitely not a top. I mean, this.
Yeah, he's definitely
It's
not a
Willard
top.
is his actual name.
For the love of God.
I'm trying to say his name is Willard.
Oh, his name is Willard?
Yes.
Willard
Do
Romney?
you guys have any straight jokes? Are there any in the repertoire? I want to know if there's one.
Oh, I wasn't saying gay.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
No, I just meant catcher, like a homosexual.
So you didn't mean joyful. You did not mean joyful. That was the last thing you meant. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know
Let's
where
go
to go
back
with
to
this.
anything else.
I think I've been fired in my headset.
A leader who fights for every one of us.
Oh, this is.
Our Democratic nominee.
Kamala's getting
my
talking
big
speech
sister,
lessons.
the
Just gonna say,
next president of
this
the
is
United
definitely
States,
who does it.
Kamala
Or they're
Harris.
getting it from the same person.
So they call out Kamala? Do we not have a surprise?
No, she's just talking about her. It's her sister, Stu.
Because we got Roy Cooper, of all people, to come out and be like, oh, you want excitement? The special guest is Roy Cooper, governor of North Carolina.
That's going to be. What if that's the only? What if he does something cool like magic?
But he plays Beyonce songs while doing magic.
Yeah.
That would actually be cool if he did magic.
If he does magic.
Oh, look at that cool guy. Here
Roy
he
Cooper.
comes.
Here, let's watch Roy.
Wow, he is so cool.
Waddle out on the stage
All these Democrat white men are so hip and cool. And
There he is.
Look
at him.
They're pretty close. Roy Cooper
I'm Roy
and Kamala
Cooper.
Harris, good buddies, going back many, many years.
Last guy standing between you and the moment we're all waiting for.
Why is he squinting?
So I'm going to get right to it. All week,
I won't answer
you've
that.
heard stories about my friend Kamala. I want to take you behind the scenes of one of them. 2011 was a rough time for American homeowners.
Yeah.
Hundreds
No.
of thousands were losing their homes to illegal
It looks like we're
foreclosure.
watching SNL.
I was Attorney General in North Carolina.
Yeah, it kind of does
Kamala
look fake.
had just
He's
become
doing an impression
California.
of somebody.
Face is all
All the AGs
scrunched.
were close to a settlement with the big banks, and it was a pretty good deal. Would have meant $4 billion.
It looks like they couldn't get George Bush Jr., so they just got a guy to
I know
pretend
that
he's
sounds
George
like a
Bush
lot.
Jr.
But Kamala said, hang on a minute. I've met these families.
Now, this was someone she
I
was
know
seriously
what they've
considering
been
for vice
through,
president as
and
well.
they deserve
do you understand
more.
watching the speech why she did not select
Yes,
him?
I
She
do.
went toe-to-toe.
But I still don't understand why the pick was Tim Walz instead.
I don't either. I don't either.
Because he's
refused to
more
give in.
charismatic than her?
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
this was a huge risk, but she knew it was a
Now,
risk.
he said at
worth
the beginning of this, I don't know if you heard,
That's
caught it, but
Kamala.
he said, I'm
we
the
all
only
know
man in
what
between
happened.
you and Kamala Harris.
The
So I
banks
think Kamala
caved.
Harris is next, which means
That
there either is
$4
no
billion for
no surprise
California
guest.
families became $20
Okay,
billion.
that's a good point. That's a good point. He did say that, but it could also be
That
that
was
the
the
guest
first
comes
time
after
I
Kamala's.
witnessed
Like
Kamala
Beyonce comes out as a
in
celebrity.
action.
So yeah, I would say that's
And what I saw
seems like
was
a rational
leader
choice.
who does exactly
And they are
what
running,
she
I would
says
argue,
she's
ahead
going
of
to do.
schedule, which is
great
Never
news
will
for
settle
Joe
for
Biden's
less.
like they had me on at 3:42
America,
a.m.
We
I
got
thought they
a
were
lot of
having
big
Maxwell
fights
Frost
ahead of
on.
us.
Did they?
And
I
we've
didn't know
got
this.
one
Sorry, I
hell
thought that
of
was
a
real.
fighter ready to take
Isn't
them
that a
on.
guy?
I don't even know who that is. Oh. It sounds like a character from like
I
a
know
Christmas
that.
special.
It sounds like a
I know
trans
that.
James Bond.
Because I know her.
Doesn't it?
And tonight,
yes.
I don't
want
mean that
the
as a
American
negative.
people to know.
I mean, that
Believe
is
me,
a-
with your proclivities, I did
even
not
if you
think it
don't
was.
agree
I would
with her on everything,
absolutely write that and
Kamala
sell it to
Harris
Disney.
will fight
And
for
they would
you
Frost.
to the very end.
accept it with that
For
pitch.
families
like
who
get
need better
canceled
health
for season
care or a safer
Ackland is
place to
gone.
live.
So Roy
Kamala
Cooper was
will
supposed to come out.
fight
She's supposed to
for
come out at
you.
9:45.
For parents.
They're not
who
letting
want
Roy
better
Cooper speak for
schools
20
their
minutes. I can
kids.
tell you that.
For workers.
The way he's
worried about a
squinting, it looks like he
secure
should be
retirement
screaming
for
Bang
themselves.
Brothers into the camera.
Kamala
LASIK
will
is what he
fight
needs.
for you.
That's a reference.
any
Does
one
look
of
like-
our
hopefully no one
allies.
understands.
Anywhere in the world. Wondering if America
But
still
again,
has
we're
your
trying
back.
to watch this political event.
Remember
dude. This
this.
is not.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Kamala
I like his
will
tie.
fight for you.
That's much better.
And when
Much
she
better material.
fights,
I hope
we win.
Well, this is the dumbest slogan. If we
Kamala's
fight,
ready.
we win.
Kamala's ready.
It's not really
What does that
true.
mean?
You
is,
said
That's
it
not.
earlier.
Are
Literally,
we-
CNN said that rhetoric was dangerous after Trump got shot.
Are we gonna
It
stand
also
up
like
and
doesn't
fight
make
for
any
Kamala?
sense. Like
she'll
in a
stand
fight,
up and
there are
fight for
more
us?
than one party fight, and not like
Like what
someone
happened?
always loses.
ready,
Right, like in
my
2016,
home
are they
state
saying
of
that
North
Hillary Clinton
Carolina,
they didn't try?
stand
Like,
up.
didn't
Well,
they just put her on
actually,
stage like the
stand
other
up,
day to
Pennsylvania.
speak? Why did they put her out there? She
Stand up,
didn't try to win the
Michigan.
I
presidency.
mean, she didn't try in certain
Stand up,
states.
Wisconsin.
Sesame Street will tell you nobody
Stand
wins a
up,
fight.
Georgia.
Mr. Rogers as well.
Stand up,
Oh,
Nevada.
that's good and important.
Stand
Thank you
up,
for your
Arizona.
means a lot.
Stand up, America.
What pills do you think are in
Are we
Pelosi's
gonna
purse right
stand
now?
up?
All of the pills.
Pelosi?
All the
Are we
ecstasy.
gonna
Isn't that her?
You don't think it's just vodka?
Are we
Oh
gonna vote?
no.
Really?
No.
Are we gonna win?
Well, I've been playing that character wrong this whole time.
No, it's
You
pills.
bet we
and-
are.
you're pretty good at it.
Let's go get them.
See, like that's it. We're
Wow.
20 minutes ahead of what the scheduled time for
Which
Kamala.
makes you wonder if the guest is before.
This could be a very big,
Interesting too.
big halftime show.
What's that?
It could be a big halftime show.
If this is halftime, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Because I
just
can't
gonna
believe
go.
we made it through this time, and they're still rolling the cameras somehow.
This is halftime. I'm putting socks in my mufflers and leaving Earth.
Law school graduation.
Oh, look at this. We're going through
It's
an
where
old.
Kamala Harris learned what it means
Get
to
some
be
Kamala
middle
photos
class,
from back in the day.
making every paycheck count.
She grew up in
She was
it.
raised by a
You've
working
seen these
mom.
pictures here. She grew
Taught
up in
her
the
about
era as a
standing up
child
for
when
what's
Joe
right,
Biden was trying to keep her out of school.
Kamala
He's blocking a
carries
door and
the
everything.
lessons of our mother.
That's how they first met. People don't know that. First time they met.
Compassion.
He was
go to this school. Get out of here.
He said, "We don't like your kind here."
Whites only.
No, little girl, that's the wrong water fountain.
It's Joe telling her to get out of a pool.
say is, well, just stop the complaining. Just tell me what you're going to do about it.
And since she was a young girl, Kamala Harris has been fighting for families like the ones she grew up with.
Really?
This is ridiculous that she could be the potential.
She was.
help
Yeah,
herself
it's unbelievable.
from
And she was fighting. Well, she was fighting
for
with
people
families,
and
the Brown
standing up
family
for what she
in
thinks is
particular. We're
right.
trying to break
She
that
has
one
been
up. That
way our
family we know.
whole lives. Being a protector.
Like Hillary
is
Clinton probably
what
drinks the
led
blood of children,
her
but at least she
to become
seems
a
smart,
prosecutor.
right? You know what I mean? Like,
Looking back,
don't think
now,
so?
I
feel like
it was
you don't think
her.
Diabolical way.
I don't think Hillary Clinton is smarter.
Yeah, I
than
would call her
Hillary.
cunning. Yeah.
I think she's a great word. I thought you were going down a different road that we're going to have to end the broadcast with. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you for cunning.
I think she's learned. Like, she's been around for thousands of years, so she's picked up a lot of things.
Yeah, she's adapted.
You know.
Any of those law enforcement agencies. Now, we all work collaboratively.
Oh, that's a
She
handsome.
was the person
Is that
who
Vigo the
built
Carpathian?
The foundation in how we do criminal justice in America.
Talk about a
As Attorney
reference.
General
That's
of California,
That is
she
a
held the
solid
big Wall
reference,
Street
though.
banks accountable for fraud, winning $20 billion for California.
They're not all gay husband jokes.
She took on one of the largest
I mean,
for-profit
most of
colleges
them
with
are, I will
scandals.
say, but there are a few.
Look,
What is the part in this ad where they talk about all of the black men
prosecute.
that she locked up in
Standing up
California?
for reproductive freedom.
When does that
Cutting room
come in?
floor, I believe.
In fairness, it was for small amounts of marijuana.
That's true.
They deserved life.
Great point.
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
She fought to keep our children
That was
safe.
a really
Terror,
Kavanaugh, was that
gun
supposed
violence.
to
believe they're actually
No,
treating
like,
it like it was a good moment. It was a good moment. He got confirmed.
You guys
Nothing she did
remember?
made a difference at all.
You guys remember when they went after Brett Kavanaugh and called him a gang rapist?
Yeah, they looked at it.
No evidence? Wow.
Well, they looked
She
at
led that effort.
Great memory.
What was it, a calendar from 25 years ago? or
Yeah,
something?
what a weirdo.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was pretty weird that he actually had his calendar from 25
was
years ago.
weirder.
No, that was
It was awesome, but it was weird.
Accusing someone of being a gang rapist.
Which also will
Really?
show you he was
Yeah, I would
nowhere
follow
near a woman 25 years.
Right, there's no way.
And have a calendar from 20. You can't have a calendar and sex in high school.
No, those two things, it's incompatible.
Could not.
It does not
Seriously.
exist.
You can't schedule your sex because you can't have the calendar to have it.
No. The judge should have run like, this is nonsense right there.
This kid had a detailed
Because she's
calendar.
never
No
been afraid
way.
to stand up to powerful interests.
Sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't.
Great point.
And then you
Wow.
need to kick that door down.
Oh, she swore. She said a bad word and she laughed at herself.
I like cussing. I mean, everybody likes cussing, and it's kind of cool to be edgy, but that was just so bad, right?
It was very bad.
What if you just opened it yourself?
Campaign is about saying we trust
Why go right to kicking it down?
We just want fairness.
Great
we
point.
want dignity for
Fair
all.
point. I
I mean, it was,
And
what,
we
was,
are
a little bit of effort.
work
It's just,
in progress.
you know,
We
what was her
haven't yet
point? I
quite
mean, really, it's like
reached
the
all
door
those
was just
ideals,
open. They just
but
didn't
we
keep it
will
held for
die
you.
You're
trying
focusing a
'cause
lot
we
about the
love our
mechanics of the door,
country.
and I don't know
We
that necessarily
believe
that's
in
the
our
point.
country.
I think
We're
even
not
the metaphor
falling
makes
for
no
these folks
sense.
who are trying to divide us.
that's
trying
true.
to
Kick it
pull
down.
us
We gotta kick
apart.
it down.
Kick
We
it down,
know
and they're
what
like,
we
we're
stand
closed.
for, and
It's
we
Red
stand
Robin.
for the people. And we stand
Come
for
back
the dignity
tomorrow,
of work.
Kamala.
And we stand for freedom.
Do we think this
for
goes right
justice.
into
We
Beyonce, or is
stand
Beyonce
for
closed the thing? I think Beyonce closed it.
If it's Beyonce, she closes it.
How do you think Kamala eats an onion ring tower at Red Robin?
What she'll fight
think
for
just-
She does the bottomless fries.
Yeah, you're right. You think all at once?
I don't know, but I know she's bottomless.
These are simple questions I'm asking. What do you think, Sarah? You're a newswoman.
We've got to be. This is apparently a Beyonce song. I'm being told.
Is it?
I did not know that.
Wait, you're being told.
Yes.
You realize you didn't have to say that.
That's a good point. I didn't have to say that.
Thank you, say that, Mr. Expert.
No, you're right. You're right.
You could have just not let the audience
I just
know.
didn't think it would be believable if people thought I knew a Beyonce song.
They're like,
Here she is, Kamala.
This ain't
Kamala.
Tangent, it is
Going into Kamala. Here she comes.
Say.
The next president of the United States in our nightmares, Kamala Harris.
I turned it
Oh boy.
on. Where's Beyonce?
Good
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. Okay, we gotta get to some business. We gotta get to some business. Okay, thank you all. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, please, thank you, please, thank you so very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business. All right. So let me start by thanking my most incredible husband, Doug, for being an incredible partner to me, an incredible father to Cole and Ella, and happy anniversary, Dougie. I love you so very much. To our President Joe Biden, when I think about the path that we have traveled together, Joe, I am filled with gratitude. Your record is extraordinary, as history will show, and your character is inspiring. And Doug and I love you and Jill and are forever thankful to you both. And to Coach Tim Walz, you are going to be an incredible vice president. And to the delegates and everyone who has put your faith in our campaign, your support is humbling. So, America, the path that led me here in recent weeks was no doubt unexpected. But I'm no stranger to unlikely journeys. So, my mother, our mother, Kamala Harris, had one of her own. And I miss her every day, and especially right now. And I know she's looking down, smiling.
Kamala Harris is here. She's speaking now. We're going to try to zip it a little bit so you can actually hear what she's saying.
My mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone,
She sounds just
traveling
like
from
fake
India
Kamala.
to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist who would cure breast cancer.
Well, she didn't do that.
They're obsessed
When
with
she
curing
finished
cancer.
school,
They all say they're
she
gonna
was
cure
supposed
cancer.
to
Good thing
return
to be
home
obsessed
to a
with, but you actually
traditional
have to do it
arranged
eventually,
marriage.
right?
That's what I'm saying. They need
But
to do
as
it. How much
fate
money
would
have
have
you
it,
freaking raised?
she met my father, Donald Harris, a student from Jamaica.
A lot of people were very
they
doubtful
fell in
that she could win
love
this
and
election.
got
But you can
married,
see
and
the
that
difference between her and
act
Joe
of
Biden is so
self-determination
dramatic.
made
That's
my
what's causing this
sister
excitement.
Maya
It's not
and
that they
me.
love her policies or even her. It's just like going from the absolute worst
Growing
dead
up,
corpse
we
of a
moved a lot.
candidate into someone
I
who
will always
is presentable
remember that
and
big
can pull off a
Mayflower
speech.
truck packed with all our belongings, ready
I mean,
to go
she spent her childhood in
Illinois,
Canada, right? Didn't she move to Canada?
to Wisconsin.
Yeah, good chunk of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
From like
And
10 to 16 or
wherever
10 to
our parents'
18, she lived in
jobs took
Canada.
us.
Big
My
chunk
early
of her,
memories
like, Maine adolescence.
of our parents together are very joyful ones. A home filled with laughter and music.
Cackling.
Aretha, Coltrane,
Turmeric.
and Miles.
What are other some Indonesian spots?
At the park,
I can't think of any.
my mother would say, "Stay close." But my father would say, as he smiled, "Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you."
Do you notice the hand gesture? I mean, they're just all over the place. And I think she's very limited
From my
here.
earliest
She's thinking about it.
years, He taught me to
She doesn't know what to do with her hands, though, I think. They're all
But the
over her.
harmony between my parents did not last. When I was in elementary school, they split up. And it was mostly
You told
my
me it
mother
was
who
my
raised
fault.
us.
He said,
Before
"You
she
make
could
mommy and daddy
finally
drink."
afford to buy a home, she
And that's
rented
the day
a
I
small
started,
apartment in
and
the
haven't
East Bay.
stopped since.
In the Bay,
In the
the
Bay.
Bay.
Let's hear about the Bay.
you either live in the hills or the flatlands. We lived in the flats. A beautiful working class neighborhood
It's only
of
gotten worse.
firefighters.
She knows she doesn't have to
nurses,
take
and
dramatic
construction
pauses after
workers,
every word.
Well, I don't know. I think
who
that is
tended
important.
their
I mean,
lawns
Glenn
with
Beck's one of the
pride.
greatest at taking the dramatic
My
pause. You
mother,
know, the dramatic
she
pause
worked
is
long
great. I
hours.
mean,
And like
Affiliates
many
don't love
working
that, but
parents,
yes, he does do it.
She
It is
leaned
good,
on a
though.
trusted circle to help raise us. Mrs. Shelton, who ran the daycare below us and became a second mother. Uncle Sherman, Aunt Mary,
Wait,
Uncle Freddie,
her uncle was the Sherman guy?
No.
That's incredible.
Sherman by blood.
Hemsley.
All
It was
of
Sherman
them.
Clump from
Family
the
by
Clumps.
love.
Wait, you know the characters' names on the clumps?
Yeah, Sherman Clump was the
Family
dad, and yeah,
taught
Eddie
us
Murphy played a
how
great
to make
job. That was
gumbo,
I think he won the
how to
Golden
play
Globe.
chess, and
I referenced
sometimes
the
even let us
Jeffersons.
win.
Yes, I know. I heard you.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Family
I
who
referenced the
loved
Nutty
us,
Professor. So.
I liked it.
believed in
Thank
us,
you, finally.
and told us
Love
we
the Nutty
could
Professor.
be anything and do anything.
I like the Jerry Lewis one.
That was a more racist one.
He's great
They
at mocking
instilled in
retards.
us the values they personified.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris.
Community, faith, and the importance of treating others as you would want to be treated, with kindness, respect, and compassion.
Locking them in their homes.
My mother was a brilliant, 5-foot-tall, brown woman with an accent.
What's that?
And as
Woo!
the eldest
What is that?
child,
Brown woman with
as
an
the
accent?
eldest child,
Isn't her mom
I
the one
saw
from
how the
Indonesia?
world
The Indian
Yeah,
one?
that
sometimes
seems
treat her.
racist to say that. My
But
mom's
my
just an
mother
old,
never
short
lost
brown
her
woman.
cool.
Never
She was
lost her cool.
tough, courageous,
Mom was a poo.
a trailblazer in the fight
I'm
for
working
women's
7-Eleven.
health.
She does not get along with
And
her
she
father, right? Her
taught
father does
Maya
not like
and
her.
me
Alex, you have to
a
know
lesson
this.
that
Yeah,
Michelle
there's
mentioned
supposedly
the other
beef
night.
there. Like he's not,
Really?
he's
She
not in her
taught
life
us
now, or
to
I guess maybe he's
never
dead. But yeah, there's
complain
some sort of animosity.
about
Yeah, there's some,
injustice.
I think he is, but
But
they're like
do
not
something
friends.
about it.
Like she made
Do
a.
something about
I don't know how
it.
recent this was, but it was during her political rise. She made a
That
joke
was my
about
mother.
being from Jamaica and smoking pot, and, it
And
pissed him
she
off.
taught
He was
us.
really
Yeah,
pissed
yeah,
off
And
about
she
it.
always,
Oh.
He's
she
86.
I saw it on the
always
internet.
And she also
Sure,
taught
then.
us,
Gotta be
and never
factual,
do
yeah.
anything half-assed. And that
You
is
say
a direct
half-assed or
quote.
half-assed?
Yeah, supposedly her dad's not even there. The rest of her
direct
family's really
quote.
doesn't. According to
I grew up immersed
the
in the
Milwaukee
ideals
Journal
of the civil
Sentinel.
rights movement.
Does
My parents
her
had
sister
met
that's
at a
there, do
civil
they have the
rights
same
gathering,
dad? Or, I'm sorry, do
and
they
they
have
made
the
Yeah, it looks
sure
like
that
it's
we learned about
Harris.
civil
They have the same
rights
mom.
leaders,
Donald Harris is the
including
dad.
the lawyers like Thurgood Marshall and Constance
Maya
Baker
is
Motley. Those who battled in the courtroom
What are
to
you
make
gonna do
real
to
the
fix this?
promise of America. So at a young
I mean, I
age,
think-
fine.
I decided
She's
I
gonna
wanted to
sleep
do
when
that
she's
work.
18.
Everything's
I
going
wanted
great.
to be a lawyer.
Isn't it the right move for
And when
her
it
to
came
not
time
list
to
any of the
choose
things she's
the
going to do?
type of
Like,
law
isn't
I
it the
would
right move?
pursue,
Yeah, you're
Never,
right.
I
ever
reflected
reveal
on
anything.
a pivotal moment in my
She's
life.
going to put price caps on food. We're
You
going to
see, when I was in
Oreos.
high school,
Oh, that's true.
I started
More
to
microplastics
notice
for our
something
testicles.
about my
How
best
high
friend
is that
Wanda.
cap?
She was
Did you know that,
sad
Stu?
at
Did you
school.
know that our testicles are filled with
And there were
microplastics that are
times
dangerous and causing
she
cancer
didn't wanna
at a
go
rate they've
home.
never seen?
I just,
So one
I'm
day
interested
I
in the fact that
asked
Sarah's
if
now given that
everything was all
hand gesture
right.
4 times on the
She's
show.
holding a lot of
confided
microplastics
me
in that
that she
gesture.
was being sexually abused
Mainly
by
Isn't
her
it from
stepfather.
cereal?
Oh, cereal.
And I immediately
Infested
told
with
her she had to
plastics.
come
Yeah.
stay with us.
Not
And
magic.
she
Plastic.
did.
What do you think makes it taste good?
Not magic
This is
spoon,
one of the
but
reasons
yeah, the plastic does taste
I
good.
became a
Magic
prosecutor.
spoon.
Yeah, it's a very low carb.
To protect
Okay, can we
people
hear
like
Kamala
Wanda,
Harris for a second?
Because I believe everyone has a right to safety, to dignity, and to justice.
That's why we're letting thousands of people across the border every day to commit crimes against the
As a
citizens of the country.
Did you see that
when
they're
I
getting a
had a
$30,000 house mortgage
charged it
or whatever?
not
25,
in
I
the
think it's
name of
25,
the
yeah.
victim,
$25,000,
but
but it's
in
only
the name
available
of the
for illegal immigrants, not.
For a
No,
simple
no,
reason.
that-
It's a
There was
subsidy
another
for
one.
first time.
In
I know
our
that's the
system
one
of
actually that's to
justice,
everybody, but there's a
a
new one
harm
that they're just moving
against
forward.
any
for
Saw it on the
one
the internet.
You guys read everything on the internet
It's
too.
from the
Give me
Milwaukee
a break.
Journal Sentinel 7435. I saw the account.
On Twitter. He does have the blue check marks to him.
Oh,
And
okay,
I would
that's fine.
often
Sam.
explain this to console survivors of crime, to remind them no one should be made to fight alone. We are all in this together.
You guys are literally letting violent criminals into the streets. You're
every day,
funding their bail.
Yeah.
In the courtroom, I stood proudly before a judge.
I have to look at
and I
toothpaste
said
like it's an
5
aquarium.
words. Kamala Harris for the people.
Right. For the people.
And to be clear, my entire career, I've only had one client, the people.
I mean, look, she's obviously
And
much better than
so,
Joe Biden could do with the
on
speech. The
behalf
material in the speech is terrible, but people aren't going to care about that. I
On
don't think.
behalf
Nobody cares.
of every American, regardless of party, race, gender, or the language your grandmother speaks. On behalf of my mother.
My grandmother's dead.
And
Thanks for bringing that
everyone
up.
Did you notice how it
who has
was in
ever
Barack's
set out
speech, or maybe
on
it was
their
Michelle? She said,
own
well, you know, we got to
unlikely
change the way our
journey.
grandparents speak, because
On
everybody's
behalf
grandparents are racist.
of Americans like the people I grew up with.
Mine was.
Yeah,
People
duh.
who
I mean,
work
everybody's
hard,
are, but
Dude, if your grandparents
chase
aren't
their
racist, something's
dreams,
wrong with your grandparents.
and
so,
look
yeah.
out for one another. On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth.
So we are
I
back to
accept your nomination
the greatest nation.
to be President of the United States.
It's
of
just like
America.
Johnny Cash and Dr. Evil all at once.
As a television show, this is going to work for people, I think. They're going to feel the energy a little bit. For people who don't know anything about these topics, which is obviously who they're targeting.
Well, it's just
Who's
like
watching
Is that
this?
the guy from...
everybody who has Stockholm syndrome.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
This election,
I want to see how many people watch this.
our nation with this election has a precious
Anybody who's looking at their stock reports and
opportunity
loading a gun.
to move past the
Well,
bitterness.
it is important, you know, I mean, in cities like
cynicism,
Atlanta and
and
Philadelphia that were like
divisive
huge,
battles of the
you know, key
past,
cities,
a
like
chance
mainly black
to
cities. So,
chart
you know, it is
a
going to come
new
down,
way
arguably, to the black
forward.
vote. It could. Do you think they're actually watching this and getting behind it? I doubt it. I mean,
Not
No.
as
Some
members
will. Just gonna
of
blindly
any
follow
one
it.
I think she's
party or
trying to get to
faction,
the idea
but as
of a replacement level
Americans.
Democrat. And if she thinks if she can get there, she'll
let
win
me
because
say,
people don't like Trump.
I know
And
there
enough
are
people
people
don't
of
like Trump.
various
I don't know if that
political views
works, but I think that's all
watching
she's trying to do here.
And I
Which
want
would
you
be
to know,
easier to do
I
if she
promise
wasn't
to
second
be
in
a
command
president
right
for
freaking
all
now.
Yeah, very
Americans.
true.
That's the thing.
You can always trust
But she
me
hasn't been showing up
to
for
put
work for
country
years.
above party and self. To hold
A key thing here, if I were advising her, I'd be like 13 minutes.
From the rule
Oh,
of
in
law,
and
to
out.
free
you would
and
quickly-
Don't need
fair
any more than that.
elections, to
Off the stage
peaceful
by 9:49.
transfer of power.
Tim Walz did a good job with
In and
that.
out is Willie Brown, they call it.
The Willie Brown. Do the Willie Brown.
Word.
I will be a
I make everything
president
He is
who
clapping.
unites
I noticed.
us
That's
Didn't want to be
very
out
good
there.
at it.
around
Yeah,
our
he's
highest
good.
aspirations. A president who leads and listens, who is realistic
Aspiration is how she sweats when she's
practical,
with Willie Brown.
and has
He
common
did it again.
sense
why was Gavin
and
not considered a
always
vice president
fights
choice at all?
for the
Well,
American
from
people.
California would have had
Oh,
some
that's
constitutional
true.
questions.
From the courthouse
Also, he looks like American
to
Psycho.
the White House. That
does.
has been
He
my
is-
life's work.
Thank you.
Women
I've been
kinda-
seeing- He looks just like Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Bateman. We made up some graphics of
Women are
As a
attracted to
young
Christian Bale. I mean, that is a
courtroom
good.
prosecutor in Oakland,
No, but he looks like
California,
from the book.
I stood up
Like he looks like who you would
for
picture
women
before
and
they made the
children
movie.
against
Yeah, he
predators
looks weird.
who
He, remember when he
abuse
slept
them.
with his
As
staffer's
Attorney
wife?
General
He
of
says she
California,
stood up
I
for
took
women
on
and
the big banks.
women and children against predators that abuse them.
Delivered
Lincoln Riley's
$20
family would like to have a
billion
word.
from
Yeah.
middle-class
Also, don't they have a
families who
van
faced
outside
foreclosure
performing
and
murders
helped
of children
pass
Yes.
a
Like, dudes
homeowner's
go
Bill
pee
of
next to
Rights,
toddler
one of the
girls. I mean,
first
they
of
don't
its
care.
kind
So
in
she
the
doesn't
nation.
read any diaries.
I stood up for veterans.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala
and
Harris is
students
speaking.
being scammed by big for-profit colleges.
What?
Oh, because for-profit
For
college is a huge
workers
problem
who
in
were
our
being
country.
cheated out of
I
their
know, give me a
wages, the
break.
wages they were due.
Rather have the ones that are not
For
for-profit but have
seniors
$48 billion in
facing
their
elder abuse.
endowments.
I fought against
Without
the
colleges,
cartels
nobody would
who
believe a
traffic
word
in
you're
guns
saying.
and
Yeah.
drugs and human
That's
beings. who threaten the security
She's
of
talking
our
through the
border
applause.
and
She
the
wants
safety
off of
our
this stage.
communities.
Get Beyonce on it. That's what she's trying to do. I want Beyonce before
These
10.
fights were not easy.
She just doesn't still want to have
And
the clap.
neither were the elections
Oh,
that
Stu,
put
you
me
want to
in
know?
those
I just thought of this conspiracy. You know why I know Kamala Harris is going to win?
Oh.
Underestimated
Did you ever watch the show
at
Veep?
practically every turn.
Minimal amounts, yes.
But we never gave
Julia
up.
Louis-Dreyfus in the show was
Because
the 45th
the
president
future is
and
always
the
worth
47th
fighting
president when the
for.
older president stepped down. It's kind of weird.
it is.
She's up for the 47th president, and it's kind of a similar storyline to the show.
She wasn't the 45th.
I know she wasn't that. That was Trump. But in the show,
It's really the same.
it's just weird that a woman is taking over for an old guy. It's a very.
It is legitimately
Is
amazing.
not only the most important of our lives.
Is there a conspiracy tied to that, Alex?
It is
That's the
one
conspiracy,
of
is that
the
they're writing
most
this. This is all
Why did
political
you ask
theater.
him
Oh, yeah,
that?
that was
Life
you're
of
right.
our
I'm sorry.
fake,
That's my
yeah.
fault. Sorry.
You know, Biden really had his wits about him until Trump got shot in the ear.
In many ways,
Shot?
Oh,
Donald
entirely.
Trump
He- sharp
is
as
an
attack?
unserious
Sharp as
man.
attack. Best Biden.
We're missing
But the
Kamala's jokes. Let's listen.
consequences,
I don't want to interrupt you.
but the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
You could get your jobs back.
Consider,
You know how she could win the election? You guys think I'm kidding? If she
not
said the
only
N-word one
the
time.
chaos and calamity when he was
I think
in
that would
office,
appeal
but
to the people,
also
Dave.
Think so?
the gravity
Yes.
of what has
You don't think so to
happened
the black community?
since he
You said
lost
Tupac
the
was
last
still alive.
election.
That's great. She needs to talk about
Donald
Tupac.
Trump
She needs to
tried
be
to throw
more.
away your
Not in like a
hopes.
I hope he's still alive,
When
just
he
in ignorance
failed,
to it. Like she used to
he
listen to
sent an
Tupac when she was in
armed
college.
mob
She needs to get
to the
more.
United States Capitol.
She said he
where
sent
they
an armed
assaulted
mob to
law
I agree she
enforcement
needs more
officers.
street cred. I'm with
She
you.
needs more
Donald
street
Trump
cred.
sent an armed mob.
Wait. Hold on, guys. Let's not have multiple conversations at the exact same time. Sarah, what did you say?
That Donald Trump sent an armed mob to the Capitol when he lost.
He did the opposite.
I mean, what is this? The old
the flames.
when he said peacefully. You know,
And
marching.
now,
I mean, how are they still
for
doing
an
that?
Sent an
entirely
armed mob.
different set of crimes.
They weren't armed really
he was
either, were
found
they?
Guilty of fraud
I mean, I guess they were
by
armed
a
with, like,
jury of
flagpoles.
everyday Americans.
Right. I mean, there may have been a few in the bunch that
and
did of their
separately
own,
found liable
volition,
for
but
committing
It seemed the ones that
sexual
were armed
abuse.
were inside and pretty reckless about
And
it.
consider what
That's
he
profound.
intends to do if we give him power again.
It's true. Someone moved the
Consider
podium.
his explicit intent to set free violent extremists
This is Joy, by the
who
way, guys.
assaulted those law enforcement officers at the Capitol. His explicit intent
Look at
to
Will
jail
Subdoing.
journalists, political opponents, and anyone he sees as the enemy.
Is that true?
His
Yeah, what journalist did he
explicit
try to
intent
I don't
to
remember him saying
deploy our active duty military against our own citizens.
When they were burning down AutoZone?
Consider the power he will have, especially after the United States Supreme Court just ruled that he would be immune from criminal prosecution. Just imagine Donald Trump with no guardrails.
It was ruled based on evidence.
And the Constitution is
how
quite the
He would
guardrail.
use the immense powers of the presidency
That's kind of why it's
of the
there.
United
Right,
States.
it's kind of a big deal.
Not to improve your life, not to strengthen our national security, but to serve the only client he has ever had, himself.
She holds them too.
How can you be a client for yourself?
It's number
And we know,
He's like
and we know what a second
I do the
Trump
robot
term
slow through
would
my
look
speech.
like. It's
Yeah.
all laid out in Project 2025.
Oh, here we go.
Written
Stop it.
by
He
his
doesn't even
closest
like Project
advisors.
2025.
No, he
And its
said it a
sum
bunch.
total is to
Yeah,
pull
like he
our
hates
country
it.
back
The
into the
poor people at the
past.
Heritage Foundation were trying to
But
come up with some nice
America-
ideas, and he's
We are not going back.
no stop with the
We
chanting.
are not going back.
When you really want to look like a cult,
We
make
are
sure you
not
add
going
lots
back.
of chants into your convention.
With your fake
We
patriot
are
face.
not going back.
Ooh, coming up, Glenn
when
Beck reacts to
Donald
Kamala
Trump
Harris' speech. That sounds great.
Tried to cut
He's
Social
gonna be mad.
Security and
He's not gonna like it.
Medicare.
He's not going to like it.
We are not
How many Tim
going
Walz
back
jokes do
to
you
when
think
he
Glenn
tried
has?
to get
Well,
rid of
I'm
the
sure a few.
Affordable Care Act. When
just hope he's
insurance
not watching
companies
this.
could deny
No,
people
God,
with
no.
pre-existing conditions.
I'd be in big trouble.
We are
Hopefully he's
not
God.
going
What
to
Affordable
let him
Care Act?
eliminate the Department of Education that funds
one that you
our
didn't let
public
anybody use?
schools.
The Affordable Care Act, which is them supposedly
We
getting
are
out
not
of you
going
and
to
your
let him
doctor
end programs
relationship
like
in
Head
healthcare.
Start that provide
Because that's what they say they want when it's about abortion.
The thing that was going to make healthcare
we are
affordable,
not going
and now
back.
they keep talking about how they're going to fix healthcare.
It's incredible. Just like
You
she's
did
going to
it
now.
in 2008.
They passed the Inflation Reduction Act, and now she's talking about how she's going to stop inflation.
Yes, but they've also
people fall for this.
They've also backed the fact that hospitals don't have to show you what their expenses are, and they can jack up and charge you whatever they want. She's backed that. You're going to tell me you care all of a sudden? Now I'm just mad.
And growing middle class, because we
Get off
know a
Dave's lawn.
strong
Just hate
middle class has always been critical
I care about
to
you in the way that I
America's
don't at all.
success.
Vote for me.
And building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
You ruined the middle class, you stupid. Sorry.
I'm glad you stopped there. Could have gotten worse.
And I'll tell you, this is personal.
I wanted you
Well,
to
not her, but what?
The middle
I
class
wanted you to keep going.
is where I come
Ugh.
from.
No, it's not.
My mother kept a strict budget. We lived within our means, yet we wanted for little. And she expected
Everything's
us
acted
to make
out.
the
Everything
most of
she
the
says.
opportunities that were available to us.
Look what you want for
And
little.
to
Look
be
at what you're
grateful
doing right now.
for them.
You're the second most
Because,
powerful person
as she
theoretically in
taught
the world.
us,
And
opportunity is not available to
Your
everyone.
dad hates you.
That's why we will create what I call an opportunity
exactly what we need, a
economy,
president with daddy
an
issues.
opportunity
Yeah.
economy
Yeah.
where everyone
Harris, that's a
has
big
the
phrase.
chance to compete and a
She's going
chance
up against
to
the powerful
succeed.
men around the world. It's going to end well.
You're just going to sleep with him.
Whether
I mean, that actually might happen.
You
You're
live
going to
in
hear a lot of
rural
opportunity
area,
economy.
small
That's going to be
town,
one she's
or
going to
big
hold on
city.
to.
Why
And
wouldn't
as
you have done
president,
that
I will
right
bring
now?
together
I want
labor
some journalist
and
to ask her,
workers and
what
small
policies has Joe Biden
business
stopped you
owners
from pursuing?
and
Has there been one?
American
Because you were
companies
there the whole time.
to
Did he say,
create
no, Kamala, you
jobs,
can't,
to grow our
pursue the
economy,
opportunity
and to lower
economy
the
right now?
cost of
Is that a thing?
everyday
Well, also,
needs
like, do you agree with
healthcare
Joe
and
Biden when
housing
he
and
says that
groceries? We
your
will
administration will be a
provide
continuation
access
of his
to capital
policies?
for
Because he
small
said it.
business
He said it.
owners and entrepreneurs and
You're
founders.
campaigning as if the
And
last
we
3
will
years
end
didn't happen.
America's housing
Makes
shortage.
But then,
no
but
sense.
then sometimes she is. She flip-flops back and forth.
Who was the
Social
CNN host that
Security
actually
and
called him out and said the
Medicare.
Democrats have been in power for 12 of the past 16 years?
Yeah, that was like the token
Yeah.
Republican,
Compare
Scott.
that
Poor
to
Scott, the
Donald
token
Trump.
Republican guy.
Because I think everyone here knows he
She just
doesn't
bashed the microphone.
actually fight.
That's what happens when
for
you
the
have too
middle
much
class.
wine.
He
Bonk.
doesn't actually fight for the middle
She
class.
seems more
Instead,
coherent
he
tonight.
fights
No,
for
she seems,
himself
this is
and
actually,
his
I mean,
billionaire
look,
friends.
the content is
And he
BS,
will
a lot of
give
lies,
them
but this is
another round of
absolutely
tax
fine for what
breaks
she's trying to
that
accomplish.
will add
She looks put together.
up
She
to
can get through it. It's
$5
not Joe
trillion
Biden,
to
you
the
know,
national
fumbling
debt.
all over himself. She didn't seem to
And
really have
all
a
the
stroke
while,
on stage.
he
All the
intends
things. She's
to
checked all the
enact what
boxes.
in
The president
effect
hasn't
is
done
a
in years.
national sales tax.
She's had
call
just
it a
enough
Trump
sangria
tax,
that her hands aren't
that would
shaking.
raise prices on middle-class families by almost $4,000 a year. Well, instead of a Trump tax hike, we will pass a middle-class tax cut.
Listen to this.
that
This
will
is a
benefit
Republican speech.
more than 100
Come
million
on.
Donald Trump is
Americans.
not going to raise middle class taxes. There is literally zero chance that that happens, and she's not going to cut them. There's no chance that happens.
One tax, no way.
I believe America cannot truly be prosperous unless Americans are fully able to make their own decisions about their own lives,
Listen, this is
especially on matters
libertarianism
of
101.
heart and
Really? Is that
home.
what you think, Kamala?
Guys wanted people to starve
But
and their
tonight,
families to starve if they didn't
in
get
America,
an experimental job.
too many
And now
women
all of a
are
sudden,
not
effective. It's
able
very
to
safe and
make those
effective.
Thank you.
decisions.
Thank you.
And let's be clear about
Glad you
how
got
we
that
got
disclaimer in.
here.
It was a short experiment, but it was safe and
Donald
effective.
Trump
experiment.
handpicked members
Some
of the
people's
United
hearts
States Supreme
exploded.
Court
That's-
to take away
It wasn't from
reproductive
Seriously,
freedom.
that wasn't from that.
And now
A lot
he
of
brags
kids in
about
my
it.
high school that played
In
football
his
had massive
words,
heart attacks for
quote,
no reason.
I
That was
did
just
it,
happened.
and I'm proud to
that
have
was
done
actually
it.
climate. Yeah, it was climate change.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I'll tell you, over the past 2 years, I've traveled
I've
across
shot
our
heroin
country,
and I didn't take that thing.
and
Shouldn't
women
that
have
bother
told
you?
me their stories. Husbands and fathers.
I don't know if the
have
heroin
shared
addict is
theirs.
necessarily the one you want to go to for medical
Stories
decisions.
Yeah, I'm just
of
saying, but it's
women
like,
Yes,
miscarrying
this
in
seems a
parking
little
Not choosy.
lot,
With
He's not. No.
developing
Well, look, at least the heroin had
sepsis,
been tested for
losing the
a long time.
ability to ever
that
again
was
have
real
children.
testing.
All because doctors are afraid they may go to jail for caring caring for
Because of
their
you,
patients. Couples just trying to grow their family.
Wait, they're not growing
Cut
their
off
family
in
if they're
the
going to the
middle of
abortion
IVF
hut outside your freaking convention.
Mobile
Children
abortion
who
studio
have
outside your
survived
house.
sexual
Seems like a
assault,
giant subtraction. You seem to be
potentially
more in the
being forced
subtraction
to carry
business.
a pregnancy to term. This is what's happening in our country.
I mean, could you imagine
Because
getting,
of Donald
getting an
Trump.
abortion and dog grooming?
And
thing like that?
understand,
I mean,
he is not
sad.
done.
So pathetic.
Look, it's
As
a
a
side
part of his
business.
agenda.
I mean, that
Like,
you know,
are they
He and his
driving?
allies
Yeah, keep it
would
slow.
limit
This actually
access
hits
to
close to
birth
home. You know, my
control,
dad almost made me get a vasectomy.
ban medication abortion,
Yeah, well, he would've-
and
he would've
enact
done it
a
anyway.
nationwide
Luckily, I
abortion
didn't do it.
ban
Yeah,
with
How old were
or
you?
When I was
without
18,
Congress.
who's going to give me $10,000?
And get this.
He really did not want a
Get
mini
this.
Alex.
Yes.
He plans
He
to
tried to
create
shut the whole
a
chain
national
down,
Well,
didn't
'cause
he?
you can reverse it, but yeah, no, he was.
coordinator.
Yeah, you
Adamant.
can untie
And
it.
force states
Got a
to
vasectomy once. I was
report
running from the police,
on
hopping a
women's
fence.
miscarriages and abortions.
They were able to reverse it.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Simply put, they are out of their minds.
Okay.
Oh, we've gone from weird. We got a new one. Out of their minds.
Out of their minds. Yet they're all on antidepressants that make them want to commit
Her
suicide.
husband looks like the penguin from the
One
new
must
HBO
ask,
series.
why exactly is it
It's
that they
creeping me
don't
out.
trust women? Well, we trust women.
See, we. She's wanted you to know that she was saying we. That's why she's pointing.
What is a
We.
woman?
Yeah.
Because you're cute little heartbreakers, that's
And
why.
when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
And it will be overturned immediately by the Supreme Court because they were very explicit there should be an issue handled by the states. But go ahead and get your dopey people to
Show a
achieve-
baby.
Oh, a baby.
They
A
show a
perfect
baby.
shot. Thank you to the cameraman who did that.
Many other
Funny.
fundamental
Wow.
freedoms are at
Whatever
stake.
director.
The freedom to live
Oh
safe
my
from
God.
gun
It'd be funny if in
violence
the next
our
shot it's
schools,
dead.
communities, and places of worship.
Literally reproductive
The
freedom.
freedom
That's
to
dark,
love,
but I really
love
liked it.
You know what I
openly
mean?
and
I
really
with
liked it.
pride.
Wow.
It makes me sick.
It should be dark.
Freedom
It should be.
to breathe clean
Well, I mean, that
air
kind of goes against
and
your whole
drink
policy to
clean
cut to a
water
baby.
and
Yes,
live
that's
free
a fantastic
from the pollution
choice.
that fuels the climate
It's just a clump of
crisis.
cells, though.
That's true. That clump of
And
cells
the
that was
freedom that
fast asleep
unlocks
adorably
all
in a
the
little
others
blanket.
the freedom to vote.
Okay, the guy in the cowboy hat, we can abort him.
I
mean, if you're in the 400th trimester, we can abort you. That's fine.
Have
Yeah.
the opportunity to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights
I say we
Act
interview
and
you
the
at 30,
Freedom
see how
to
you're
Vote
doing, and
Act.
watch when
What are the vote? What's the John Lewis Voting Act? What is,
not achieve it.
And
What a
let me be
surprise.
clear.
you don't have to have an ID to vote? What is
After
the basis
decades
of it?
Yeah, it's like
in
it's a very
office,
liberal
I
Voting
know
Rights Act.
the
Radical.
importance
me a-
of
Mail-in-
safety
what, mail-in
and
ballots?
Mail-in
security,
ballots, all sorts of stuff like that,
especially
yeah.
at our border.
I sent in 4 last year
Last
myself.
year, Joe and I brought together
Michigan?
Democrats and conservative
Trust me.
Republicans
In advance.
to
Yeah,
write
I
the
know.
strongest border bill in decades.
I
The
think I
Border
have gotten
Patrol
way too
endorsed
many.
it.
She's talking about the border right
Donald
now?
Trump
There is zero
believes
chance
a
they pass
border
that bill
deal
if she gets
would
elected.
hurt his campaign.
Zero chance. This was a
So he
that was a
ordered his
ploy
allies
to try to
in Congress
win
to kill the
votes
deal.
on the border because they knew it was a weak issue for them, and they were
Well, I
thrilled
refuse to play
that
politics
they
with
didn't
our
get passed because they
security.
didn't actually want it.
Well,
And
but also,
here's
It still
my
sucked.
pledge
It wasn't
to
even a
you.
good
yeah, then that's the point. Is like it,
As
it also
president, I
didn't
will bring
like it
back
would not
the
have brought any more
bipartisan border
meaningful
security
security
bill
to
that
the
he
border
killed,
at all.
and I will
So
sign it into law.
No, you won't. You're lying. You know you're lying, and the dumb people in your audience cheering
We
also
can
probably
live
know you're
up
lying.
To our
dumb.
Yeah,
proud
they have no
heritage
idea.
as
They
a
don't
nation of
Is it her and her
immigrants
husband's
and
10th
reform
anniversary
our
today?
broken
Is it really?
immigration system.
Oh, that's a.
Is it really that? What is
What anniversary is it of with him and the nanny?
Create and earn
That's, I don't know,
pathway to
20th?
Okay, good.
citizenship and
Nice
secure
celebration.
our border.
I guess it's not just America that's going to take it up the butt today.
And America, we must also
Sorry.
be steadfast in
know if that
advancing
was
our
necessary.
security
First
and
set,
values
first set.
abroad.
I just
As
hate
Vice
this.
President,
It is
I
hateable.
have confronted threats to our security, negotiated with
Like
foreign
shooting a
leaders,
guy running for president?
strengthened our alliances, and engaged with our
can't believe
brave
that happened like a
troops
month and a half ago.
overseas.
And no one cares.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world.
See, they love weapons in war.
You believe her, though?
No.
They try to shrink the military every time they get into office.
No, they're trying to make the military gay.
Our troops and their families.
Like advertising.
Military gay again? It's still
Always
MAGA.
honor
Almost.
And never disparage.
But you've seen like the
their
Air Force
service
things on
and
X
their
where it's like the jets and the
sacrifice.
rainbow. Like, why would you do this?
No.
No, it's real.
And I believe it.
I think they took it down pretty quick because everybody there was like, "Don't do this."
I will make sure
I think it's because several of our people just joined the Taliban because
lead
of
the
it.
world into the future on space and artificial intelligence.
Talk about
that
space more,
America,
please.
not
Go off
China,
script and talk
wins
about.
the
She is, by the way.
competition for the
Can we also note, by the way,
leadership.
not a word of this has been off
on
script.
the other
I mean,
hand,
the discipline is there.
Yeah.
And that's
to
a
abandon
difficult
NATO.
thing to defeat at
He
times.
encouraged
That's true.
Putin to
If anything, I don't think
invade
she's taking
our
enough
allies.
dramatic pauses, Sarah.
Said
Seriously, she needs to
Russia
slow it
could,
down.
quote, do whatever the hell they
0.10 to
want.
10%.
But it's because it's after
5
every
days
single
before
word.
Russia attacked
Yeah.
Ukraine,
She's
I
running
met
through
with
it, though. She wants to
President
get it done.
Zelensky to warn
I
him
would want to get it done
about
too if I were
Russia's
her.
plan to invade. I helped mobilize a global response over 50 countries
Did
to
ya?
defend against
This
Putin's
wasn't Joe now?
aggression.
We were supposed to give Joe all the credit for this until last week, but now it was you?
As president, I will stand strong with Ukraine and
She looks
our
like a member of a
NATO
hair band
allies.
getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't like any of it.
With respect to the war in Gaza,
Thanks, I hate
Well,
it.
let's hear what she has to say.
President Biden and I are working around the clock.
Rumor is, by the way,
Because
we
now
have
is the time
a
to get
special
a
guest joining us a little bit
hostage
early.
deal and
Is
a
it true? Glenn
ceasefire
Beck
deal
is.
done.
Oh, God, here he is. Glenn Beck, I'm sure, is thrilled with what we're seeing. Everything's going very well. He's up at the ranch in Idaho. Glenn, what are you taking from us so far?
Always
I
stand
can't
up
take
for Israel's
it.
right
I
to defend
cannot
itself,
take it.
and I will
I
always
have
ensure
never
Israel
heard
has the ability
more
to defend
lies
itself, because
in
the
my
people of Israel
life.
must never
First of all,
again face
I
the
thought
horror
everybody hated
that a
her. I thought she
terrorist
couldn't,
organization
she can't
called
keep a
Hamas
single
caused on
staff
October
member.
7.
All of them have quit except for 2. Because she's such a monster. Now she's just so lovely and gracious to everyone. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I don't know
Devastating.
how to. I just don't know if America is this stupid. She is saying lie after lie after lie, and then she is sounding like Hugo Chavez. We're going to get people housing. We're going to make sure everybody has health care. This is Hugo Chavez. But you're not going to know that because nobody is ever going to say that.
Yeah, it's an interesting combination, Glenn, between like Chavez-esque generalities and when she does mention a policy, it's like Ronald Reagan. She, like, we're going to
they
lower
mentioned
tax
Ronald
cuts. We're gonna get more tax
I know.
cuts. I mean, it's bizarre.
I know. And everything they're saying is what the Republicans actually believe in. And they're running like Republicans tonight. How many times did they mention Ronald Reagan? They mentioned him twice in a positive way.
Flags all over the place. They're talking about how much they love the military, how much they love police. I mean, it's a bizarre.
She just said, you know, because of my experience in law enforcement, you should know that I understand the importance of safety. Really? Tell me about that when you were bailing people out with BLM? Tell me how you are so strong on crime.
Glenn, take me, though, into the world in which you don't know anything. You don't read, you don't listen, you don't know this stuff. You're just a normal viewer.
This is why it's so frustrating. If I'm a know-nothing, I vote for her.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I vote for her. Now, she is great on prompter, but she's a moron off prompter. You know what I mean? Barack Obama could do prompter really well, but he also could just speak off the top of his head really, really well. She cannot. But will she have to speak to people?
our country with all
I mean,
my
she
heart.
basically had 100 days to go.
I love my country with all my heart.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
She basically had a 100-day campaign here, and she has now made it through essentially a third of that without having to answer one question or really reveal
Not
one
question.
policy.
No interviews.
Ready
No
for the
interviews that
next
she's had to
step
do.
She's going to get one set up by the end of the month, though, Glenn.
journey that is America. I see an America where
I will
we
say,
hold
like, from
fast to
the sort of
fearless
basic blocking and
belief
tackling
that
perspective,
built
though,
our
this is
nation
such an
and
improvement
inspired
over Joe
the
Biden. They are not
world.
even they're not even looking
here,
at her versus Donald Trump.
in
They're looking
this
at her versus
country,
Joe Biden. She's
anything
so
is
much better than
possible.
he is. That's where this
That
energy is coming from, I
nothing
think. What do you think,
is
Glenn?
out of reach.
I think that's where the energy
And
in the room
America,
is because
where we care for one
she's hitting it
another.
out of
Look
the park
out
tonight.
For one
Yeah.
another
You know,
and
if you are a
recognize
low
that we have
information
so
voter,
much more
or you're
in
just,
common than
you know,
what
part of the
separates
cabal, and you're
us.
like, yeah, go girl. You know, but if you respect truth and you're informed,
for all of us to succeed.
you are beyond blood boiling right now. You're just, you're incensed. Because no one will say anything except she was fabulous. She was great. They won't talk about the things. The thing she said about Donald Trump was remarkable.
My mother
remarkable.
had another lesson. She used
Demonstratedly false.
Never let
And we're going to be told that's joy. That's actually
and it's joy.
Even though they were the most
them.
negative things you could basically say about another human being. That's the joyful way to do it.
Yeah. And did you notice that they are, they're really riding on defense.
Yeah.
She sounds like John McCain.
Yeah.
You know?
It's defense, it's police,
do you
it's
really
tax
think?
cuts.
stand for.
Yeah. And with war,
opportunity,
they are
compassion,
cheering for
dignity,
war
fairness,
with Ukraine.
and endless possibilities.
Freedom and opportunity economy, Glenn. I mean, you know, these are Milton Friedman type concepts if you just listen to them. But you know they don't mean them.
She is a chameleon. I could give 95% of this speech.
And all those who sacrificed
Except about the one about
so
ending children's
dearly
lives. Probably
for
wouldn't
our
give that part.
freedom and liberty.
Liberty.
We must be worthy of this moment. It is now
this is a
our
performance,
turn
right? This is, and it's
to
not.
do what generations
This
before
is
us
one of the
have
greatest
done.
performances I have
Guided
seen in politics.
By optimism.
I mean, considering
and
where she
faith
came from,
to
it's hard to
fight
disagree with that.
For this country we love.
Coming from like
to
a Biden,
fight
like, you know,
for the
she's hated,
ideals
everyone's
we
leaking negative
cherish
items about her
and
to this.
6 weeks ago, this woman did not exist.
Right.
They were talking about replacing her on the ticket.
With the greatest
Yes, because she was so
privilege on
disliked
earth.
by the Democrats.
privilege and
so
pride of
disliked.
being an American.
They said, if Joe doesn't run, you can't run her because she's a nightmare.
So let's
But she has stepped up to the plate on this one.
Let's get out there. Let's vote for it. And together,
This is the end, I
let
think.
us write
Yeah.
the next great chapter in the
You can
most
hear-
extraordinary
That's how you know it's a
story
performance. We can tell it's coming.
told.
Never told. Thank you. Good night.
Bless you, and may God bless
So
the
she
United
is-
States
All right, that's
of
it.
America.
They have made her into a warrior, an angel, a saint, a huge patriot that just loves this country, loves everything about it, and believes in the freedom of the individual. She sounded tonight like, well, first of all, she sounded like the, normie out there, the person who's just like sick of it. And this is the problem. And I don't know how Donald Trump is going to come get around this. The problem is when she's on script, she's very convincing. And people want a new way. They wanted a third candidate. Well, you've got a third candidate now.
Yeah.
And all of the people in the DNC know exactly who she is. So she doesn't have to tell them, I'm a socialist. They know. They know because her vice president is also a socialist. So what they had to do tonight was convince the person who's just saying, I'm just so sick and tired of all of this. And I don't know who she is. I don't know. Donald Trump, I know who he is. And I know people have said bad things about her, but let me just tune in and see who she is. They tune in and they see that. And the Reagan Democrat votes for her.
Gosh, that is a terrifying concept, honestly. Because, and with only a few weeks to dismantle these lies, what do? You know Donald Trump, Glenn. Yeah. You've known him for years. Does he have a gear that is capable of disassembling something like that?
I would never count him out. I would never, ever count him out. He is very, very good at what he does. But this one is threading a needle that is going to be very difficult because you cannot come swinging at her. After tonight's speech, you can't come swinging at her. He has to deal with her the way he dealt with Joe Biden in the last debate. He has to hope that in the debates, without a script, without a prompter, she talks herself into circles. And so you're looking for her to fail. That's not a good position to be in. But I don't know how you take her apart, especially after this, for the uninformed, the low information voter, and for the average person who just, this was a show.
Yeah.
Did you notice how this was a show? I thought I was watching the Olympics. For a while I was watching NBC's coverage. Oh my gosh. It was like the Macy's Day Parade. It was coverage where they weren't talking over the speakers. They weren't. They were deferential. They were like, "This is so exciting. This is. Oh, wait a minute. Coming up in just a minute is going to be this person, and this is going to be excited." And then they played the whole Kamala thing. It was a completely different production than it was for the RNC. And the RNC was very, very good. But at least there was pushback on there you would expect from journalists. There was no pushback here. This was, come on into the tent. I've got some great stuff for you to buy. It was, this is what propaganda looks like. This is full-fledged propaganda, government-controlled propaganda. The media is absolutely in there. I'm telling you, if we don't win, if we don't get every single person that sits in a pew and gets them to, you get them out to vote, and you're voting for actual freedom. When she was taking on the Supreme Court, saying a Donald Trump unleashed. Well, first of all, if that were true, which it's not, but if that were true, you're unleashed as well. But it's not true. That's not what the Supreme Court said. When she said that Donald Trump was going to ban all forms of abortion and he's going to take women by the vagina and split them in half. Are you crazy?
It's wonderful imagery.
He said the opposite of all of that. And it doesn't matter because this was a show. This was a show, and a very good one.
A very good one. And we know that they have the machine behind them, right? They have that sort of, they've got the celebrities, they've got the production people, they've got that sort of entertainment business locked up.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they showed it, at least today. I don't know, the whole, certainly the first night was not like this, but they have flexed those muscles quite a bit.
Well, they did tonight. Tonight, it was an absolute production of brilliance. The way the people they put on stage, the way they handled things. If you are a low information and you just tuned in today, this was aimed directly to the Reagan Democrat, the person that is middle of the road, You know, when I'd like to remind the moms of America that when she says we're never going back, she means that. So do you remember the time where you didn't have to worry about your kindergarten kids being taught that they could be a boy or a girl or a donkey or a goat? Well, we're never going back. Do you remember the time when you didn't have to worry about your kids having drag queen story hour? Well, we're never going back. You have to understand what she said and what she meant by that. That was language that you think means, well, we're not going to go back to corruption and we're not going to go back to divisiveness and all of that. Joe Biden is going to bring normalcy back. She's saying, I'm going to bring normalcy back. I'm going to bring all the good sunshine and flowers and lollipops. And she's saying we're never going back. You want to go back to when the world made sense, okay? We don't have to go back to everything in the past, but we need some things like no drag queen story hours for our children. No just out of control spending and sending billions of dollars, more money than we spent on the rebuilding of Europe for the Marshall Plan, we have sent over to Ukraine. And here she is cheering for war in Ukraine, that we're going to be tough. How? With what? Why is this our fight? Tell me how this is in our best interest to do that. We're never going back. That is the key phrase from this whole thing tonight. We're never going back, because they said it through multiple people tonight. We're never going back. You know what that means. The America that you knew is over. And if she gets in, we will never go back. This is the last chance, America. Your very last chance.
Glenn, I will let you go. Let me do one more, though, before I let you go. Is this the peak? Kamala probably feels really good right now. The Democrats feel really good right now. They just had a big party. There was no questions against them. They've had this big rise. But is this the little boomlet coming to an end? And are we going to look back at this and say, this was the peak of Kamala, and thank God it didn't actually happen?
So it depends on the press. It depends on, can anyone get her to sit down and have to actually speak without a teleprompter? She is a well-educated woman. I'm guessing she has a pretty good memory, so she can memorize a lot of stuff that she needs for the debates. But if the debate goes poorly, it will start to shake apart. If the press doesn't get real interviews from her, or doesn't ask for real interviews because things are going so peachy, just leave it alone. If she's allowed to continue this show, the numbers stay in her favor. It will be close, but the numbers, I think, will stay in her favor. The minute she opens her mouth and starts actually saying what she thinks, it's over.
Glenn Beck, of course, going to be live tomorrow morning on the Glenn Beck radio program right here as part of your BlazeTV subscription. Make sure you check that out tomorrow. I have a feeling you're going to be a little fired up tomorrow, Glenn. And
oh, my gosh.
I'm excited for it.
I have so many Hail Marys and Our Fathers, I have to say, because WTF came out of my mouth. I can't tell you how many times.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you were on this program tonight, you probably just would have said it. Yeah. Okay, Glenn Beck, thanks so much, man. We'll see you in the morning. What a wild night. Now, let me ask you this. Are you tired of listening to the left drone on night after night in the world's most progressive infomercial? I know I am. Honestly, they're hoping that if they repeat it enough, we're just going to all kind of nod and just kind of go with it in sort of a woke trance. Unfortunately, a lot of Americans are falling for it, as Glenn was just talking about. That's why it is so important to find an independent media company that actually stands up and says, hey, this is complete nonsense. And that's why BlazeTV exists. We are here to challenge the radical left and expose the truth behind their dangerous agenda. If you're as fed up with the lies and misinformation and the spin as we are, it is time to take action. Right now, you can do something about it. You can join BlazeTV and get $30 off your annual subscription with the promo code ROASTED. The promo code is ROASTED, $30 off for standing up for what you believe in, and that should be something you want to do. So let's work through this together, because it's going to be like a support group here, I think. With your support, we'll keep exposing the lies and defending our real American values because, the truth actually matters. At least we think it does. And as a BlazeTV subscriber, you'll get even more value tonight. So don't wait. Subscribe now. Use the promo code ROASTED. Get $30 off your subscription. It's like the antidote to all the leftist insanity delivered straight to your screen. And by the way, after all of this, all of our coverage tonight, I'm going to go live on YouTube, youtube.com/StuDoesAmerica. Maybe I can pull you guys in for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely not.
No? Okay,
No,
Sarah's out.
I'm down.
Alex is in. Dave, we'll see.
I'm going to go into the hood and buy fentanyl.
Okay, he's going to buy some fentanyl. I'm surprised you don't have any just on hand.
I think I would. I don't know. Maybe we'll see whatever happens.
You haven't passed the halls with Jeffy yet. Once you get to know Jeffy, you'll have plenty of fentanyl.
I'm
available.
glad my parents are dead. This whole night's been awful.
Hey, by the way, subscribe to Blaze TV. I want to go to Sara Gonzales now, who has a winner.
Right here.
I know, but you're way over there. I have to go
Going to me. I'm right here.
Well, you
all
have
right.
to read something on the screen. Please
all right.
do so.
The winner.
Tell them they have to read it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
For this this roast, all right, Tim Walz has been to China 55 times because he heard they have Temu products with no shipping fee from Country Mozart.
I think that if there was Temu products with no shipping fee, I think they would pay you.
I think so.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Please take it. Please
It's so
take our
cheap.
stuff.
That's all you're buying is the shipping.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a good one.
That's a solid, and not even dirty.
No, it was good.
Where were you going on that line? 55 times Tim Walz has been to China.
Wang, dang, we know.
I said dong, and y'all said
Wang,
Well,
dong.
I know. But those were eliminated already.
Give money.
Okay. Probably a lot of bribery going on.
I think he has gone there 55 times for money.
For money and lots of it.
Or just to sneak over to Taiwan.
Hey, it's an easy trip. Sarah, you watched that speech. You're probably the only one, even though we're the only ones who have had some alcohol tonight, we're the only ones who also, at this point, are relatively coherent. What did you think of that? Sorry, guys.
You're fine.
What did you think of the speech?
Well, I mean, it's easy to sound nice and polished when you're just lying.
Well, it wasn't easy for Joe Biden, though, right?
Okay, sorry. It's easy when you don't have dementia and you're not half dead to stand up and deliver a speech full of just total and complete lies. So, yeah, it sounded good. It was delivered well. Clearly, you had someone that told her, for the love of God, don't go off script. And she doesn't have dementia, so she knew not to go off script because, obviously Joe, when they tell him that, he forgets and he goes off script. And so, I mean, I still think that Donald Trump, if he goes on to this debate, he watches her performance and he goes on to this debate and he says, I just have to make sure that I remind America as often as possible all of the policies, all of the pain that you're feeling today, right now in this country, are because of her. She is part of the administration because she is trying to she wants to disassociate from the policies, but at the same time, she wants to talk about how great it is, but then at the same time, she wants to talk about how things are so bad here. Don't let her own both of those things. Paint her as the person who is in charge, which obviously she is. And I think that that's the key to, trying to back her into a corner because, again, I mean, you saw it with Gavin Newsom. You see it with so many Democrat lawmakers. If they just stand up there and lie, it sounds great.
Yeah. In a way, it's almost like watching the consultant class run a candidate.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is like for the first time, you don't have someone who really feels passionately about getting their own views out there. She's going to listen to these consultants. She's going to go out there and do what she's kind of told.
Right.
And I don't know, can that work in America, Alex?
Well, you talk about the low information voters. Glenn was talking about that. And then, it just makes me go right back to 2020. And we had Hunter Biden's laptop that had unlimited nude pictures of the, president's or future president's son. We had his business dealings with Ukraine. We have information of a diary doing disgusting things. And we had the CIA and FBI come out and say that that was just Russian disinformation. So if that won't wake up somebody, I don't think anything in this campaign is going to wake up the low information voters. So I think Glenn's right.
God, you guys are so bad.
I hate to be like that. I just hate to. I would have thought that laptop would have sunk Biden. I just thought it would. It didn't. I almost think that these people are almost too big to fail now that they're in power.
But the laptop isn't something that people are feeling right now. Right, like the laptop.
I'm saying they were able to overcome that, and I don't think there's going to be a thorn in their side bigger than that.
But I'm saying, like, nobody had some personal experience that they were negatively affected by the laptop. I mean,
unless you got smelled by Joe Biden.
People did, but American voters didn't have that experience. Now they have
cousin.
Now they have the experience, right? Like they're living in a Harris administration. As much as she wants to, again, disassociate herself from the administration, they are living in that. It's not just some obscure, like, oh, Joe Biden's kid is like a really bad crack addict. This is their life under Kamala Harris. And so I do think that that adds a factor that we haven't seen before.
And to be fair, I think Hunter Biden was a really good crack addict. I think he was really good at it.
He was good at it.
Yeah, okay. I just
He's
want to
a
make sure.
terrible
We're
person,
always
but he
waited
was
out
good
and
at
took
that.
a picture of the scale so he made sure he wasn't getting ripped off. He's a really good
I would say he
crack
was an excellent crack addict.
Listen,
Not
so
to
everyone
criticize.
has to be good at something.
Yes, I would agree. I will say, too, I think watching this all happen, we have to remember the 2019-2020 Kamala run. And we've talked about this before, Sarah. There was this boomlet, right? She started, she rose up, she had this moment, and then it all collapsed. And, I can't help but think, even watching that, and I think this is a great moment for her. She's really, really excited about it. Like, the Democrats are pumped up. But that tends to deflate. You can't build a presidential campaign on nothing. It's not Seinfeld. This is not what we're doing here. And I think, like, the only question is, because there's only about 10 weeks left in this campaign, can they push this thing to the end and somehow get a victory out of this? But I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and look at tonight as sort of the peak of this Kamala thing. We will see. We also will see the meme contest vote winners that we have coming up here. Now, we did this pitch a while ago that people were supposed to create memes.
I like it.
I can't really remember that long ago in this particular broadcast, but that did happen apparently. And we have some finalists, is that right? Sarah, can you walk us through? Because it's not like my eyesight is preventing me from reading these. Sarah, can you read them?
Boy, me either. I can read it just fine. Don't mind me looking off screen.
Okay.
All right, so this is obviously D.L. Hughley. And it says, me 12 beers deep at IHOP at 3 a.m. trying to show the waitresses how big I want my pancakes.
That's a solid one.
I like it.
Pretty funny.
That is solid. I like it.
I had to make this point, Stu, and this is going to make you mad. The symbol that he's doing is a Q symbol.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
And that is a black fraternity, a fraternal organization. That's just
Q
weird.
is?
That's what the black guys do, the Q dog. That means you're in a fraternity.
The Q dog.
It's a
See,
real
again,
fraternity.
this is why
it's a real fraternity.
You're
I'm just
bringing
saying.
real information.
I talked about a black boule. I talked about a secret society of evil black people. He's in it and he's leading it, and that's.
I'm glad I'm still sitting here.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Not all black people are evil, but the ones that are like friends of D.L. Hughley are.
Thank you for clarifying that. That's an important clarification. Okay,
All right, so the next one, is Joe and Jill. And Joe says, honey, look, that's my convention. And she says, was your convention, Joe? Was.
That's just sad. That made me sad.
Elder abuse.
If he wasn't, it's true. If he wasn't a horrible, horrible human being that's destroying the country, I would legitimately feel bad for Biden.
Do you not feel bad when he fell off that bike?
No, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It happened so slowly, I didn't feel bad for him. It
was
really
that
funny.
was funny.
I was like, that's our president. He's falling down. All these people are looking at it. That made me feel sad. I felt sad.
Putting him on a bike, though, is just a stunt. That's what's sad about it.
Right, exactly.
It's like a circus where you're just like, let's just make the panda ride the bike. It's just a sad, sad thing, yeah.
All right, we've got another one.
Meme number 3.
Yes, it's Joe Biden at the convention. My butt's been wiped.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was highbrow. But I would say it might have been what he was thinking at that moment. I think it might be accurate.
It looks like he's about to take a question from Ben Franklin.
All right, and number 4 on the meme parade here.
Kamala, when the pot finally kicks in and Dougie got Doritos. That is good.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's funny.
That does seem like their actual relationship. Like, it seems like that could be a real moment in the relationship. Okay, so do we have a winner here? Or are we supposed to decide this? How does this work?
Dougie.
Do we have anything from the control room? How are we supposed to do this?
I think
they're all winners.
Yeah.
Here
Okay,
at
we
Blaze,
decide.
we like to give participation trophies.
No, I don't think so. I think we got to pick one.
Her dad's Jamaican, so the weed connection, yeah.
I'm going to go Dougie.
I like that one too.
The Dougie one?
Yeah, I like that one too.
I mean, that one's funny because it's sad. But I also like the Dougie one.
Give us the Dougie one.
I like the Doritos one.
Doritos Dougie.
There it is. When the pot finally kicks in and Dougie got Doritos. That's our winner. Congratulations to whoever the hell that was.
It's Chris G721.
That's what I was about to say.
It's Chris
G721, which, by the way, is a main source for Alex Stein.
That is one of my sources.
Dave, before we leave,
yes,
can you give me your reaction to this fiasco?
I loved it.
Really?
No, I think
Surprising.
if I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to be serious or not.
I would not.
Yeah, might as well start now. This is a good time.
Yeah, it's a good start. End the night on a somber note.
Should I put
a very dark,
Should I
sad
change
ending.
into a sweater?
If you cry, it's even better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could cry. I would just let all my real feelings out. I think, honestly, I don't understand how she could possibly. I think the best way to see if she could really be the president is if you sat down and had an honest conversation with her, where she would have to answer a question just like that, simply. The same way that you have Donald Trump going on podcasts right now, I'd like to just her, unscripted, have to talk. I think we would find out a lot about her, and I think she would lose immediately. Because everything that I saw tonight was completely, like, you're standing in an arena of people that people have bought $1 million suites to clap for you so they can keep the money in their pockets and out of the hands of everybody in this country that actually needs it. So I think that, I mean, really, I'd like her to have to sit down and do an impromptu interview where she actually has to interview for the job of President of the United States and see what her policies and plans actually are, because I don't believe she has any.
She's not going to do that by choice, though, right?
Is that a realistic possibility, Dave?
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, because politics don't exist like that, but it's because we're full of lobbyists and bullshit, and this is what we're going to end up with. And if she gets elected, it's just going to be more and more of that.
It is, in a way.
Sorry to swear.
You said a
I know I
bad. You
should
said a naughty.
apologize
You did.
now.
I mean, we got this far, and I mean, sure, you said several C words on the show, but
I didn't say the C word.
you said a C word.
Sugar, honey, iced tea next time you want to say that.
Okay.
Did
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
I
Okay.
like that.
It is, at some level, Donald Trump and his campaign's job to push her into these situations.
It is.
And I was surprised at the very beginning when she said, "Oh, he's ducking me in these debates." I would have been like 3 debates a day until November. Like, let's do it. What he needs to do is figure out a way to get her in front of a camera. And I will say, I don't know that one debate is enough.
No.
It's not.
She'll be able to prepare for one debate and probably do okay. You need those off-script moments. And, I mean, I don't know how you get her into those moments. That is the job of the campaign and Donald Trump right now. This is what they need to do, because the more that this is allowed, which is essentially a movie, if you let a movie that is pre-produced and the script is already written kind of go forward, she's probably going to win this thing. You got to find a way to get her off script.
You guys stop putting that into the universe.
No, I'm saying I'm trying to encourage our Donald Trump to be able to figure this out, or somebody in his campaign, get her in these off-script moments.
She doesn't even need to try to win. She just needs to try not to lose, if that makes sense, right?
Well, she just has to be
Take
Trump.
no risk. Like in the fourth quarter of a football game, you run it when you have the lead. You don't throw any passes. You don't take any risks. So you just play
I'm
it
a
extra
Lions
safe.
fan, trust me.
I think she's going to be safe. I hope I'm wrong, but
No, I think you're
I think
right.
they'll steal the election again, personally. But
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that they legally did, but they did.
Right, of course, of course.
Allegedly.
I feel like we need Alex Stein to be walking up to Kamala Harris in the very respectful way you normally
Always
do,
do it, yeah.
and ask some very deep.
Hi, puppy.
Yes, the puppy.
Booty
might be
Jamaican.
used.
You want to smoke some marijuana, mommy?
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the optimal way to do it, but you need to get
What
her.
if I smoked marijuana with her and took a selfie? Then we'd.
By the way, those are-
help her in the polls.
That would help her.
That would
She'd
help her
win
in the
for
polls.
sure.
Don't do that.
The best Jamaican accent I've ever heard.
Let's smoke some weed, mom.
Hi, Poppy.
On an island.
Hi, puppy.
Say that all the time there.
I mean, Alex,
No sense.
It was like
I've been
Italian
huffing
and
paint all night. I apologize.
the master of accents, Alex Stein, is here to sum up a wonderful night here on Blaze TV. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Your support is why Blaze Media still stands today. Now, I will say after this broadcast, we're not sure it's going to stand tomorrow, but as of right now, it still exists as an entity. We can't do this without you, and in a time where the mainstream media is a lot like the DNC, right? Like you watch the feeds from these media organizations, and it looks like the DNC could be running them. Hypocritical, lazy, purposely deceitful, honestly. Blaze Media separates itself by actually working to pursue the truth. We've been doing a lot of this lately. If you haven't seen the original reporting going on at the Blaze, it's going to make a big difference if people can continue to support it, and we can do more and more of it. We are here for you, and we want to continue the fight with you as well.
And if you want to talk about lazy, you can check out my show Normal World. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 10 on this night.
That was a really good promo. Does Alex Stein have a show?
I would love it if you watch it. I think we have about 4 or 5 that do watch it regularly, and we appreciate you, Gary, Jeanette, Ronnie.
Call them all by name?
I don't even know the name of my own show. I don't even know.
I think it's Primetime with Alex Stein.
I thought it was Pimp on a Blimp show. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have a name. Thank you for the 7 people that watch it.
Sara Gonzales has a program as well, don't you, Sara?
I do. Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Make sure you check it out. It's at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern.
All awesome shows, all awesome people, really entertaining, really smart people here on The Blaze. You might not understand that from tonight's broadcast, but if you watch their shows, you'll get that. Join us in the fight against tyranny plaguing our nation. Go to dncroast.com, dncroast.com. Subscribe now. Use the promo code ROASTED for $30 off your annual subscription to Blaze TV. Join the Blaze Media family today. And right in just moments, I'm going to go run to the other room, get my phone. We're going on YouTube Live, youtube.com/StuDoesAmerica. That's my show, by the way. You go there, and we're going to do more analysis. The night's not over yet. We still have more things that are really terrible and should get us thrown off the internet to say. So join us.
End of show.
Yeah, yes, end of show. Oh, good job.
Thank you.
He read that off the prompter. End of show. youtube.com/StuDoesAmerica. The show continues. Go check it out right now. We'll be joining you there in a minute. Thanks so much for joining us and getting us through this. May God have mercy on our souls.